This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. This show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Oh, good evening. 7 o'clock on the old atomic clock on the wall. This is The Show, coming to you live from Studio C in Phoenix, Arizona, where it is nothing short of just chilly outside. I mean, I was out today. I wore a burqa.
Just downright
just
cold.
Just because it was cold. It is a current 106 degrees at the lovely Valley of the Sun, or the Valley of the Smolder, depending on how you want to identify with that.
I have mittens in my bag.
Good.
I mean that literally.
Yeah, sadly, you probably do.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost threw on a scarf to come here.
Well,
yeah.
You need to. It's Tuesday, June 3rd, 2014. This is show number 170. This is Q Talk America, the show on Q Talk. We do it every Tuesday. We come to you each Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's 6 to 9 a.m. Egypt time tomorrow. This broadcast, 4 out of 5 people surveyed have agreed that this is some sort of an organized attempt at a show, and the fifth person doesn't have any idea who we are at all. I'm sitting here with Katie June and Al Perkins. Marnie Ryer, I'm sure, is just crossing Central in her Subaru on her way to the studio. But thank you all for being with us, no matter where it is you are joining us from. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
I got a phone call this week. I got a text. Excuse me. I got a text.
Yeah.
It's confirmed. I am hosting Dancing with the Bars.
Oh, yay.
very good.
Yes. Now, what I don't know is, are you hosting Dancing with the Bars with me?
So I got a message actually from Gary that I have failed to yet return. But
Get on that, could you please?
I know. So actually, it's kind of exciting because I was saying last week that I was telling him, here's what I'm going to do is host this with Clayton. And he was saying either me or I don't know if he's told you, he's trying to bring in maybe some kind of a celebrity.
He used the phrase D-list celebrity for me.
Host.
So
really?
I'm not sure what really that means. If it's
I don't
Kathy Griffith. I don't know who he's trying to get.
I don't know, but it's exciting.
But it is exciting. But I would just as soon do it with you.
Well, I think so if there is some kind of a D-lister on stage with you, then I think I'm going to take the backstage area.
Like where we were interviewing like last year. We were doing that offstage
the
thing.
after show interview.
I can see you do that
which
too.
I think would be perfect.
It's still, I'm very excited to be
I'm
the celebrity
excited
theater,
about
the theater in the round.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I saw Winona Judd there, and I'm sure Al's probably seen innumerable concerts at Celebrity Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Marn.
Hi.
Marn
I do
just
love
got-
my concerts in the round.
Yes.
Is that happening to anybody else?
What happens? What do you gotten?
What she had?
Oh, hers is fixed.
Uh-oh.
Is it just the one side?
I can only hear you on this side.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I think I
And
just
it's-
heard. Oh,
And
yeah.
it's buzzing.
Hello.
Well, that sucks. I've been in this fucking studio
know,
since
honey, I
9:30
know.
this morning.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, what number? Your number is it?
I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, there's a. So I'll do this and that.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
something happened.
Well, I know something happened.
Yeah, because he unplugged your power supply,
Oh,
dear.
I see. That's what it
That's what life without animation feels like.
And is that any better? Think that's better or no?
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
you got
perfect.
it. Oh, well.
Better or worse?
I think
Better or worse?
we're obviously losing
Well done.
a distribution amp for headphones. The whole goddamn problem with the buzz in the audio feed was there was a power supply that fried, and then the cords get fucked up, and then it apparently permeates through everything. Is what I'm learning, because this thing
It's
is
like being at my house. It's all falling apart.
Ours isn't water related though, but yours sadly is. My heavens.
Plus, my house looks like a haunted house because I haven't been there. I've been working so much that
No.
I'm like, oh wow, this is really
Cobwebs in
cobwebby.
the corner. Yeah.
Oh, cobweb.
Wow,
Like
no.
dust settling on everything.
Good thing
It's
you
kind
have-
of spooky to walk in the door of an abandoned home.
do you not have everything
I'm sure
on?
you love that.
Don't
Yeah.
you have everything on timers for lights or no?
No.
Oh,
Why?
you should have that.
Oh my god, I can't
With
live
your
without
schedule
automation.
too.
Yeah, no.
I found new timers for my living room for the 2 lamps that come on and off. They are like my porch light. Remember the porch light timer I installed for you?
Yeah.
Okay, just like that. It by the time of year it changes its on and off times based on sunset and sunup.
Oh, that's amazing.
So does that one outside my door.
See, that's genius.
Right, but not your inside lights. I come home to a lovely illuminated house every day.
Oh yeah, I mean I come home in the daytime. I mean I don't. I'm not there when it's dark. I'm just saying that it's abandoned.
Okay. Well,
I was using the timers
Trying
for
to help, ladies and
vacation.
gentlemen.
I come home and it's
I was
light.
using
retaliatory indoor lighting.
Retaliatory indoor lighting. That is exactly it.
I was
Sir or
using
ma'am.
the timers for vacation, right?
I
When you go
love-
to town and you put your
Yes.
but it was so lovely and convenient that I just leave
They
them on all the time.
are fantastic.
And
They
not that
really,
turning
really
a light
are.
on and off is a chore. It's not something I forget to do, but it's just so nice when the light just.
Oh,
I
it
can
is.
just imagine like the poltergeist kind of fantasy I'd have the first time I forgot and sitting there watching a horror movie and the lights
Right.
came on in my house.
And then went off.
I mean, I am moving.
Well, okay. To that point,
I'm outta here.
I'd forgotten about something. I like to leave music on in the house all the time, be it a local radio station or oftentimes those lovely channels that are on the cable system. Well, if you record, which you probably wouldn't know this, if you record too many shows at one time, though I never seem to watch them, it has to sacrifice the music channel and go to whatever channel it's going to record. So when I was in Denver a couple weeks ago, and I'm totally paranoid about anybody coming into my house. I don't even like people to come over, except, well, you fine people are wonderful. Anyway, I get a text message.
Thank you for the clear. Now that we're already in the door.
I get a text message in the middle of the night from Michael, who was in the house. And I'm like, who the fuck you mean is in the house? Well, it had to record some of their show, so the nice little easy listening station, they leave it on. All of a sudden he walks in and it's some infomercial on a different channel. And he's like, who the fuck was watching this?
People are shouting about saran wrap.
Yeah, something. Right. Yeah. But you could get two at one time as long as you paid different shipping and handling. I wanted to start off this show with, I can't tell you how excited I am every time I get something like this. Now, obviously, he's in the chat room right now. Richard is from, what is it, Quebec? Is that what you call
Hi,
it?
Richard.
Richard is in there. We have our wonderful friend from is he in the Smoky Mountains? Is that where
In Tennessee.
is it Tennessee? Tyler?
Oh, Mr. Tyler?
Oh, hi, Tyler.
We have Tom. Oh, he's not there.
Hi.
No, I'm just saying he's over there. We have Tomo from Auckland, New
Hi,
Zealand.
Tom.
Hi.
We have a new listener, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Ayman Solomon. He is from Egypt.
Oh.
He sent us an email, and the funny thing was the first email I got from him, it says, "Hi guys, I'm a big fan. Can't find a chat room to communicate with you. As you mentioned, where is the chat room?" So I simply respond back, not realizing where he is, and I said, "Well, simply go to the bar at the top of the page. We're live 7 to 10 Arizona time, blah, 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 blah." So he responds back, "Whoops, 7 p.m. Arizona time is 6 a.m. Egypt time. Will do my best to be online during my way to work." Thank you guys, and hugs.
Oh, that's so fun. That's so funny. He's listening to a recording.
God, how come I can't chat with him? So then I sent him a thing back. It says, "By the way, how did you find us?" And he says, "The App Store made us close. I like your show. I think you're the only gay show that actually talks and discusses something and not just plays music." Says who says that gay channels should all be about music? They're all the same, and you're the only unique channel that works fine with me.
Oh, how nice.
So if you're listening out there, I believe it's pronounced Amen. It's Ayman. So I believe it's Amon or Amen. Yeah. Well, hello to you. Welcome to our listenership.
Hi.
And feel free to email us whenever you want, and we will be happy to discuss whatever you'd like. I thought it was interesting, and I don't remember. Is there a big like in Russia? It's like gay is taboo, or they'll beat the shit out of you and lock you up and all that other fun stuff. How
Egypt
is Egypt?
has some restrictive laws, but I think people get around them. But there are very restrictive laws on homosexuality.
Got it. So what I was wondering about was because different places in the world have restrictions on internet, and obviously since we are an internet.
Internet. No,
I don't
'cause
think
they
Egypt
did-
has that.
That was part of the Arab Spring. Was
Okay.
the internet? They've had a big change in government and overthrow and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But most of it was based on it came from the internet. It was one of the positive parts of having
And a good friend of mine is
free speech via the internet.
a good friend of mine is Egyptian, and she goes back regularly. Her
Does
family, her parents.
Does she walk like an Egyptian?
I mean, occasionally.
Occasionally.
I'll
Only
give
on
her a
Manic-
couple of glasses of wine.
Oh, yeah,
and-
Manic Mondays.
Only on Manic Mondays.
But
I'll
it
steal that one
is,
from you.
but like when I see photos from there when she's there visiting her family and stories, it just seems very, is like lack of a better term, but totally modern and normal and very forward, right? I mean, not that it is everywhere, but when I've asked her about how things were going with the Arab Spring, and there were some scary moments for some of her family members, but I think that as far as internet goes, I think it's pretty
Pretty
I think
open?
it's open. Yeah.
Nice.
I feel that way too, just from what I remember about the Egyptian.
Yeah,
their start
her,
of
my
the
friend's
Arab
family's very
Spring.
modern and
Gotcha. Well, that's cool to know, but I'm glad we have another listener somewhere in the
Absolutely.
world. We are just
Good.
reaching.
And clearly, we need to learn more about Egypt.
And
so
the
I'll
other
start
thing,
Googling
the
now.
other thing I looked up, and I just was proud of this. I actually meant to email you all, and I had forgotten since I was busy with other obviously important things. I looked up our downloads for the past 90 days, which I haven't done in a long time. We're at 1,200. In the past 90 days. So people
I love it.
are just downloading us. Well, and I'm wondering if maybe for Amon in Egypt, if it was a download, because he said the app. So I don't know if iTunes directed him to us or he found us that way or exactly what it was.
Because on the page it's easier to download it than to hit the play button. I have found, because you can't rewind and stuff.
I have the podcast app.
Yeah, I have that too.
I mean, it's on 1,000 different things. It's kind of frightening.
Right. No, it is. But it's so
It's
crazy.
why I can never run for office.
Yeah.
I'm honest to God.
Yeah.
This right here.
This very
One
show.
is right
One
here.
of the
One
reasons.
of. Well,
Right,
yeah.
right.
This and all
Well,
the
now-
things that I did outside of what I discuss here.
Now, you'll be happy to know that on the rebroadcast cycle, the older shows, i.e. Nantucket, is no longer
you,
in the mix.
Jesus.
But you can find all
God.
of them on the website. So
Yeah.
they're still stacking up, Katie, just so you know.
It's really that one show. Honestly, it's really that. That's the one.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear. And I've added a new shot, and I'll show you just so you all know. I've added a new screenshot for the viewers. If you look, see that there's our quad shot, and then I've added an overhead shot so they can see how the room looks.
yeah.
while
Oh,
we're-
wow. Allegedly, I was blurry last week.
Well, everything was blurry. Everything was a
But
mess.
do you guys all kind of like not having that screen there that we can see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well-
like that.
Well, get ready because I'm getting ready to bring it back.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a really big one that hangs over here.
No,
a real,
I think that's a good idea. There was just something, especially when it was back, like kind of behind.
I think mostly because it was
You know,
behind
be
me, so
like
I
it.
couldn't look at it.
Right.
And every time I was like,
what I wanted to do is because I can see the feed on this, and I figure if I have a screen up behind me, so when we do have pictures that come up, or if somebody hasn't seen it, when we throw the picture up, you'll see
good.
what we're talking about, as
fun.
well as the viewer listeners.
I like
Yeah.
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Wait a
Very
minute.
nice.
Richard's asking, wait, I can listen to the first show? Absolutely, Richard. You can
Maybe
go.
don't.
If you're that bored, if Quebec has got a lot of free time for you, sir, you can go clear back to the beginning. You have to scroll through several pages, but the first show, is that what we call What's Wrong with It? Who's Ray J?
Who is?
Who the
Oh
hell
my
is
God!
Ray
Who
J?
the hell is
Ray
it?
J?
You had your finger on the pulse of Whitney.
Yeah, it was the show. It was show number
my God.
63, Richard, is our first show over 2 years ago. So, yeah, you're welcome to look it up. Well, Katie,
Jennifer.
Hi.
what are we doing? What'd you bring for dinner?
Well, pizza for you guys.
Yes, I said thank you. Oh,
thank
by the way,
you.
Marin, if you need the
And,
slice,
life saving. That really did
Oh,
turn
good.
the tide. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad. With some
Because I
leftover
was trying to pretend that
spinatos.
this was going to be dinner.
Raspberries
Some
and
unsalted
peanuts.
nuts and because I was like, I have to throw something in my bag.
Some
I'm
berries.
starving. Yeah.
Yeah.
I foraged through the field to find this.
I ate almost an entire pizza today, so it was
Oh.
gluten free, but it's still an entire pizza.
But no,
like a trade-off.
you make that sound like it's you brought 5 pieces.
Well,
Oh wait,
no.
or was that a different pizza?
No, 2 pieces were from my gluten free. The other ones were from Kelly's and Palmer's
Okay.
pizza that they shared.
Oh, so
it
you-
was like a whole small.
All right, so you noshed on your
pizza
own.
pie.
I gotcha.
Oh,
I gotcha.
yeah.
But it's thin crust.
I
so-
just couldn't stop.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was that. I will start out by saying I kind of feel like I owe Marnie an apology. My enthusiasm about women's sports last week was really directed
okay.
so much at you.
Did
Just
you-
because you're another lady in the room.
I was kind of thinking, you know that shot we talk about Marnie gets about once a month?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe it may be time for you. Marnie or Katie needs to just bring it
I
down.
was really
Oh, no,
like
I thought it went the other way. When I listened back, I would have been like,
I didn't listen back.
Oh, I did.
Because I was like, maybe if you hear
Oh no,
me.
no! Because the first thing you said was, "I am never going to one of those games again," and then you were like, "Well, maybe I'll go.
Well, yeah,
No, the thing is, because
Backpedal.
Well, because I got called a misogynist, so that I was like,
And you've never even taken a class.
no, not even. I don't have any kind of a degree in that.
It was
I was just like, I figured.
I'm gonna give you that one.
I figure I'll call
Thank you.
uncle. Like, okay,
Yeah.
but
Point.
well, and then I was really thinking after the fact. I'm like, it's probably not the best way to encourage somebody to like what get involved is by yelling at them.
I was just-
so I'm sorry,
There's-
my
You're very
soap.
cute.
You
It's fine.
were directly in
Thank
front of
you.
my
There is
soapbox.
no
It's fine.
better way for a gay talk show to illustrate the horrible effects of bullying rather than just bully
each
itself
other.
within the studio.
Bully each other.
It really cracked me up because I'm like, she's asking you to go to a basketball game, not a Chick-fil-A. You got to go back. Like, your reaction to her suggesting we go to a basketball game
Was
My
kind of brutal.
reaction
Was-
to the idea of the WNBA was all I
Right.
was getting at. And
Yeah.
I was just like, what else?
Clearly, my feelings were really hurt about it.
No.
And it's not like she was saying, "Hey, guess who's coming to town? Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Let's go to the puppy war." You know?
I stand firm on the fact
In
that
this corner, Lassie.
Rin Tin Tin's looking pretty good this year. Dead. But
Yeah.
good. Well, several Lessies were dead, so Tony.
Yeah, a few of them.
Oh my God!
So-
but that's funny stuff.
Other than that, it's been it was a good week. We opened our pool this weekend,
Oh.
which was great because it's like a big chore because we keep the net on all year. So
Right.
we keep up with
Like
the
that
chemicals.
you get like that Spider-Man net, don't you? Yeah, I remember that.
So we keep up with the chemicals. So the pool certainly doesn't turn green. It's still blue, and it's all fine.
But it's cold as
But
hell
it
over winter.
but it is. It wasn't brushed, skimmed, like nothing, and there were just heaps and pile for all winter, and there was just so much stuff in it.
And this is so late. Well, it hasn't been all that hot this year.
It
but-
hasn't really been that hot until
Yeah.
this last weekend. So it was great because I got out there and the pool was a little bit, the water was still not super, super, super warm where I usually like it to be 90. But after I spent 2 hours brushing and scrubbing, pumicing the tile and skimming, then it felt like a dream.
Yeah.
So anyway, the pool's open. We cleaned up our backyard. It's just like a nice place to be. So I'm embracing
So you're
the
good.
heat.
Well,
We've
that's
been
one-
swimming every day.
And that's one thing that you and Ryan are having in common because you're
And the pool.
the backyard and the pool and that little sanctuary. Yeah, but
Rub it in.
You'll get there.
You will
you're
get there.
not dead yet.
You will
Missy.
get there.
No, but one thing I have to say about your backyard, it's an acre of land. Like your backyard is huge.
Yeah.
Being
We're
in
very
that
blessed.
it's
Like
only
on
in a
the
cul-de-sac,
corner,
but you're in a
yeah.
corner, but that
Where the curve is.
when your
That-
front yard is about 6 inches wide, but your
right, which is
backyard
fine.
is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The neighbor has a much bigger yard. I mean, like, because they're right in the corner. So
I kind of grew up in a house like that. Like I felt like my backyard was great until I
The
became
one-
friends with them. And then it's just like,
I
damn
peeked
it.
over. I think a ball went over when we were playing basketball one time, and a ball went over, and I was like, "Good Jesus!"
Is that the one
Yeah.
that we looked at? The
Yeah.
mama looked at?
Yeah.
Yeah, that backyard. I was going to have to buy a
Stupid.
tractor to mow that yard.
You were.
But I was excited
I
about
know.
it. Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
my
the
yard's huge.
hardship.
Now, do you have though in your yard? You have like a covered patio area
No, we haven't covered it yet. We need
Okay.
to.
Yeah.
Like we need to.
because that's the
Big
one
time.
thing we don't have. We have no cover. Nothing, and we don't have any trees. It's just palm trees, and so that's the only we have.
Get some umbrellas.
We
Yeah,
have a big
we do the
umbrella,
umbrellas.
but it's just such a bummer to not
'Cause all
have
that
like
tree
a
shit
covered.
goes in the water.
The
Right.
trees.
'Cause we
yeah.
have a big
water.
pine tree
Pine trees.
out back. Oh dear God.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's fun to
Truckloads.
clean.
And then
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, it's horrible.
Because when my pool goes in, now we're at when, not if, but when the pool goes
Yeah.
in, the
Good.
neighbor's shitty tree
Yeah.
is dying.
What kind of tree is
Some
it?
miracle.
Something that will die with bleach.
Oh, good.
Something
okay.
that you'll bleach hose.
Because that shit is everywhere as it is, and I'm not cleaning it out of a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
But I'm
excited.
going to invite, as their tree dies, I'm going to invite them over to swim because they're lovely people.
I kind of want to be a part of
I
your.
don't know what happened to your tree.
pretty
Of
I'm
your
so
like.
sorry about the loss of your tree.
You're probably not planning on a pool planning committee, but can you start one? Can I be on it?
Yeah.
Because I just have so many
You can be
ideas I want to
president,
do for a
founding
pool
member.
that I
Yeah.
can't afford to do myself.
Oh,
so I
there
want
are
to do them
some
on somebody
neat
else's
ideas.
yard. So many cool pool
Let's
things.
do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm excited to like design your
Now,
backyard.
I want to alert both of you in case you don't know. Well, I know you know. You have a lawn human. They have pool humans. So cleaning up stuff out of your pool
Right.
is something you're never going to do.
Remember, I've already had cause in my first house. We had the pool human, the lawn human. Like when I sold my house, I had to fire the staff. I mean, it was kind of funny.
Yes. Yeah, and now and you could have had people coming in to do maintenance on your pool throughout the winter. I don't know why you don't. Is that a lesbian thing?
If it's
Well,
covered
it's a
in-
Kelly thing.
Yeah.
We have a lawn human and he's lovely, but she just like won't
Wait a
hire
minute.
someone
I
to do the pool.
fixed your lawnmower.
That's actually true.
Why do you
did
have a lawn
that.
human?
She occasionally goes out and does it. If she gets it, you know what she used to do. I'll tell
I'm
you
like,
what.
what does him fixing your lawnmower have to do with not hiring
is
someone?
having-
Why have me fix the lawnmower
No.
if you're not going to do
Maybe
it?
he uses it.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Oh.
She used to do it.
That would have been
a
the
lot
smart
more.
answer to get him
I
off
know,
your
right?
back.
Pedro comes and does it with his own mower.
Bernardo.
Bernardo. What? Oh, it's an
Wow.
O.
Yeah. She used to do it a lot more. She has a really bad back. And so I said to her finally,
The old
like,
bad back.
I know.
I
I said to
understand.
her finally, look, because she always wanted to do it. She's like, I'm just going to
Always wanted
save
to do
the,
it.
no, she always wanted to get someone, but I'm just going to save the money and do it myself. And I'm like, look, you make a good enough living. You work really hard during the week. You can afford to pay somebody to come in and do our yard work.
Unless you like doing it. Like,
right.
Because I have a friend that I make fun of, and then she told me that it's the only way she gets away from her kids. She throws on a pair of headphones,
Right.
she mows the lawn.
For a second, I thought you were going to talk about me, but it wasn't me.
No.
No
I
kids.
was going to say, you probably like
But
it.
it really cracked me up because she's like, they will not bother me because they're so afraid that if they come talk to me that I'll make them mow the lawn. She's like, and she has a big yard back here.
That's
She's like,
funny.
I get an
Yeah.
hour and a half by myself, child free.
Yes.
With my head. She's
I
like,
love
so
that.
I love it. She's
Yeah.
like, no one touches it.
Yeah.
She's like, when I do chores and I put on the headphones, they know. They're like, oh, mom might ask me to do this if I stop her.
I'm going to just leave her alone.
So when I heard that,
Well,
I'm like,
Kelly
that's the
does
greatest.
occasionally.
Ignore your children is a great reason for yard work.
Yeah, sometimes if the lawn's growing quick, sometimes she'll get out there. But anyway, it's nice, but she just won't. And the pool, she works on it the whole winter, and she fixes. She does everything. She takes pictures of like when there's takes pictures. She goes to the pool store, like if there's a little leak or something's busted or a valve. She's really kind of into the pool.
So
and I
she's
never
a-
minded cleaning my pool.
Yeah.
But I can't do the chemical thing. Was like
yeah,
I'm too afraid of chemicals.
Now they make a home kit to do it.
Right, but
Yeah.
I still don't want to.
We go to Checker and have them
Oh yeah,
tell us
on Indian
what,
School,
mhm.
they're
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah, we
And I'm
love
just
them.
nervous about pouring chemicals. I make like
No,
I, don't
I
like, yeah.
understand. I
So
totally
that's
get
why
it.
I cleaned the pool. Like I vacuumed it and everything. They just came to maintain the chemicals every two. It was called pool chem, and then they would do a cleaning. But I was
Right.
paying them to keep the chemicals up.
Yeah.
The new pool will be saltwater, so none of that shit will go on.
Oh, I can't wait.
'Cause-
The bottom line is, it is all about critical to have a pool, right? In summer
Yeah.
in Arizona. I mean, it is just really, really nice.
I also believe that lawnmower is self-propelled. I do believe.
just give it to him.
It's entirely possible.
No, I
Just
don't want it.
self-propel it over here.
He'll add it to his collection.
Yeah.
Ryan, what are you doing? Why are you in a sweatshirt? What is that?
Well, because
It's the room. It's this room.
It's 78 in here.
It's I'm fucking dying. Really, is what
Of
it is.
cold or heat?
No, I'm hot. But this is all I could do because I didn't have a chance to change out of
Take it
my
off.
like just sitting
Take
around
it
the
off.
Take
house.
it off. I'll play sexy music if you want.
No. Maybe
Take
we don't need to
it
do that.
Well, I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
I'm a little hot.
Well, go take the damn thing off.
Well, I mean, I can do it right here. It's just I thought that I would.
It's a cute sweatshirt.
Hey, thanks.
I mean, it
Appreciate
looks
Well,
that.
it's
good.
lovely in January.
Well, no, but I just figured it'll be fine.
It'll get cold in here. I'm
Maybe.
certain.
Yeah, I figured it would.
By the
usually
way,
does.
the audio issue that you're getting on the audio stream is not us. It is the service that streams it. They apparently are having some sort of an issue. It is not us. It is clear out of here. It's out
Clear.
of Yes, I know. Thanks. Harrison, I heard it earlier, but I know that when I fixed it earlier today, it's perfectly fine. So, anywho, watch us. Get over it.
Can't do it now. We don't have an engineer.
No, we're good. Woo woo.
Kind of in the middle of something.
It's called a show. 4 out of 5 people think it's a show.
Maybe.
One person doesn't know it is.
Yeah, but I buried him.
person has to-
You will never find
Never
the body.
find
that
him.
fifth dentist, never seen again. He voted in one survey, never voted
Never
again.
again. Speaking of bodies, weird segue. I just was wondering because now,
So am I.
all of a sudden, weird. Where they're building the new apartment complex over here, they're going at just really
Warp
aggressive
speed, yeah.
over here on Central. My first thought is, again, I always think about these. If it's a plot of land that's been there forever with nothing on it, I always wonder how long it's been, if it's ever been touched. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So now I'm like, a million years ago, or even as recent as maybe 500
The Earth's only
years ago.
6,000 years old. That's not possible. Your sentence has no basis in fact.
This is our Christian segment of the.
Yeah, thanks,
Yes.
Joel Osteen.
Kirk Cameron says.
No, good, right. No, I just wonder when they dig up something like that. I don't know why I've never thought of this before, but like we're in the desert, and hundreds of years ago, something might have been buried, or there may have been like some Indian burial ground or something that nobody knows about. I wonder if anybody comes out there when they first start digging and like check
I think they
stuff
do
around.
have to do a little bit of investigation of, and I think this may be in the past. Like they've done investigations of like lands in Arizona.
They know where stuff pretty much was.
Yeah, I think they've already fought. People have already fought that battle. They just waited 100 years to tell us that squaw meant bitch, and then wanted us to pay attention, or that tranny's a bad word.
So-
you know what I mean?
Transmission shops are having a hell of a time with
Yeah.
that because
Oh my god.
your
Your
tranny's
tranny's
gone.
out of whack. Oh shit! Don't talk about her like that.
Say it and so.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Your squaw tranny's out of
Your squaw tranny. Exactly. Just if you really want to insult somebody, call them a squat
Girl,
tranny.
don't make me. I'll pull it all.
I know.
Hold these.
Yeah. Who's that from? Is that Ellen DeGeneres?
Was that Ellen?
That sounds Ellenish.
Sounds very
When she
Ellen.
does
like
because
hello.
Katharine Hepburn used to take off
Don't
her
make
earrings.
me.
Don't make me.
Yeah.
Hello, Laura, in the shut room.
Oh, Laura.
How
Coming,
are you?
coming to us from somewhere where it's cooler than here.
Only slightly.
I don't know how much
I
cooler,
wonder
but
if I
it
could wear a
is.
sweatshirt there.
Oh, actually,
at
Sedona-
night?
Yeah,
That's
it's, probably,
your
it's
goal?
always like 20. Sedona's so pretty too.
Yeah.
I hope, and now the fire is better. I know they were like 95,
90%?
Yeah.
95% contained.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And they said the slide rock was open, but not the actual, like, you can't slide down the rock. Like the actual water park part of
Oh,
it.
got it. I've never seen that. That's not
Oh,
surprising.
yeah, I haven't either been there.
When I was
fun.
young and I went there, we actually used to do the actual water feature and like play around in the water,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was
Oh,
it was a
yeah.
lot of fun. Now
We
it's
used to
just
go-
an injury waiting to happen, but
We used to go as kids, but then being being a little bit of a local yokel up there, I found a different spot.
Of course you did.
Yep.
Was
that
it
you, like,
gluten-free?
Park on the side of the road. No, actually, the beer was flowing.
Oh,
We
sure.
would, but it was so cool, and it was like these, the rocks, the ones that were not covered in water, had clearly been at one point big, smooth, and we would lay out. We would it was like our own little beach in Sedona, and a big water slide thing that was so much fun.
oh, that's fun.
We
It's
used to go all
so
the time.
pretty up there.
I love it.
That is one of my, and it's so
One of my
relaxing.
favorite
Turns out
places.
it's from lack of oxygen with my asthma that I'm actually dying of hypoxemia, where I think I'm just so relaxed I could fall asleep. It's actually a loss of consciousness.
That's funny.
I should really bring an oxygen tank to
Watch
higher
that.
altitudes.
Yeah. Like I would
great.
think.
Note to
maybe.
self.
Sleepy feeling is
Is that
death.
how you get when you're up in Flagstaff as well?
Yeah, remember when we were
Alex
up there?
When you were up
No,
there,
no,
that's why
he's
you
just
were-
sleeping.
okay.
He's fine. He's just
And
sleeping.
I kept telling everybody that. I'm
He
like, I
looks
get
dead.
so sleepy when I'm up here.
Yeah.
But then
And then
you're-
my doctor told me, he's like, you might actually need oxygen at that. He's like, your baseline pulse ox is not that great. So going up to 3,000 feet and drinking and carrying on,
Not a good idea.
not in
That
your
is
best
so
interest.
funny.
Maybe you can put some oxygen in that bag next to your mittens
Yeah.
that you carry for whatever fucking reason.
That was one of the funniest conversations I've ever had with somebody. Because I told him how relaxed I feel in high altitudes. How sleepy.
Almost just sleeping off.
I just love it. It's so great.
Do not operate machinery. Hold the banister when walking up and
Somebody should
downstairs.
check this, but I'm pretty sure that Flagstaff is higher than Denver. Because Denver's a
You
mile.
were talking about that when we
but
were up
I
there.
think
I'm
Flagstaff.
gonna Google it.
Thank you, Katie. I was going to just say
I think the elevation of Flagstaff is higher than
it
Denver.
might well be. I do not know.
But I always
I
forget how
know,
many feet are in a mile. But
5,280 feet are in a mile.
then and
Then
Flagstaff's
Flagstaff's higher.
Yeah, Flagstaff's at like 7,000.
Yeah.
No,
Flagstaff
by a quarter
elevation.
mile.
Yeah. Wow, that was
Yeah,
quick
seven-
math. You are on it.
7,000.
I don't know why.
We gotta lock you in a dungeon more often.
There's no reason to be.
7,000 feet
Is flag?
is flag.
Okay, and they call Denver the Mile High City, so I'm going to assume somewhere around the 5280 mark.
Denver elevation.
Let's wait while Katie Googles it. Dun,
Damn
dun,
it!
dun,
Flagstaff
dun,
elevation
dun.
just came up so much quicker. Yeah, it is. It's 5280.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
then-
It's exactly 1 mile.
Then their name holds.
Damn it.
So Flagstaff's got to get on top of that. You want higher? Come here.
Oh, when we legalize pot, that's the deal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
their
exactly. You
slogan.
thought you were high in Rocky Mountains.
That
Yeah.
is advertising agency right here. Call
I
him.
like it.
Flagstaff,
Right.
Arizona, high, Arizona.
And he's singing too. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
I don't know. I have there's no
a lot
justification for
happening.
this. I was up early. I've been in here underneath this goddamn desk all day trying to fix most of our
And I've been
issues.
eating raspberries all week, so I
Raspberries?
spent all my time flossing. All I've done this week is floss my teeth.
Carl. Raspberries.
Yeah, I had one of those. I was picking everything out of my
Laura's in
teeth.
Sedona. She's in Sedona,
Yeah.
Did
Arizona.
we get to what you had done, or did you do anything, or is all well?
I think she
Just
just
had a
bitched about the
sweatshirt.
heat.
What? I don't
No,
still get
I
the
think
heat.
No, I'm at the
I'm
switcher.
fine.
Okay, all right. Because it'll eventually get even colder. Because I've had the air on all day because I've been
No,
in
I
here.
figured it would probably get chilly in
it
here.
probably
That's
will.
why I thought it would be okay, but
Yeah. Got it.
I'm running around.
Meanwhile,
Otherwise,
she-
everything is fine.
You know, this one walks in almost a tube top, and then she'll be bitching about the cold in about 2 hours.
That's true.
And a see-through tube top.
No less.
I could see her boobies.
Boobages.
buddy.
Got it. You've been working. I've been
And like
doing
every day
stuff.
since you've seen me,
Yeah,
I worked. I
that's
worked.
not a
Just
show.
worked 6 in a row, and I go back tomorrow.
What's with the
no.
raspberries? I mean, they're kind of on sale lately. Is that
They're
why?
on, yeah,
or-
they're on sale, and
They were in his fridge at the time.
Yeah.
no, I went and got some. I went and got some like snacky things, just because I've been working so
Some
much.
healthy snacks.
Just stuff to tide me over before I, when I get up before I go to bed, because I have to get everything to go to work.
Yeah. I just wondered if there was a reason, raspberries in particular.
No, and they like a lot of times the raspberries look like they're about to grow fuzz any second, and they looked really good. So I actually bought 2.
I've been doing the same thing.
And now I found that instead of throwing them away after 4 days because I'm at work, that now I just bring them to work and I just bring them places and snack on them because they're really
so
tasty.
good.
I was kind of waiting for the raspberry moment to hit, and I'm like, just bring them with you, fucker.
Yeah. And at Whole Foods, they have this, when you walk in the door, they have this gigantic bin. I mean, it is like massive of blueberries.
Massive.
It's a new thing
Massive.
of blueberries and with just giant shovels. It's amazing. I've been eating like bags of blueberries
and they're
one
so
a day.
good for you. Yeah.
They're so good for you and they're so tasty.
I do enjoy the blueberries.
So
Yeah,
those
I
are
really
also
do.
on sale. I love berry season, and we're
me
getting
too.
into like citrus and which
And
I love.
I was doing every summer. I've been doing smoothies, and then I'm like, oh, that's so much work. Just eat the fucking fruit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's
I
a
just
smoothie
get-
tip.
I just get yogurt and dump the one of the like vanilla yogurt and dump those
Sure.
or blueberries.
but
in
I
it.
have
So good.
I have decided this week that the difference between putting them in smoothies and eating them is that I'm spending all of my free time flossing.
I understand. I
Like
seriously
this
have
morning
toothpicks
was
everywhere. I'm
probably
serious.
about a 15-minute adventure of flossing.
That's why you get that
Because
water pick.
I had missed a day. And I was like, oh, sweet Jesus, what's not in my teeth?
Right,
That's
right.
why I love a water pick. Oh my God, I love that
Can
thing.
But these seeds, a water picking getting in there.
Oh.
Like,
Can I give you a
almost had to do
smoothie
an
tip, like a
extraction.
really great smoothie tip? Because I love them as well, but I just like piling them all together. So I'm now, this last Sunday, I put all of the fruit into baggies and into the freezer.
yeah.
And so now I'm just doing that, a little bit of yogurt and
Yeah,
protein
good.
powder. I
That's
mean, it's like
exactly
so
what-
nice. They're all pre-packaged little.
Nice.
I love it. I do
It's a
too.
little tip.
I buy the
Smoothie tip.
that was like the tropical fruit, the prepackaged stuff,
Oh,
like it
yeah.
fries. Then it's all in just one bag, the whole thing,
It's
powder.
good. Yogurt.
I use natural OJ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all tasty.
Because ever since my conversation with you, now I'm concerned about milk. Now I feel like you, Katie, because the hypochondria.
Orange juice is like a little bit of juice a day. 6 to 8 ounces a day is more than enough.
Oh well, then I better cut back because maybe I just start making my smoothies with water.
Yeah. The conversation about milk was
Coconut
just because
water.
of the excessiveness that I drink it.
Oh.
Juice you keep to a small amount. Like a gallon of milk a week is too much.
Oh, well, I could do 2 gallons easy. I
me
love
too.
milk, especially with ice in it.
I
It's
could bong
cold.
it. I could seriously milk bong it, and I'd be perfectly happy.
It's a milk bong. Wow.
I would actually like to see that.
I could handstand keg that fucker.
I would love to see your milk bomb.
Yeah, everything
That's
is weird
funny.
now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was just
That
like, 'cause
doesn't
I
sound
can't tell if
right.
it's just me.
Ooh, I'd like to see your milk bong.
All right, how about you?
It's the same thing. It's just been work and running and extra days at the bar. And then we had a meeting. Totally weird. I think I may have mentioned to you all when I was in Denver, my landlord gives me this text about, hey, would you like a sprinkler system in your backyard? I'm like, where did this come from? I've lived here forever. Why? So he's like, well, would you use it? I'm like, well, yeah, I've been wanting to put one in there forever. Well, of course, he couldn't do this on 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. No. 9 a.m. Saturday morning.
Oh, that's
so.
fits.
Of course, I have to get up.
That's when the world really happens.
Not for me.
I know, but
on,
I'm just letting you
people.
know that
Yeah.
for the rest of the people that aren't us,
Yeah,
that's when they think it's a productive
apparently
time.
They get. I mean, my mom's up and goes to work at like 7 something. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, so had a meeting about that. Apparently, I'm getting a sprinkler system in the backyard in the next
that's
2 weeks. So
exciting.
we'll see how that all
That would
goes.
be exciting for you.
Yeah.
Are you
What?
having a left ear issue as well? Yeah.
Oh, you?
We're having
three
some
of
left
us.
ear
I don't have any.
left ear
pop.
issues.
Yeah.
That's a really weird thing.
Yeah.
I think we're losing all that amps. So many things going on. Anywho, well, that's it. It's 7:33. I think. Well, I don't know if Marnie's ready or not. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
we'll get there.
You
We'll
think?
get there.
You think you're gonna make it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot one great story that I wanted to use this week, but I'm sure we can find it and talk about it somehow, some way. We'll get to it somehow. Anyway, here we go. It's headlines. We'll see if we can make this happen here on Q Talk America with lovely stories that we've cultivated from near and far just for you. Well, is a Hindu guru dead or is he just meditating?
We only serve dudes.
Is that milk on your mail?
Side effects of medications. If you hear vulvovaginitis, run.
Oh yeah.
Restaurant that refused fag customers becomes a gay bar. Online.
The Wheel of Fortune has people that can't spell.
Florida judge says, I'll beat your ass.
Joe the plumber.
Joe the plumber.
Yeah.
And much more coming.
Just leave it at that.
Oh,
I
my
watched this and thought
gosh.
I need to talk to Al about that. Did you see that?
It sounds like we have one crossed,
Yeah,
one
we
story.
do, we
That's
do.
But hey, I knew we were going to get to this and we're going to work
And
it all
I have
over.
I
so
have
I'm
a different
fine.
one I can do.
Oh, it doesn't make it. I know we'll be fine with this. We have so minty things to talk
Minty,
about.
minty.
Minty things. Well, an Indian court has been asked to rule on whether a reverend Hindu guru is dead or alive, and I don't mean to reference an 80s song, and whether it's a matter of religious faith or scientific fact. The family and followers of one of India's wealthiest Hindu spiritual leaders are fighting a legal battle over whether he's dead or simply in a deep state of meditation.
Oh my gosh.
His Holiness Sri Ashutosh Maharaja. And
That one you got right?
Yeah, right?
I'm pretty
It's
sure
not European.
I'm pretty sure it's wrong. The founder of the Divya Jyoti Jaragata Santan
Fantastic.
religion. I don't know what the fuck that all is.
fantastic.
Anyway, his property estate is worth about an estimated $76 million. He died in January, according to his wife and son. However, his disciples at his have refused to let the family take his body for cremation because they claim he's still alive. According to his followers, based on the Punjab city of Jalandhar, he simply went into a deep.
I'm just enjoying your face as you say these words.
He went into a deep.
Say it again.
I can't. He went into a deep samadhi meditation.
Thank
love
you,
that you're
seals and
saying it like-
crops.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have now frozen his body to preserve it for whenever he wakes up. His body is currently contained in a commercial freezer in ashram.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my God.
That's good stuff.
Oh my God is right.
I just want to hear you read all of those things again and see if they're the same. Like
Well,
if we can go
according-
back
yeah.
and compare.
According, the city was Punjab city of Jalandhar.
I think you got Jalandhar right. I mean,
But
You
his-
might, yeah.
No, but I don't know if I go back to His Holiness Sri Ashutosh Maharaji. I don't know if I got that one or not.
your mouth is making some interesting sounds.
Oh, that's fantastic. So Laura had sent me a story that cracked me up, and so I'll switch up the one that
Okay.
that we have tied. A cook was charged for licking sandwiches.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yes.
I didn't read it, but I heard about it.
God,
I know.
that's horrible.
I was so disgusted.
because
Albuquerque,
I
New
love
Mexico.
sandwiches.
Oh, Albuquerque.
Yeah, she's probably from Florida originally,
Yeah.
but I'm speculating on this
Yeah.
one.
Florida by way
That's
of
right.
Albuquerque.
So she is at this New Mexico facility for women. It's a women's recovery, right? Women's Recovery Academy in Albuquerque.
Also known as a lesbian
And
bar.
according to the criminal complaint,
Just
well,
A facility. I'm
it
going to the
became
lesbian
one.
facility. I'll be back. I'll be back.
it's probably what 24th
Gently
Street and
licked.
Thomas is going to start calling itself pretty soon. Jesus, it changes every 2 minutes.
Bad, yeah.
According to a criminal complaint, witnesses told investigators that this 59-year-old woman would take a piece of cheese, lick it, and put it on the sandwich.
Oh, that is just so gross.
It made me want to hurl.
Lick it good.
Lick it good.
Ah.
Anyway, she'd also been sucking on ice cubes and putting them into cups before handing them to staff members.
Okay, Albuquerque now off the travel
Yeah.
list.
But, well, at least the women's facility.
But now I'm going to start looking for
The
stories from
lesbian bar.
Florida and Albuquerque.
She's apparently charged with 3 counts of battery on a peace officer, but the big point Laura wanted me to make with this story is that it's unknown if she had an attorney.
Thank you, Laura, for keeping the
Thank
pulse
you.
on our
And,
legal.
oh, and Laura sent that link today to the 30s fashion show
I
about what
haven't
woman.
looked at all of it.
Oh
my God, I didn't
It's
see
a
it.
minute-
I didn't get to see it,
Oh, you
but-
were busy today. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It was a minute and 13 seconds long. It's what women will be wearing in the future.
From
It's from
1939.
yeah, sometime in the 30s.
Stop it. Is it on our Facebook page?
It's on mine. It's on mine. It's like the
Oh, I
second thing
thought
on
she
the thing.
tagged all of us, but maybe it wasn't. It
I
was
think
just-
she just tagged the two of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny when the girl turns her dress. The guy goes swish.
Swish.
She said something about someone having your shirt on.
Something about my shirt. I
Yeah.
heard
Oh,
that.
because they show one men's fashion, and he's got candies in a.
Oh.
He's got candies for the cuties in a little container in his
Oh,
pocket.
that's what your comment meant. I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I thought it was in
I just
reference
assume
to.
you watch the links that people send you. My mistake.
I assumed it was in reference to another link somebody had sent me where there's some really, really old guy in a bar, and I thought you were making references to candies.
Were you
for
in town?
cuties. Oh! Wow.
No.
Who needs the shot this week?
We're going back a little bit.
Yeah.
No. Rewind.
Women's
I just
basketball.
meant- WNBA.
Sirinjay Madhurajahai.
I swear to God, I just meant not
How
you.
was that? Yeah.
Just let it go, Marnie.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking let it go.
Dig a
Your
little
foot's
deeper in the well,
your foot's
Barney.
too far in the well.
Too far,
Dig
but I
it.
swear to God, I didn't mean it. Kind of.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Hit it, sir.
Well, an anti-gay Christian group and its supporters have been asked to toss letters decorated with the Harvey Milk Forever stamp because it was lobbied into existence, quotes, by a self-described drag queen. The American Family Association released a statement last week that bashed Milk. Milk the person, not the drink. Milk, who was one of the first openly gay U.S. politicians, and the efforts of Nicole Murray Ramirez, who spent about 7 years asking the U.S. Postal Service for a stamp, which oddly 7 years is about the same timeline to get anything mailed from anywhere in the United States because of inefficiency. Anyway, she asked him for the stamp to honor Milk as a civil rights icon. According to them, unfortunately, the deed is done. The United States Postal Service honored a child predator at the whim of a drag queen, according to the AFA statement. The group refers to Murray Ramirez as, quote, former transsexual prostitute, and defines drag queen as a biological man with implanted breasts for its conservative audience. They're not breasts for the audience, they're breasts for her.
That's right.
San Diego City Commissioner Nicole Murray Ramirez. She's a San Diego City Commissioner, people. She lobbied for a Harvey Milk stamp for about 7 years in the National Letter Campaign. San Diego City Commissioner Nicole Ramirez lobbied for... Okay, why does it keep repeating that line? It's also described Milk as a very disreputable. Looks weird. Disreputable man who, quote, used his charm and power to prey on young boys with emotional problems and drug addiction.
Oh my God.
If I'm not mistaken, he was fighting for civil rights in the entire city of San
While
Francisco.
having sex with a drug addict that
right.
had emotional problems. I mean,
But he wasn't a child.
No. But, I mean,
Played lovingly by James
we're
Franco.
playing fast and loose with words here.
On the contrary, the U.S. Postal Service called Milk a visionary leader who gave hope to the LGBT community during a time of hostility when they announced the stamp back in April. Milk, for those of you who don't know, was elected to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors back in 1977, was unfortunately assassinated by ex-supervisor Dan White nearly a year later on November 27th in 1978, along with Mayor George Moscone. Yeah.
November 27th. That's right. It was on my birthday. I was 9.
Oh my God.
I was.
Oh, by the way,
I didn't know that
Do you
that
remember?
happened.
Yeah, I
No.
went to the.
In addition to this story, this little group that's protesting, it says, if a postal worker offers a stamp of Harvey Milk, the group has asked its supporters to instead go for a forever stamp with the American flag on it to call their attention to the disgrace. Get me a fucking break.
America.
Seriously.
Okay, now I get my stamps at Safeway from the lovely cashier, who I don't think would know if
Who
she was
uses
handing.
stamps?
I do, because I mean,
Yeah.
I still
I bought
believe.
some that
I
had
still am a firm
Begrudgingly,
believer.
I use
No, not
stamps.
begrudgingly. I still, like last week I told you, I went through cards. I want a card for my birthday.
Yes.
Like, I don't want an email. I want you to mail a fucking card. I want it in the mail. I want it posted.
Write this down. Send.
And a letter, like
Cards.
there's still
Card
no
to
handwritten note. There's still no substitute for a handwritten letter to someone.
From prison or not? I agree.
Yeah. It shows you care more if it came from prison. Because I know how you had to smuggle that pen in.
And
Yeah,
you write
nothing but time.
SWAK on the back.
No, but I do. Like personal correspondence, I don't mail
Sealed
many.
with a kiss. You
I
got
don't.
it.
I think I've eliminated all. I don't mail any bill. I can't think of one bill that I mail anymore.
Why would you waste? I wouldn't waste money on that.
Right.
But
Stamps,
it's always
no,
cards, letters,
you're right.
Christmas time. But I've never had someone suggest something to me. I know they put out someone on a postage stamp a few years back that I think maybe I asked for. Maybe it was like a movie, like
An
they
actress or
commemorated an
something.
actress
Sure.
or a movie. Maybe it was a Lucille Ball or a
Sure.
Gone with the Wind or something that I would have I would like that stamp. And then I forgot it was important and I put it on someone's letter and I mailed it. Because
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
went and bought
I'm
the
not
Harvey Milk ones.
I
I
should
just
get
got
those.
them last
Oh, you
Tuesday.
did?
Oh, maybe I will.
I just, I'm doing that actually for all of our 1 in 10 thank yous for all of the contributions that are coming in. I'm handwriting.
All thank you notes should be handwritten.
And
you
it
did
is-
that beautifully last year with Dancing with the Bars.
Yeah, and it is a I'm getting carpal tunnel, but I think it's super important. So I'm just spacing it out and doing like chunks of them every night because these people are giving their money to. They're choosing
Even if
to
you
give their
type
money.
it, even if you type it out, it should be signed in your
Oh
own hand.
yes,
and it
sure.
should be-
I've been doing little cards, so
If they took the time to
it's
send
important.
you money, you
Yeah.
should take the time to thank them.
I
Like
agree.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway,
group thank yous on Facebook. No.
Not
Yeah.
the
Right.
same. Not the. I agree with you.
Someone got in touch with you, you get in touch with them.
yeah.
Reach out
In
and
kind.
touch.
Not so close.
Somebody's- Oh yeah.
It's just a song, kids.
Don't
It's
Laura.
just a song.
No.
No, I always say that when Diana Ross sings, "Reach out and touch."
Not so close.
It's just a lyric. Back
Calm
off.
down.
Back
Right?
off.
Security.
Right? That's a noxious stimuli for me. I don't want anybody. I don't want to touch it.
By the time I got to see her live, she had reached that point of the reach out and touch of like, "Oh, you're a freak. Get away. Stay back."
Stay there.
She was definitely call her Miss Ross when I saw her live.
The last thing I actually mailed, and it wasn't a stamp thing. I boxed up it's just like a week or so. My aunt is coming to visit. My mom's younger sister for a 2-week stay at the lovely resort here in Phoenix. So in anticipation of her arrival, because she likes the coffee that I get from Lux for her, which that you've enjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
So I boxed up. I got a bag of beans, put it in a little box, and I typed up a big note that says, our accommodations are ready. Blah blah blah.
Oh my God, that's
here's
so
the
cute.
coffee you'll be enjoying. You're going to send the
That's
vodka
very
you like.
nice.
That
The
is
regulations
so
prohibit that. And then I said you
cute.
will be escorted from the friendliest airport in the world, because that's
It
what they
says
call
that.
themselves.
Yeah.
That's
And then
right.
I included the link so she could go to that if she wanted to. And then I put you'll be escorted to the resort by the lovely couple the whatever I said featured below, and I put a picture of Mom and I and then sent it to her. The funny thing is I sent it, and then she's in a small town in Oklahoma, and it got there on a day that the bank was closed, so it goes to the post office and they hold it. Well, Marge at the post office held it for days and days, and I forgot it. And all of a sudden I get an email from my aunt. I love the package. I'm like, what the fuck did I send her? It's come to find out she got the coffee, and she's all wired up and ready to come out here next week.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, she walked 6
Clayton.
blocks where the coffee ran out.
She took off right then.
Let me grab my purse. I'm out of here. And just a helpful tip for people with Keurigs that find throwing away that much plastic as horrifying as I do. They make these little cups
Yes.
and just grind your beans twice. That sounds dirty, but do it. Grind your beans twice through your grinder and then fill the little cup, and the cup is reusable. and
Let's talk about this, because I'm
easily
obsessed with the
rinsable.
Keurig,
Yeah.
and I really feel sick to my stomach every time. And I have not started this, but I just thought about like cutting them open, rinsing them out, and at least like recycling the
Yeah.
plastic and cleaning
But
it.
you don't even have to do it. You just buy it, and it's got a very fine mesh to it that's easily
Clicks right
rinsable,
in.
and you just dump it out like you would your coffee filter, and it's 1 cup at a time.
Good.
And you just pack it full, and then you don't have to do anything funny with the spoon. You just close the lid when it's like it seems like there's too much. You snap
Yep.
the lid closed, and it creates like an espresso pod.
So great.
And
Oh,
the
that's
I'm
coffee
fantastic.
getting
is
it.
delicious.
I'm
so
super
I
getting
did it for
that
the first time.
it's really horrifying.
It bugs me too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't
It's
use
the
it, but
waste.
Michael does, and it drives me crazy because I see like 10 of those go away
Yeah.
a week.
And it's plastic, and like that's like the worst thing
It's
ever.
so bad.
So
Yeah.
like
I hate
so
that.
do that and just grind your beans twice or have them.
GTK. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Good.
If you're going to wherever you're going,
Totes
Safeway-
good.
Yeah, Totes McGrinder. Because even if you buy your whole beans at Safeway and
Right.
wherever, they always have a grinder there.
Yeah.
Just grind
Grind
through
them twice.
put it through
Laura
a second
throws in
time.
there is also a paper filter version of the same thing.
Oh.
That's what she
Oh, there you
says.
go.
Nice.
Very good.
To
Yeah.
use in your bong, your milk bong. that
Your
you're gonna
milk
use.
bong.
What in the fuck are you
I
doing,
know.
Marnie?
Love it.
Are you got what? Oh
my God, she's got a
Suck on
cutting
it,
board.
suck on it.
Oh,
She
Marnie-
literally has
Oh.
a cutting board. I love it.
She's cutting fresh limes that are $100 million a case at this point, and then you've got salt. What? We can hear you.
That's
suck
not
that,
static. That's Margie sucking on something.
Margie.
Margie.
Oh, Christ on the cross, Margie.
I haven't gotten your name
Oh,
wrong. in a while.
Margie.
I didn't expect you to
felt
be-
like you owed her a wrong name.
Broke out a
No,
cutting board.
That was legit. I thought sucking on that bottle. I thought your name changed to Margie.
Well, yeah, it's a different identity then.
Oh, Marge.
Wow.
And I can't recommend this wine.
May I?
I
Why?
have to say that I love the Chamissal
yes.
brand, but I'm drinking with their Viognier from their special vineyard.
Thank you.
And it's and like unless it's
I
not
gave a
mixing with the
Viognier a
raspberries,
long time ago.
it's very bland. Here, try it. I just
Here, does this smell bad to you?
but she's not drinking berries, so it might be that the berries are just too much with the wine. It's not a good food pairing.
It's okay. It's not as good as what you had last week.
yeah.
which
I
I
was
think
Yeah.
if it's booze, just go with it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is really like ugh.
Ugh.
All right, so Chamissal, if you're going to order it, because I gave you that recommendation a couple weeks ago, don't do the Viognier. It's not good.
Not as
Yeah.
good.
There you have it.
What last week's? Get last week's.
Yeah, last
Always.
week's, the Shinkong
Always with
from
last
Edna
week's.
Show
Valley.
number 169. Listen to that. Figure out what wine it is. God, I don't know. Marna, where are you? Where are
Yeah,
you?
there's a student who was on the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if you guys saw this thing. Some of my, and forgive me because some of the stuff is a little bit older.
Older.
It's things that I had printed off. today ended payroll, so I was not able
Which,
to.
which means that it
So we're
starts
doing
tomorrow.
greatest hits of May's news.
Yeah, well, exactly, because I have some stuff that's on here, but it's too hard to find. So,
Oh, now it's gone all awry.
yep, that's me. That's my nickname.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a student on the Wheel of Fortune who says, "I did my best. I did my best." I watched the clip of this. You can go on to YouTube and find this. There's a freshman from Indiana University named Julian Botts, and he was on a roll like this. He just kept winning, and then he had a series of unfortunate answers that gave him a chance for a car, a trip to Jamaica, and a shot at $1 million. He landed on that
Big,
Right, right.
$1 million
big,
thing.
big wheel.
Big wheel. So
Big piece
he
of the
filled
pie.
in the letters to practically solve the puzzle. Like the whole thing said mythological hero Achilles.
Right.
Okay. Did you see that?
Yes.
But he mispronounced the hero's name, instead saying Achilles.
Oh, yes, I think
Did
I
you
saw
see
this.
that?
It was
I
embarrassing.
laughed.
Now, do they take the point?
And
They did.
sad.
They did because he mispronounced it.
Oh, that's so rude.
So
Yeah.
close yet so,
So
far away.
he had an interview with Good Morning America. He explained what was going through his mind. He realized that he had slipped, and not answered it right. It kind of hit me like a train, and I really didn't know how to react to it. The game continued, and the person next to him said, "I'll solve the puzzle."
Yeah. Because it's all
Yeah.
spelled
Here
out.
we
I
go.
got this.
Right. I feel good about it. She solved it.
Confidence is high.
I didn't feel like I made a mistake, but I feel like I solved the puzzle entirely, and all I had to do was read it, and it just went, well, I tried my best. Fucking kidding me?
Oh,
$1 million.
that's like a really positive
Well,
outlook.
The problem is that really, National Honor Society guy.
But sometimes you see a word like he just did. Like sometimes you see
Totally.
a word spelled out and you're like disreputable. Like that doesn't look right.
It doesn't
Right.
did
Like
look
I
right.
like I
I'm
feel
with
like
you.
I feel like somebody slipped some extra letters in there. To fuck
And
with
when
me.
you're on the spot
the
like
pressure.
that, and
Right.
you're just like, who is or whatever,
and especially
it was.
Achilles, because you would see that spelled out and you'd be like,
Achilles.
Yeah.
do I
that's
put
what
that
it-
on a pizza?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not. If it had just been that one, I can go with that. Because when I get to the medication stuff, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck some stuff up. So I get it. But then he got to.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was this
that-
Wheel or Jeopardy?
Wheel of Fortune.
Okay,
Wheel
Wait.
of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune has said
Not this
that
guy's
when
fortune.
a contestant tries to solve a puzzle, they must pronounce it using the generally accepted pronunciation. But his misfortune wasn't over, it says. So with just one letter missing from the phrase, the world's fastest, and it had blank a blank. Bots chose a letter C. There was no C. Another contestant solved correctly the world's fastest man. That one you can see, like the world's fastest car. Maybe that's what he was going for.
Right.
Okay. So the fact that this Texas A&M person just kept going, I got this.
Yeah, you're just in a really fortunate position at that
Exactly.
point.
Yeah.
I want to be after him.
Yeah.
I'll go second.
I want to go into a store after him. I'm the millionth customer.
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like just this guy's luck.
And in another puzzle-solving misstep, this bat said that the puzzle was on the spot dice spin instead of on the spot decision. Even though,
Oh, what?
yeah.
He said on the spot
On
dice
the
spin.
spot dice spin instead
Oh
of on the
my
spot decision. Even though Bots went on to win the game, his major mistakes cost him big money. I don't think anyone has ever taken more like an otter journey to get to the end.
Yeah, to win. So
to
many
win.
losses to win. Oh my god, that's funny.
Killing me. So anyway, he said, well, I tried. There was a poll. He just kept saying, well, I did my best. I tried. There was a poll that they did about, should he be able to get the money?
Right.
Like, was it close enough? 75% said give it to him. 25% said no. I'm totally with the 25%.
You say don't give it
He's
to him.
this National Honor Society,
Right.
like Mr.
Now the other
college
two,
smart
no,
guy.
but no, I'd say no too.
Yeah, just
But
on that one.
But
Just on that.
I watched it on. I was watching Jeopardy a couple weeks ago because I watch it in patients' rooms because it's.
I remember you
it's
saying
on
that.
at-
Oh,
yeah.
It's on at the right time of day for if the family's still there. They're usually watching a thing, and I usually play Jeopardy with the family, and
Oh, that's fun.
and
I
it's
like
kind of fun.
Ask me
and-
things about Cher.
Yeah, exactly. So the one day I was really on a roll. Like I was just, and I wasn't really
I
paying
feel like
attention.
you'd be so good at Jeopardy.
Yeah, but then like you asked me a question about like what's her name? I don't fucking know.
Margie.
Margie. So we're doing it, and then like
So I've been told.
And I was thinking to myself, and I really didn't realize I was talking out loud. And the family was like, "You're really good at this," and I'm like, "At what? Like, what are you talking about?" They're like, "You know, you're talking, right?" I'm like, "Nope, didn't even know."
I'm just pushing drugs. Go,
So
go.
so then a question came up with a word that I'm like, oh, and I said it, and I said it wrong. The guy said it wrong. They gave him the point, and then after the commercial, they came back and they said, "We're sorry.
Yep.
What you said was actually you were close, but that's actually a word.
Yeah.
So we can't accept it because."
You said the wrong thing.
Right, but you could, and I can't remember what the word was, but what he changed it to was also a word, so it was a wrong answer.
Yeah.
But you
sure.
could see where you could pronounce that word that way. It had
He
like
put
a
the
silent
emphasis on
letter.
the wrong syllable.
Yeah, like there was a silent
That's
letter
funny.
in there that made it all hooey. And it was so
Hooey.
I
funny.
appreciate the hooey.
So I turned to the TV and I'm like, oh, I would have lost that point too. Like we both knew what the answer
Yeah.
was, but neither one of us knew how to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah.
And fucking Alex Trebek has that in his ear. You know, you're not allowed to interrupt him. The reason that they're all hitting the buttons and that they can't get in is
Yeah,
because
why is that?
he is contractually says he has to finish the question before you can ring in. You can't interrupt Alex Trebek. And someone
Okay.
teaches him. He doesn't know the answers, but he knows the correct pronunciation of every foreign word on that show, and he has it whispered into his
never
ear.
knew that.
That's in
I
his
didn't
ear.
either. I actually always
'Cause I
wondered
like-
why they're doing this.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because you cannot interrupt him. So he has
So
to
they
finish
know the
speaking,
answer and they wanna-
then the button can light up. But that's in his
Oh,
contract. But
interesting.
and
always like, those
sometimes he
fucking
gets
things don't
coaching
work.
like you
Things
need.
Al knows about Jeopardy.
Yeah, sometimes he needs coaching on the words, and they'll tell him these words are coming up, and they help him pronounce them. Because I'm always like, okay, now Canadians usually very well spoken, but this guy's pronunciations are off the
Yeah,
chart.
Trebek
Like,
is
Yeah.
off the charts.
He's so good.
That he's
Yeah.
like every language. It doesn't matter
I've
what you throw at
watched
him. He knows
some
it.
things on
This
Wheel
is
of Fortune
really bad.
before that have just been devastating. Like,
Yeah.
like some of the losses, like some of the people that have said the wrong things with only one letter missing, and you just have to feel sad for them because they know it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're not that stupid. Like, they're not that just stupid, but they're just under pressure, and it is painful sometimes
Oh, I
to
saw
watch
one
that.
I
was
would just
Tweedledee and
cry.
Tweedledum.
Yeah.
And got Tweedledee and Tweedledum or something like that.
Oh, come on.
Dur,
And it
dur,
was
dur.
just so funny because Pat Sajak, Dick, goes, I think the word you're looking for is dumb.
I love
And I have to give him credit.
I
Like, wow,
love Pat
spontaneous
Sajak.
humor out of
it. Yeah,
climate
not
denier.
humorous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a climate denier.
Oh God,
Oh,
I
did you
have
miss
that
that
story
scandal
too.
last week? Where he was tweeting that. Oh, anyways.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
thing.
Hey,
And
oh,
Ann Coulter tried to stick up for him.
and oddly,
And you know you're in trouble
Surprising.
when
the
Ann Coulter's
other,
on your team.
I can't recall if we mentioned this last week. The other person who tweets crazy stuff that I never would have put out there, oddly, the predecessor to Pat Sajak, Chuck Woolery, who
Oh, I didn't hear about
The
that.
dating game, yeah.
he tweets. Well, he also,
Dating game
but, No, but
enthusiast.
also
Two and
Wheel of
two.
Fortune.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
But also,
I'm that old.
Be back in Judah. But he tweets out crazy ass shit too. I'm like, what is?
What did
up?
he say?
Oh,
I guess they
again,
did a
it's
whole thing about game show hosts and how conservative they are. Like it was just a strange coincidence
That
that like
somebody's
all
out
these
there.
game show hosts had all these
Weirdos.
Like, and even Alex Trebek was a Mitt Romney enthusiast, and like they
That
were
I
all,
can. That doesn't.
I can see
surprise
that.
me.
Yeah, they look the same. They're
Yeah.
both like rich old white guys.
Yeah. He
There
looks
is
like
that.
he'd be equestrian something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
There is
dressage.
Well, before we wrap up this hour, we'll do one more story. Let's go down to a lovely little town. It's called Pittsburgh, Texas. An East Texas restaurant is receiving unique backlash on the social media after a waitress told a gay couple not to return, making a homophobic remark in the process.
She called them fag. I hate leaving it so open ended.
It's in the story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just. Well, now you've ruined the whole goddamn story, Al.
No, the fun's in the end.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
Well played.
Using Yelp and Google reviews, online activists are trying to make Big Earl's Bait House and County Store in Pittsburgh, Texas seem like one of the highest rated, most recommended gay bars in Texas. One Yelp review reads, "This place is great. You can really let your freak flag fly here." Another reads, "I'm a dude. I like dudes, and I appreciate a place where dudes can hang out together in dude company." A comment that is an obvious reference to the sign at Big Earl's restaurant that states, "Welcome to Big Earl's, where men act like men and women act like ladies. No saggy pants." Colin Dewberry says that he and his partner had just paid their check when their waitress approached them on the way out, and then she
A
said,
hooskow is a slang for prison.
No,
Oh.
where men are men and girls are girls and no saggy pants.
Right.
They
Oh,
"Kind of that way."
got it.
I love that you just whispered that.
Yeah, Phil.
It's so gross.
Well,
I hate
somebody
these
will take
people.
that clip and play it and keep me from running for president.
You're not going to run.
There's a lot of things you said on here. You ain't running for president anytime soon.
So, a gentleman by the name of Colin Dewberry says he and his partner had just paid their check when the waitress approached them on the way out. And that's when she said to us, to put it plainly, we don't serve fags here. I think the restaurant better learn to adapt, or they will probably have to close their doors soon, says Kyle, who identifies himself as a gay man. Well, of course, you're with the other guy. He and others in the Dallas LGBT community are planning to make a road trip to Big Girls coming soon.
No.
And they said, I think it's a fantastic idea, and I'll be there, says Gary Burns. There's no reason not to just go and embrace those people and to love them and hug them and say, hey, we're all human beings here. And Big Girls Restaurant says that they're ready for them. If there's any problems, they'll be taken care of appropriately, says Christina Cheney, who is
Mike Cheney.
She's Big
Yeah,
Girl's
Cheney.
daughter and the waitress who made the homophobic remark. We are aware that they are attempting to come out here. We are ready for them. We have informed the sheriff's department and the state, she says. And while Big Girls
So did Leslie Jordan, I'm thinking, too.
3709.
3709.
And while Big Girl says that they have received an influx of new customers since news came out, they should expect a new crowd in Pittsburgh, especially with the reviews like from Bubba on Yelp, which said, well, the food isn't all that good, but there's still a best gay cruise joint in Texas. I've picked up several dates there and are all very handsome, very gay men. I hear the owner offers discounts to
Very
men.
handsome, very gay.
I hear the owner offers discounts to men in chaps.
Oh my God, that's
And
Absolutely
nothing
and
else.
otherwise, yeah.
Kathy Adams, president of the Texas Eagle Forum, says that she's disgusted by the protest. I think that for those homosexual community to be targeting a restaurant and the good people in Pittsburgh is ugly. It is uncalled for, Adams says. They are pushing an envelope, and they want not only to have tolerance, they want to shove things down our collective throats. Bad use of
Yeah.
words.
Exactly.
Very bad use of words.
They do
That's
actually
called
want
malpropism.
Yeah, they do actually want to shove some things
She
down
says
your
that
throat.
she would never broadcast her personal life in public.
Never.
And one who has been married for 45 years to her husband, I don't think that it's my role to stand in the street corner and start talking about the style of private life that my husband and I have. Insert S&M.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or what goes on in our basement
He's definitely
in that very special
wearing
red
dresses. Yeah.
Yes. So in conclusion, Michael Diavesti of Equality Texas thinks that the protest will only do good. He says it's pretty ingenious in what they're doing. It's both raising awareness and taking the message of acceptance and love and intolerance and inserting that instead of being negative against big girls. They may end up getting less business because of these online reviews, but who really knows? But the fact is that it's awesome that people are hearing our stories and people are saying what's going on in Pittsburgh, Texas.
Honest to God.
That's fantastic.
I just think it's funny.
I like to just
I
all I
love
could
it.
see was Sordid Lives. The
Oh,
movie
yeah,
is
totally.
Sordid.
And I just love it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you bullied somebody and called them a name, and so someone's calling you name back, and you're like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
You're
How
pushing your
dare
envelope. You shoved your envelope down my throat. I just spit it out at you.
Right.
Shut
Yes.
the fuck up.
I just want to spend money and have food. Shut up,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yep.
We are ready. We have notified the state and the sheriff.
It's a chicken fried steak.
Jesus,
you know what I mean?
lady.
It's already a piece of shit.
There's
That's
our food
right.
critic coming up later with his raspberries and peanuts.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
It's the
chicken
show.
fried
It's the end of
steak
hour
story.
one. Hour two's coming up. Our drinking word. So much more. Stay with us, please. In Texas.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. This show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Oh, good evening again, everyone. Just a little bit after 8 o'clock. It is Studio C. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Katie June, Marnie Ryer, Al Perkins. We come to you live every Tuesday night from 7 to 10. We also found out this week that that's 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday
In Egypt.
Good to know. We're a morning show there.
Yeah. Well,
Afternoons.
good morning, Cairo.
Good
I've
morning.
always wanted to say that.
Oh, really?
No, you haven't.
Well, that's all right.
You don't fucking know.
I don't believe you at all.
off,
I
bitch.
don't believe you at all.
You don't know me.
You don't own me.
I know. I was changing
I know, but remember
artistic
she did
liberty.
that?
Yeah,
I know, but remember
ew.
she did that and you yelled at her?
Oh,
Remember that minute?
Nope. Oh, you want to hear something?
not.
Here, you'll enjoy this. So, Michael's got to do like he's doing some competition, his drag thing. So his final night is tomorrow night at Caramba's, and he is down to him and one other contestant.
Ooh,
and
that's exciting.
Michael's pretty sure that he's winning, and I can't be there because I work at Chuck's. But anyway, they had to pick some number, and for some reason he chose Donna Summer. And he came to me and he was like, well, this song and this song and this song. Well, I made the decision for him and built the mix where he's doing the Dim All the Lights and Last Dance from the VH1 concert in, was it 99?
Yeah.
Is what she did, right? So I edited that together. So it's funny because, doing it live, you change lyrics and it might not be the same thing. And when in that version of Dim All the Lights where she does it in the beginning, like when she wrote it for Rod Stewart. So I've been spending the past 2 days, I've been telling him what the words are. And then he's like, I don't think that's it. So he listened to it again. Sure as hell, I'm wrong. And she's changed the words to something else. But it's been very funny to watch him to listen to all that. What do you need, Katie?
Just peanuts, unsalted peanuts.
They are tasty. It just takes you a minute to realize that.
Peanuts.
Yeah, I do too. And I'm a simple nut girl.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the word? Because I've got it before I forget it.
Jesus.
Because I usually think of it and then I forget it and we spend like an hour with me searching for a word.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, we don't want to do that. So let's do this. Where is it? It's somewhere in here because I wasn't ready for it. I just wanted what?
Harrison thought that instead of Big Earls, it was called Big Girls.
I know. At one point, it sounded like you did say big girls.
It is now.
But at one point, somebody took a post and changed the sign from Big Girls to Big Gay Owls.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, it's time to do our disclaimer, and it goes something like this.
And now, a drink along. We dare you to stay awake during this royalty-free music and to play a drinking game with us. If you are currently or soon to be driving a car, you cannot play. If you are presently the primary caregiver for children and or the elderly, you may desperately want to play, but no. If you are listening from a rehab facility, you are disqualified because you already hit bottom. And that means you already won this game at least once. If playing this game is in any way illegal for you, put the bottle down and make better life choices. There is no good in your goodbye, and there is no lifeguard on duty, so you will be swimming at your own risk. Tell your lawyer to take the fucking day off. You can't sue us. We warned you. Good luck.
Well, our drinking word this week's going to be in honor of Big Girls, called Kerfuffle. There was a great kerfuffle down at Big Girls.
Down in Pennsylvania,
Sound like
Texas.
there's going to be a big kerfuffle.
That big girl waitress just called a couple of sissy boys faggots, and all of a sudden they're all upset and changed the name of our restaurant. and our
God,
Yelp
They're just
reviews.
up in arms.
They got their panties in a wad.
They just turned one kerfuffle into another.
For some reason, I think we should spend the rest of the show talking like we're
I
from
do
Sordid
too.
Lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to do it anyway.
Just slide right down into that comfortable.
Well, whatever y'all want to do. I'm
My God, there's
just fine.
There's a kerfuffle.
Because I watched an episode of Designing Women, and I'm Madonna by the end of it. I've got a southern accent like I've been living in Alabama for the last 50 years.
Oh, very funny.
I know exactly. I'm gonna have to Google how you spell
And-
kerfuffle.
It's Kerfuffle.
Oh, it is a K? Oh, is
Yeah.
it? Is
You
it?
guys-
K-E-R.
Is it
Fuffle.
German?
It's K-E-R-Fuffle.
Kuffle. Kuffle. A nonsense. Balderdash.
Balderdash.
It means balderdash.
My God.
Balderdash.
I know.
do
You can
enjoy
get
it.
anywhere you want to with this word.
We can use it as a verb or as a noun.
They called me Kerfuffle
I
that
He
know.
was
one time.
kerfuffling me last night, and I said, oh, I like it.
I done been Kerfuffle.
You can
And
do
I
that
said
again tomorrow.
when we're done, we are going to Big Girls.
Get me an outfit.
I'm gonna get me a little Earl.
It is a bait shop.
I'm gonna get me a little Earl sandwich.
Go.
It's a bait job, exactly. We're going to get me some fresh shrimp to strum under my arms.
Oh.
Smell pretty for my cats.
Then we're going boating. Gonna go out on the pontoon boat.
I don't feel my cat pays enough attention to me. I'm going to put some shrimp underneath my arms from the bait shop, from the Big Girl bait shop.
She's gonna love me.
Good Lord. Oh, and I have to. If we're gonna do
It's going to be
this,
a whole kerfuffle up in my living room later.
I'm gonna dress like. Oh, now it's just gone. I'm gonna dress like a buffet to be a bait to
buffet.
the big girl.
A buffet.
I'm gonna.
I'm a big girl buffet.
What is that from?
Well, you said it was big girl. I just made it up. You
Oh,
said
okay.
big girl's bait, so I'm baiting a big girl. I'm gonna put a pancake on my hip and a slice of bacon over
and
here.
there is, and
There's gonna be a
remember,
big girl following me everywhere.
there is always room for Jello.
There's always room for Jello.
I feel like when I talk like this, I feel like what's her name? Who was in Pee Wee's Big Adventure at the Alamo? She was on.
Oh, Jan.
What's her name?
Not Jan Hooks.
No.
No. What is her name?
I don't know.
She was on Saturday
I
Night
like
Live.
Large Marge.
Can you-
in the truck, the trailer?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but every time I talk,
gonna
I
Google.
think I feel like I'm her. Welcome to the Alamo. Can you
say tortilla?
Tortilla and masa?
Hortense is making herself a tortilla.
And this is Pedro. He has just come in from the fields.
And if her name wasn't Hortense, it's even funnier as Hortense.
I think it's Juanita.
Juanita has made herself a
Oh,
tortilla.
God, yeah. What's this actress's name?
Oh my God.
Jan
I wish that we
something.
could, like,
It's not Jan Hooks, but
No.
play it. I wish it's funny.
we're in the right era, right lady, and she is funny at everything.
Don't know. Ryer, I think it's up to you to kerfuffle us out of this.
If you get stuck with a bottle of this, I would suggest maybe decanting it to get let it because opened up, it's not awful.
Well, you're halfway through the bottle. It's better.
I'm trying to
It's
like
always
it.
better. So
Plus,
I've been
I haven't
staying
had a
up,
drink.
so I've
It's been a
been-
great kerfuffle. I haven't had a drink in 6 days. Good Lord.
I gotta have me a
Praise
cocktail.
him.
So I've been up late, a little insomnia kind of stuff going on.
Okay.
So
All right.
I've been, the TV is on and running in the background, and they have all those crazy, like it's kind of like during the afternoon where they have all the crazy medications, where they start talking about we could put you on this if you're having trouble with bladder mash or vaginal mash or something. Like they go
Yeah.
on, and you're like, come on, you were talking about
Is this
that.
what, like, Florida?
Like,
Florida-
When they describe the drug in 2 seconds, but the side effects take 5 minutes.
Oh my God, and it's hysterical. So I'm watching this this commercial. I'm listening actually to this commercial that came on for Premarin. Have you heard of Premarin?
I have not.
No.
You gotta tell me. I don't remember the drug name.
Does
You
it
gotta,
affect-
you gotta tell me the side effects.
Does it
The-
does it affect my vaginal mesh?
Yeah.
I need to
It
know.
affects some people's vaginal area.
Oh.
You could get
Your kerfuffle.
vulvovaginitis.
Your
Oh, and that's what they
That's
talked
a
about. Remember, we
kerfuffle.
talked about Hollywood Wives. That's what the lady had. She had vulvovaginitis.
Oh, that's- I don't
and the
remember
fireman
that.
had to
It's
come in.
fucking
How
awesome.
do you know this?
damn
Because I
That's
read the
awesome.
book. I
God,
read
that's
the book
awesome.
Hollywood Wives, and I learned about vulvovaginitis. And the fireman had to come and release the elderly
The hounds.
producer from the young starlet's vagina. There was a great
'Cause it
kerfuffle
went-
in her vagina. Yeah,
Kerfuffle. Good.
There
Shut
was
up.
a kerfuffle vagina.
it snuff her up against her penis.
Well, the whole thing takes me to a whole new level. So it's a.
It's
I
only a
wish she was
hole.
tighter.
well,
It's certainly a hole.
Nope.
I wish it was a little bit tighter. I wish it was wider.
Nope.
Nope.
you wish that was a little looser, son.
Oh.
That's actually a compliment. Thank you.
The Kegels are working.
Oh,
Just
so
did one.
the generic name is conjugated estrogens.
Frau Estrogen. To the complaint desk, Frau Estrogen.
Day bear. Evening bear. Swim bear.
Air kerfuffle.
Erica
Vaginal bear.
Yes. So they start along. This will help with vaginal dryness and blah blah blah. And they're
Sure
going on.
will.
and I'm
Or
like,
it'll
oh,
make it
for
a
God.
snapping turtle. It's wet now, but it's going to
the
clamp
most
down like
common-
nothing you have ever
It is
seen.
The most common side effect they tell you to watch out for is heavy non-menstrual vaginal bleeding. Oh my God! Can you imagine? You're just walking, you're like, it's a hemorrhage. What's happening? The less common, honestly, I had counted them last night and I lost track. I think that there are like 57 or 58 that say less common incidents not known. There were constipation, confusion, diarrhea, dark urine. Dimpling.
Confused. Do I have a dry pussy or am I
No,
shitting all
by
over
the way, you don't know. You don't know at this point.
just so
Dimpling of the
confused.
breast skin.
Did I have Taco Bell?
Double vision. Fainting.
Fainting.
Yes. You don't know. Hives. Hoarseness. inability to move the arms,
Like,
legs, and facial muscles. We call that paralysis.
That's called Bell's palsy.
Loss of appetite, gaining weight.
Wait a minute.
Which is a cruel combination. I'm not eating, but I'm getting fatter. All I wanted was a moist vagina.
Problems with memory or speech. What's the next one? Rectal bleeding. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know, or maybe.
These are
bleeding out of
incidents
all of your-
unknown. These are incidents unknown. Trouble recognizing objects like the pill.
Like your bleeding ass.
Unpleasant breath odor. Again, the vaginal bleeding, just not as heavy.
Light
mean,
But
vaginal
we'll mention it again because you're still bleeding.
Vaginal bleeding, light vaginal bleeding,
Because you've
anal
been
bleeding.
bleeding
No,
the
those-
whole time you've been reading
Those
this
other
list of
things,
side
right,
effects.
leakage. Those other things I just read may require medical attention. These may not. Pain during sexual intercourse, loss of strength, passing gas, thick white vaginal discharge with no odor or a mild odor.
Okay.
maybe it's
At
got
that
an
point,
odor.
it doesn't matter if your pussy's wet or dry. No one's coming in.
There is
There's a kerfuffle going down there that is
that
preventing guests.
is a discharge kerfuffle.
Yeah. When's the word discharge?
Yeah.
Firearm to vagina. No
the
one wants to know.
Keep in mind, I just read that thick white thing, and now less common. Increased clear or white vaginal discharge, incidents not known, cramps, decreased interest in sexual intercourse, which is probably good.
Yeah, because you have a
You're
dry
bleeding
pussy.
from
Because
every
you-
orifice below the
The
belt.
only
the
thing providing
itching.
lubrication at this point is blood
blood.
and
Yeah, right.
discharge. Is a milky red substance
Which could have a mild odor.
or not?
Maybe not.
Can you say mild odor?
Well, now apparently
You
there
say
is,
Vagina
Adobe.
has a mild odor.
That's it. I found it.
there is a loss in sexual ability, desire,
Hortensia has a
drive.
mild odor coming
No,
from her
there's
vagina.
a loss in people's sexual interest in you.
I know. Itching of the vagina or outside genitals.
Well, now you're going to bleed more if you're scratching
muscle stiffness.
Oh my God.
I mean, this went on. The patchy brown or dark skin discoloration.
A patchy brown?
it. Yeah,
That's up north.
a helicopter. An Apache helicopter flies right up to that kerfuffle.
So you have, I like this
Wow.
one. I thought that this would be good. Thick white
Kong makes
curd-like.
side effects.
Thick
Sound
white
effects.
curd-like
Oh,
vaginal
God.
discharge without odor.
Now, is that
Or maybe
with
with
mild
odor.
odor, unexpected or excess milk flow from the breasts.
unexpected?
Weight changes.
Which could
Let's
be
just leave it at that.
Wait, changes.
Weight changes. We're just going to leave it there because that way, go up, go down. Fine.
It's just, it might
changes.
change.
It might change.
Yeah.
Just
So I
Go with it.
I
ready.
I'm listening to this.
breathe
Now,
into
granted,
it.
And all
they
of these
didn't
are
say-
on the ad?
No, not all of those were on the ad,
Yeah.
but kind of felt like it.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, and I'm like, Jesus, when is this commercial going to end? It's like 90 minutes long.
When she bleeds
So
out.
right? Somebody call a medic. There's a vaginal kerfuffle.
I may or may not smell something coming from this dead body. That's
In
still
that how
oozing
you say it? A vaginal kerfuffle?
cottage cheese like bloody substances.
I had cottage cheese earlier, but anyway, so I sat
that
there and I
is
thought,
so horrible.
this is terrifying.
Is
this
it my
is
Greek yogurt or is it you? What smells like you just took that pill?
so I read that or I heard
Lord.
that and I thought, well, there has to be, you know, like you hear about other side effects.
Is
like
there,
Chantix.
is there a natural medication alternative?
Yeah. Go Vaseline for the love
soy?
of fuck.
Just drink soy, they say. Something.
A friend of mine was going to get butt fucked for the first time. And she's a lady.
Clearly.
So she
and
went-
so are you.
Yeah, thank you.
Where is this story going?
Lady Weir.
So I'm just trying to how to avoid the curd-like stuff coming out of your vajayjay. So she goes to the store to buy lube, and the guy hands her some like gentle lady lube, like for fingering yourself, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm taking it up the ass like a man. I want what you sell to them."
Oh
And
no, I love
she
that.
said the look on the sex shop worker's face just went white as she was like, "No, taking it up the ass like a man. Get me the real stuff.
Well, this
I want what they're ordering."
this whole
that's
thing,
awesome.
this whole thing
Taking it up
fucking
the
led
ass like
me
a man.
to
So then she had
this
to
one.
text me, "Have you ever tried gun oil?" Yes, I know it. Yeah.
You're
Laura,
safe.
I like what Laura says. The weight changes are from blood loss. Yes, because
Yeah,
when you
totally.
lose, blood does have a
Yeah.
weight to it. Yes, that's a
Well,
good point.
I went to this one website and this fucking cracked me up. That weight loss is it Ali
Ali.
Ally.
So
Acai berry.
Yeah.
yes,
I've never
Ally
known.
is a weight loss medication that prevents fat absorption. So it goes through
And it
this
has a
whole thing,
wonderful
right?
side effect if you cheat.
Side effects may include. They call these
Shitting like a bullet
treatment
train?
effects, yes.
In public with no notice.
It's nothing major, mind you. Just things like gas with oily spotting. This would be a polite way of describing a fart that spackles your chair with a greasy stain of ass buckshot. In some cultures, that's a great compliment for the host.
At a turkey shoot it is.
Of course, that's not all. Prominently displayed on their list of treatment effects are also loose stools and more frequent stools that may be hard to control. Again, this should not be alarming, as these events are quite humorous when they're portrayed in slapstick comedies.
Well, the funny thing about that drug is, like, there's a drug called Antabuse, and it's
Right.
to keep you from drinking. And if you drink alcohol, you have a violent reaction
Oh,
too.
God.
So if you cheat,
We'll never have it in this room. Never.
No.
The side effect is
Jesus.
you throw up the alcohol because it just can't. They can't mix. You can't take alcohol with Antabuse, and it kind of turns into like a mental thing of like zapping your testicles when you look at a hot guy as part of like homo
Right.
no kerfuffles. But ally, what it is if you accidentally consume fat, you shit your pants.
Yeah.
So you become
But,
hyper aware of what's got
Yeah.
fat in it.
I have a
because it
feeling
makes
this
the
is
fat
one diet
slide out of
Katie
you.
June's not going to
No,
try.
But
Stay away from it.
I wanted to do it. I heard about the side effects.
What got me on this is when do you remember, like, it's only been like 10, 15 years since they've had to list side effects on, well, they weren't allowed to advertise medications on TV besides anything that wasn't over the counter. They just changed that law recently to where you could advertise prescription meds. And then one of the things was you had to find a way to fit the side effects in. And there'd be like little disclaimers. I love it when like the friend goes, "Oh my God, have you had heavy menstrual cramping because of that?" But one of the first ones that became famous was the gotta go
Yeah,
now
yeah.
for the people that have to pee all the time. But one of the side effects was like incontinence of stool. And I'm like, so now I don't pee, I just shit all over because that's better.
I'll take it.
Like a little wet spot on the front of my pants was fine next to like a butt load. You know what I mean? An underwear load full of, unless you're in a thong. And then it's just running down your leg.
This,
Then it
I have
just
to tell you,
sprays
this
both
site.
ways.
Yeah, then it just
right.
kerfuffles in
Then
two
it just
directions,
goes.
like,
Well, and I love the
like
ones
a
too
divided
that
highway down your pants.
when it's just and they do. It's always in a really soft and nice
Yeah.
voice. And here's
So
but I
you're
love
not
when they get to
hearing
the
it.
point
Tell
they're
your
like,
doctor if you
and
stroke
in
out.
some cases, death.
If you're dead,
call
please
us.
call.
Yeah, in some
And
cases,
it-
death.
and extreme
if any of
cases.
your family members
Yeah.
have ever taken this drug and they're suffering from death, you know what I mean?
And then it goes,
Right.
talk to your doctor to find out if this is right for you. But I love that it's always directly after, and in some cases, or extreme cases,
Yeah.
death.
In
Yeah.
extreme cases, death has occurred.
Just some craziness. But it
See your
very
doctor
funny.
after your kayak trip or
Yeah.
whatever those
Great.
fucking
The one that
commercials.
once a month, if you take Coumadin once a month, you have to go and get your PTINR done. Not a big deal. You got to go to the doctor once a month. You're on a blood thinner. Then they have that new one. Oh my God, we can go on this long vacation because now I'm on this other one that causes liver failure. Like,
That's right.
like 17,000
And
things.
death.
You're
Talk
on a
to your
kayak
doctor
trip.
if
You
this
need
is
to be
right for
close to
you.
a doctor. Your idea of a trip should be walking to your doctor's office. That should be your great adventure. Bring a backpack, carry a kayak, go to your doctor.
The other thing that I think is funny, they air that commercial and then immediately follow it with the other old couple who's getting the Plan B Medicare to cover them all over the country as they take trips
Right.
in case liver failure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In
case
case
that
you're
new
on the
freedom you had came
medication.
with sudden death.
Sign me up, Martha. I'm ready to go canoeing.
Always cracks me up. I know. I want a
funny.
canoe right to the grave.
Yeah.
That kayak
Anyway.
trip was just really on the bucket
Very-
list. And it put me in the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Again.
then I went overboard.
Laura's on board. Legalize my herbal cure, she
Right,
says.
exactly.
Yeah.
Side
Just-
effects include knowing your pizza man.
I mean, no, really, like, if you really think about it, how crazy is that? That we're selling drugs on the television that are doing all of these things to your body, but that.
But it's illegal,
Is
to get
illegal.
stoned and sit in front of your TV and do
right.
3 spit
And-
takes during Veep.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Eat
Like, come on,
chocolate.
think it through.
It's
Absolutely.
so weird.
Yeah, at some point, I want to bring these back in because
And now they have
Fucking
the
hysterical.
new
Like,
thing
I'm
about, oh my
dying.
God, if somebody under 18 smokes pot, they have all these mental changes. Honor Society every fucking year. Held a job through high school, stoned off my ass.
Yes, I
In
got
the
like
drama
straight
club,
A's in college, and I
was
smoked weed
president of
5
clubs
times a day.
I don't even remember
Thank
being
you.
a part of, and I looked at my yearbook, and it turns out I was the president of a club I never went to. They voted me their president. I was the Ava Perone of whatever AFI is.
What is
Stoned,
AFI?
I don't know. But I was
Don't cry
AFS.
for me, marijuana.
I was stoned off my ass through high school. Like,
Yes.
I didn't know who you were, but I was the president of you.
Sure.
Yeah.
You voted me president of whatever you were doing.
I'm going to bet it was AFI American Fashion Institute based on your
Yes.
Facebook posts of late.
Yes.
I used to be a
good.
label whore.
With the pink, all
Shocking.
pink. I loved it.
No, it is shocking. Look at me.
I don't. You gave up because you realized it's pointless.
No, but I have never. I don't.
And they
wear,
don't make couture
but
that size.
Oh, fuck. But I didn't wear any. I didn't wear anything that like. There's no obvious label. Like I don't wear like. There's a Nike Swish. is all
I
you'll
also
ever
know
send
that
me.
one thing that you've always disliked, if I'm not mistaken, you've always disliked like lettering or logo, something on the like on a
Yeah, like a
shirt.
logo, like
a Nike thing or
like that somebody wears
phrases.
a bracelet from something from Tiffany's that says Tiffany on it. No, I should. You don't have
Unless
to
your
tell me.
name is Tiffany.
Unless that ring should be so beautiful, I know it's
I
Tiffany.
do the bags like I love bags, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a shoe person. I wear flip flops every day, but I really love purses. But I can't do the unless it's a real Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Then you pay for that shit a
and
lot,
Louis
and
Vuitton's
it's
a classic.
worth it.
That's
right?
not new. That's
Sure.
that's like Titanic.
And I want it, but.
Yeah.
The Michael Kors bags with the MK all over them, and and like the Coach with the big C's everywhere. Yeah, it
And
just
the
like makes
Gucci
me feel
glasses,
crazy.
just- your clothes should be beautiful enough that I want it. I think it's designer. I don't need you to like write
Tell-
your fucking
right,
name on it.
like
That's-
Steven
that's why
Spielberg me.
That's what I stopped being
Mine
a label
says
whore.
a Steven
Mine say
Spielberg
like
of fashion.
ON, I think on them. Old Navy.
Old Navy. Oh.
My sister just was saying she was getting compliments on these new glasses, and people are going, "What's that brand?" And she's like, "Oh, it's this new thing. It's called On. It's this totally new brand." They were Old Navy. It had a big O N on the side, and everyone's
Jesus.
like, "Those are
Love it.
cute." She's like, "It's just this new." I don't.
Yeah,
know.
he's
It's
a
new
current
thing.
designer.
On. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I saw a
You
guy.
probably haven't heard of it.
I saw a guy who I actually think was a driver for Domino's.
Navy?
No, for Domino's, and he had a big OP on the back. I'm like Ocean Pacific. I haven't seen that
Oh,
label
yeah,
forever.
OP.
Yes.
I liked
That's what
OP.
happened.
Now
back
there
in
are
the day.
side effects of being a label
Down with
whore,
OPP?
which is getting mugged and overcharged.
That's
right.
true.
That's
Overcharged.
Yes.
By the
Yes,
way, shout out
please.
to Laura. That's fucking funny. Conjugated estrogen. That she calls
Yeah.
it conjugated estrogen. That's fucking
You've
funny.
always wanted a nickname.
Oh, and with you around, I always
the
have
way-
one.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Minty.
Menti.
You
Now
gonna say something, Katie?
Well, shit, I just lost her
Well,
name.
shit.
It was Jan. God damn it. I
Brewer.
got no.
Brady.
No, I got the woman's name, but her from the Alamo.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not Jan,
Jan
Hooks?
Hooks. Yeah, that's
we
what it
were
was.
right. It was
yeah,
Jan
you're
Hooks.
right,
Oh, it was Jan Hooks. That didn't
And
sound right.
It's Pedro and his wife Inez.
Inez.
So funny. Inez is holding the clay pot that she seems very proud of.
Yes.
She's carefully detailed it with lots of paint and glaze. And Pedro is working on an Adobe. Can you say that with me?
Adobe.
But she does say tortilla at some point.
That is
Yeah, she
so-
does. I think it's
This
before
is my
that.
personal favorite part of the tour. Please say hello to our residents, Pedro and his wife Inez.
Yes.
God, I feel like I need to go home and smoke weed and watch that movie.
Oh my god! The best part of the movie is when Dottie starts saying something. Goes, I love that story. Or her, I can't do a Pee Wee Herman voice, but when he cuts her off in the middle, I love that story, and just walks away.
That one.
You have to try it to somebody when somebody's in the middle of telling you about their day.
I love that story.
and
You
walk
know,
away.
I didn't realize that IMDb had a quotes
totally see
page.
him doing that.
I didn't know that until just now. But there are 45 like chunks of text from that movie
I just
that
have to
are all
say,
quotable.
if you do not spend half your day on IMDb, that's a half a day wasted. Like IMDb is.
I do like IMDb. I think I've liked it more since I've started being around you. I go to it. It's my go-to for
It
when
is.
I have like a movie question, but I really love
And
it.
everybody, because if we have to take a 30-minute break and we have to clock out now.
What?
And they know, so we always got a 30-minute break, but now we have to physically clock
Oh.
out ourselves to prove that we took a break. So everybody knows that when I take my break, I'm in front of a computer and I read my IMDb for 30 minutes, and that's how you know it's my allotted break time. Don't interrupt me during movie trivia
yeah,
research.
IMDb.
It's so much fun.
I
There's
love
things
it.
about me you don't know, Dottie. Things you don't want to know.
I love that story.
Ah, that fuck. That
use
is.
it. Use it
Oh my
anytime
god!
you
It's
need
actually
to.
the very first quotable line.
What is
on
that?
here.
What is that line?
There's a lot of things about me you don't know, Dottie. Things you wouldn't understand. Things you couldn't understand. Things you shouldn't understand. I don't understand. You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel. So long, Dot. That was my Pee Wee voice to do like that.
It's nice.
So now say, I love that story in that voice.
Yeah. Wait, say what?
I love that story.
I love that story.
That's what he does. It's so funny.
I love that
A
story.
falsetto
I can't.
child.
We are running a little behind, so let's do one more story just so we can get off our chest.
Lauren
and
just
then
said
we'll move on.
cunty in the chat.
There was a kerfuffle in a courtroom
Love it.
Oh, my
in
God.
Florida.
I love it.
No.
How
Flor-
odd.
A Florida judge ordered a rude public defender to leave his courtroom before punching him in the head, witnesses have said. The scrap began during a court session in Vieira, Florida, where Judge John Murphy asked Brevard County Public Defender Andrew Weinstock to waive his client's right to a speedy trial. Weinstock, whom some witness has branded as a disrespectful defender towards Murphy, said that he would not waive. I'm like, hi! In a confrontation captured on the courtroom cameras, which, by the way, I did put this on our Facebook page, and shared by the CBS affiliate WKMG, the judge snapped back at Weinstock. Quote, if I had a rock, I would throw it at you right now. Murphy, who is off camera, can be heard saying, stop pissing me off. Just sit down and I'll take care of it. I don't need your help. Sit down. Weinstock then responded, quote, I'm the public defender and I have a right to be here and I have a right to stand and represent my clients. The judge replies, sit down. If you want to fight, let's go out back and I'll just beat your ass. Well, let's go right now, Weinstock said before striding out of the courtroom with the judge. They both went to the hallway, and those left behind in the courtroom could still hear the fight going on in the hallway. Murphy allegedly grabbed Weinstock by the collar and started hitting him, according to the public defender's office. One of them can be heard yelling.
How soon can we be in this town?
I know, right?
One of them can be heard yelling, you want to fuck with me? A Brevard County Sheriff's deputy stepped in and stopped the fight, and Murphy returned to the courtroom where he was met with smiles and applause. Weinstock did not return. Another public defender told the news channel that Weinstock had apparently been hit in the head, but neither party decided to press charges. A woman who was in the courtroom as a witness in another case said that she felt things got heated because Weinstock was, quote, extremely rude.
And Kerfuffles.
I was waiting
That's
for
right.
I was waiting for a woman in the audience said, I'm coming back tomorrow. This is theater.
But it's funny, if you
I was a witness in today's trial, but I'm coming
Arrest
back
me.
tomorrow.
watch,
As a guest.
go to
How much are these tickets?
go to the Facebook page.
How much does it cost if he got to pay to get in here?
There's a video of it, and you can actually hear the dialogue back and forth between, and then they both walk out of the courtroom. It's
That's
pretty funny.
awesome.
What city is it? I want to go.
This is in Florida.
Florida.
It's
Of
in.
course it is.
You gotta be more specific though.
Vieira.
you probably
apparently
find it just about anywhere.
Vieira, Florida, which is in Brevard County. I'm not sure what Vieira.
Always popular the news, Brevard Connor.
There was
that.
Chris Cuomo
Oh,
in
love him.
the New Day.
My future husband.
I do as well. He cracked me up though
Makes my
recently.
pussy a little moist.
Well,
I do.
I
make
get
sure
a
it's not
kerfuffle down there.
vulvovaginitis.
I get a
Just
little
make sure.
vulvovaginitis
Well,
when
if
he's
there's an
around.
odor or not. He made some comment about the story, and he was like, "Well, look at that. You know how the lawyers, it's justice, and then they go out and they teach them to fight and blah blah blah." When not even a week ago, did you guys see the thing about the spelling bee?
Yeah.
Right, with the kids, and
The tie?
the tie, right? And
Well, you
so
spell that shit off till somebody wins.
seriously,
They ran out
I
of words.
agree. They ran out, which I don't understand.
Yeah, it's called a dictionary.
I
Open
know.
it up. There's more.
Something there's another fucking
Kerfuffle
word.
would've got him.
Or go back to the first word.
I've been at
Maybe
this
they don't
47 years. I ain't
remember,
run
you
out of
know?
words yet.
But
No kidding.
so Chris Cuomo, they have him on New Day. The kids were on New Day being interviewed, and Cuomo looks up and he goes, "So I'm not believing that you guys are okay with the tie. I'm not believing that. So how are you going to go ahead and fix this? Are you gonna are you guys looking at it like you're gonna take each other? Yeah. One's gonna start, and he's seriously going on and on promoting
Baiting the
that
kids,
they
beat
just,
the shit out of
beat
each
the
other.
shit out of each other.
Beat the shit out of each other. How are you
To
not
the
gonna
victor
have a
goes
fight
the
off?
spoil.
Let's Indian leg wrestle this out. Come on.
He's just doing big girl bait.
Intentional racism.
Kerfuffle.
I love it. That's a kerfuffle from India
let's
right there.
squaw peek this out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Piestawa, bitch.
biatch.
Anyway, but he was going on, and the kids, the ladies of the New Day, were like this. Could you stop talking?
Can we get off this couch?
And the kids seriously cracked me up. What are they? 6th grade? They're like 12, I think.
they're younger,
whatever.
yeah.
They're kind of looking at each other and looking around like, what the fuck? And the one said, "No, we feel pretty good about what we did, so I'm proud to share it with him."
Cuomo
And then she punched him.
And then you went, wham!
Yeah.
Cuomo just wants him to beat
Now,
the
I-
shit out of
And it
him.
was a fucking kerfuffle.
Now I don't know if they just wait to air it, but 4th of July, if I'm in Phoenix and stuck in what is usually the most humid, hottest, most miserable day of the year, is our 4th of July here in Phoenix. One of the spelling bees airs around the 4th of July, and El Ocho carries it because it's almost a sport. So entertaining. But one of the greatest things to watch is it's a movie. I think it's on Netflix still. It's a documentary from a few years ago. Everybody took off on it, including Will and Grace. Everybody saw the movie and did their own take on it. It's called Spellbound. It was supposed to be about the kid that won the spelling bee for a couple years in a row, and then the friends of the family told them they're a little bit making fun of your kid.
No.
So the kid that the movie is supposed to be about backed out, and he's only in it in a minor way. But then they expanded it and made it about all the kids, and it is seriously like watching Best in Show.
Okay.
I mean, it's so funny.
I've heard of it,
so
but
weird,
it's
and it's a
Spellbound.
great documentary. I mean, the Putnam County Spelling Bee came out of it. The Will and Grace doily down the street.
God, I've seen Putnam County
Everybody
Spelling Bee.
did a Spelling Bee episode of their show based
gotcha.
on the love of Spellbound, because that movie was so unintentionally and funny in the right ways. Like, they're not making fun of the kids. It's just the enthusiasm reaches like a figure skating level of like.
Yeah.
When
it's a
I worked at the
spelling bee.
Phoenix
Kid,
New Times,
settle down.
Right.
when I worked at the New Times, we did a the Sweet 16 bracket kind of thing for like the March Madness. We did a Spelling Bee Madness.
Yeah. I
love that.
And we made brackets, and we were really into it. It was hysterically funny. We were like researching, and we were giving them better ranks based on like, did you have a sibling in a bee?
Yeah.
Like, what's your family bee history?
Your bee
like,
history.
if you're Indian, you're obviously
Obviously, right.
rising to the top.
And the Indian,
Yeah.
like the Indian family
Yeah.
in Spellbound, like they're not making fun of anybody, and they're really when they show
But it
the
is.
kid
It's
that-
like it's
Yeah.
sweet and endearing, and these kids are genuinely excited, and they're nerdy, and they're spellers, and it's fine, and it's sweet, and
and
it's
the
fun,
family's
and it's
into
funny.
it like they're gymnasts. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
and we were. So was the staff of the New Times. In about
Then you will if
2004.
you haven't seen Spellbound,
We
then it's based
were
on Spellbound,
watching
because that's what
it.
year that movie came out, was like
Oh
2004.
yeah. So we were watching it, like we had in our boss's office on the TV, like we were watching. Spelling
Everyone
Bee.
knows someone that saw Spellbound and wanted to do something with the spelling bee afterwards. Whether you're your TV show, everyone took it on. They made a Broadway musical based on how delightful this
Which
documentary is, and it's 90 minutes of just giggling.
Is so much fun. I saw the Putnam County is really really
and
fun.
and Barfay or Barfy
Yeah.
is the kid, and they act like they're making fun of him, but they're not.
Right.
But the kid's so strange that the teachers are like, you just don't want, like, it could cross a line. Somebody might see your son on TV, although he's very gifted and very smart. Someone could see him on TV and think this was that
A
you're
mockumentary.
you're mocking him, and you really aren't. The kid is so, and you root for him, and you only meet him briefly because they had to cut him out of most of the
Oh,
movie.
man,
You
yeah.
only meet him very, very briefly, and if you don't watch the extras afterwards, you don't find out that the movie's supposed to be about him, because he'd won 3 years in a row. Now in the musical, he spells with his feet, like. But in this one, he does something in the air. I can't remember what he does, but he spells
it's great
it in
I
the air.
to
remember
watch
the
these
feet
kids.
thing because I saw that's in Putnam County. We went together, didn't we?
Right, the 25th annual Putnam County
Yeah.
Spelling Bee. Yeah.
Phoenix,
We saw the Dirty Words. We saw the Dirty Words
the
version.
Dirty Words version.
at Phoenix Theater.
Yeah, and they did a beautiful
It was
version.
great. And they invited people up on the stage.
Stage, yeah.
I was one of the ones that got up on the stage. I missed a whole chunk of the show because I got invited on stage, and one of the actors like did one of these things and literally punched me in the eye.
Oh,
I'm on stage.
That'll leave
It's
a mark.
like running and watering, and I'm like
no.
up on stage, and I'm trying not to be like, oh, my eye. So I was
good
like,
thing you signed that waiver.
I'm doing this, and I'm not paying any attention.
I saw it.
I see Kelly in the audience going, oh my God, what's going on? Because I'm just like,
I saw it in Circle in the Square on Broadway, and what's his face? From Modern Family, not Cam, but Mitch. Mitch was Little Leaf, the hippie kid.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I knew him, and it was so funny. And when the Asian girl gets a word, like all the kids get really hard words, and they get to the Asian girl, and they're like, your word is cow. And she's like, can you use that in a sentence? Spell the word cow. And I was done for the rest of the show.
it is so fun.
Everybody else
Spelling bees. Thumbs up to the world of bees.
The world of bees. But Spellbound, it's my entertainment tip for the week. You will not find just a more genuinely delightful documentary.
Well,
that's
speaking
so
of
sad.
entertainment tip for the week, I think it's time to start with entertainment.
All right, we don't have a lot because I've been working and not very entertained. That's a list of porn sites I like. Let's go somewhere else. The Tony
Wow.
Awards are this weekend. There's a movie out that everyone needs to see. There's a cute movie coming out. We had a death in the family. The day Orange is the New Black is back. Veep is about to end. Nurse Jackie, and one of my favorite quotes from Shakespeare plays into a movie title.
Well, there's that.
In
Entertainment.
I can remember the name my segment was
Wait a
called.
minute.
But we kind of cheated Katie out of some time last week, so I'll keep this short. Okay, so the Tony Awards are this weekend, so we'll go to the page and we.
Is it now? It's on.
It's on Sunday.
What? And I can't come join you because I have to work.
I have to work too,
So
due
we're-
to a horrible scheduling error.
So wait. So do you work Monday night?
No, I'm off Monday.
So maybe if we record it, we can watch it Monday night.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay, I want to write that down. Tony.
Yeah.
Send out
we'll just do a
card.
brief little thing. So the guy that was in charge of like everything computer related in our hospital quit.
Oh,
He gave notice.
Restaurant. He works in a restaurant.
He tried to teach 8 million people how to do the one job he does, and
And
they
did not.
fucked it all up. And I felt bad because Harrison's birthday, happy birthday, Harrison, is this Sunday.
oh, Harrison.
So it just turned out that
happy birthday.
she and I are exactly 4 weeks apart. We're 28 days apart. Our birthdays always fall on the same day, and it was a weird thing that the schedule for where I work, this schedule that we're on now started on my birthday. The next schedule starts on her birthday,
Got it.
and it almost combined. It looked like I had a few days off to string together. But when I came back, because I didn't ask for this Sunday off, I don't work a lot of Sundays. I worked this past Sunday
Right.
because I thought it was Memorial Day because I don't know how to use a calendar.
You
I
have said
was-
that repeated times over the years.
Yeah.
That very thing.
I just don't look for holidays. I don't know when if it's not like on
I work
if
every
it's not
holiday, so
4th
it
of
doesn't
July,
matter.
if it's not built into the name, I don't know when it falls. And so I rely on
Christmas is
Cinco
when?
de Mayo,
So I just
4th of
yeah,
July, you're
right.
safe. You got those.
Safe.
New Year's Eve. Is that the first?
So
The first?
So I made
think
the
so.
mistake of telling Harrison before the schedule was actually published, like, oh, I think I have your entire birthday weekend off because I'm off Saturday because I worked the Sunday thinking it was Memorial Day, and then I'm always off Sunday, Monday. Like, that doesn't change. Well, the guy that does the schedule
Until it
quit,
does.
and they left this kerfuffle in charge of all these people who like scheduled like 40 people on one day and none on another, and it was just awful. So it took them weeks to get the schedule up, and they're like, you didn't say you wanted that Sunday off, and we needed it covered, and you have to work one Sunday, so we picked
That Sunday.
that Sunday. And I'm like, are you kidding? And then it turned into like an every other day. So I'm like, you know what? Sign me up for extras. Just sign me up for overtime every day in between. Like, I can't work every other day because it turns into this. I wake up at 5:30.
Right,
I have
no.
a cup of coffee, and then I'm up all night, so I might
Right.
as well go to work. Because I can't call somebody at 6 p.m. and be like, want to do something tonight?
Right.
They're like, well, I made plans at noon when normal people do stuff.
Right.
So I seriously just signed up for every overtime shift.
You're going to get
in
that
between.
fucking pool built before this is over. Well, after you rebuild your house.
Right, exactly. Because first we go, it's just a whole kerfuffle. So anyway, the Tony Awards
And there's
are on
this
this
whole
Sunday.
thing about
So that's
Gene.
the whole thing. It's Harrison's birthday on Sunday, and I really should have kept my mouth shut because I knew that like everything was burning. So the Tonys are on. We'll just go over a couple ones. Best musical, Beautiful, the Carole King story, Carole King musical, probably is going to win, but A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder would be the spoiler because it's an original musical, it's all new music, and it's gotten great reviews. It's still playing. It could get the most benefit out of the Tonys. Best revival of a musical, everyone kind of thinks Hedwig and the Angry Inch is going to win because Hedwig has never played on Broadway. It didn't have a chance to compete for original score. It is one of the greatest scores in musical theater history. It just never had a chance to play there. So they think that'll win. Violet, though, Violet. I think the cast recording comes out today. I think the cast recording came out today of Violet. If nothing else, buy the cast recording
never
of
even
Violet.
heard of
I haven't
That's the
either.
one
I
with
was just
Sutton
gonna say.
Foster. That's what I was talking
Oh,
about.
yes, Sutton Foster. Got back on
Gorgeous,
track.
gorgeous music. It was a beautiful show. It's probably not going to win. It's a limited run. There's no real hopes for it to go any further than you'll see it. It's been playing in high school theaters and stuff for years. It will continue to be in community theaters. It's beautiful music, but it's not going to win. But get that cast recording because the music is gorgeous. Bryan Cranston from
love
Breaking
him.
Bad.
Breaking Bad will probably
Malcolm
win the
in the
Tony for his portrayal of LBJ in All the Way. It was a play that had a lot of problems, but it'll probably win. Audra McDonald has a very, 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 very strong chance of breaking all records and being a 6-time Tony Award winner.
And I love her.
And because it's a play with music, they put her performance in the play category where she plays Lady Day, Billie Holiday. She plays Lady Day and tones down that voice and makes it fit into the, not a big range. Billie Holiday, not known for her vocal range, but for her stylings. So you take Audra McDonald with this big range. And this has been playing at Studio 50. I don't want to say Studio 54, but it's playing somewhere small. And it really has a chance. Neil Patrick Harris is the odds-on favorite of the night, and that will be the upset of the evening if Neil Patrick Harris does not get the love back from the Tonys that he has given them.
Right.
The Tony Awards were almost off the air 6 years ago when Hugh Jackman and Neil Patrick Harris revived. Rosie O'Donnell started the trend of bringing the Tonys back. So you would have to say Rosie O'Donnell, Hugh Jackman, Neil Patrick Harris have brought the Tonys back. They've always been the most entertaining award show of the year. Hands down.
And Rosie hosted?
Rosie she just brought Broadway back in a big way. When Broadway was floundering, she had the Rosie O'Donnell show, and she would brought every show on. When her ratings were good and she filmed in New York, she brought the cast of every original show.
And she had a tiny stage.
Music, tiny stage, and she brought everybody. She
Good
saved
for her.
She saved Titanic for closing. Titanic almost closed, and they won the Tony for Best Musical because she pushed.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and then when her year on The View, she
I
told
was
them
not
on
really
The View,
paying attention to her show, I guess.
Rosie O'Donnell.
She had a great show.
Loved that show.
Oh, it was a great show.
I don't think what years was that on?
And you would love it, like when she
93.
attacked Tom Selleck about guns.
Oh, yeah.
No, in '96, I was only
Streisand.
like 16. I was just not.
You were still in high school.
I was just not paying attention to like daytime TV
Probably
at that point.
Stone
But she did.
somewhere.
She saved.
Not
She
quite
saved a
yet.
lot of
Towards
Broadway shows from
the end of
closing.
her, yeah.
But she did
Oh, that's
every
great.
week. She would spotlight a show. She's gone to shows all her life. She has and when her show closed, the Theater League, which runs they run the Tonys, they gave her a lifetime pass to any opening night she ever wanted to go
that's so
to.
cool.
96 to 02 is when the
Yeah,
Rosie
and she
O'Donnell
said
show.
after the attacks of September 11th, she just couldn't do a TV. She was, but then it turns out she was bipolar and had all these mental issues and whatever.
There's a lot of stuff to it.
So that too. Yep.
Well, but I mean, that sure didn't help anything.
Right.
Oh, I forgot. John McDaniel was her like DJ.
right.
What was he? Like,
He was her pianist.
Pianist, that's
and when
right.
she finally had her band leader, but it was her pianist. When she had Jennifer Holliday on to do, because her favorite Broadway performance ever was "And I Am Telling You I'm Not Going."
Oh yeah.
She had her perform not to a backup track like she does at Pride and all the other things. She had John McDaniel's little tiny band play that song, and at the end of it, with Rosie O'Donnell crying and thanking her, she's like, we got to give a shout out to a 4-piece combo that just pulled off that
an orchestra
song with those key changes.
Right.
Love it.
That takes a full orchestra, and your 4-piece ensemble over there just
Just
nailed
made
it
it
to the wall.
happen.
And you could see John McDonnell just crying.
Oh,
He was
I'm
like
getting chills. I
I
didn't watch it.
If you get a
but-
chance to see that, it's her favorite moment on Broadway, and it was her favorite moment on her show, and she's just sobbing in the side. And John McDonnell, and he was such a geek, such a fun
totally.
guy.
Right.
He was such a
I'm
geek that
Googling
getting to
it.
play for her. So
1,193 episodes of that show. I just think it's amazing when you put it in a number for 6
Yeah.
seasons. You forget
That's
how many
a lot of
many
shows.
times you did a 5-day-a-week show.
That is a
That's
lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
And she was very funny, and then
It makes me feel happy to hear you guys speaking well of her because I feel like I've always heard people bash her.
oh no, she's
Well, no, there are
I've
fair
always heard
critics
people
because
bash her,
because she's very opinionated and she comes out with
And I
with
never
her,
was a
her
View
belief,
person, so
her belief
I-
on things. Yeah, well, then that blew up because
Well, she
then half
saved
the world
she
hated
saved
it.
the View from obscurity because she went all political. She took
Right.
all her politics and she went head to head, and it
With
became
Hasselbeck.
it became
Elizabeth.
like appointment television because if something went on in the world, you wanted
You
to know.
wanted to.
It was a true left and right. You had. Elizabeth Hasselbeck defending her thing, and then you had her and Joy Behar, and it was women intelligently discussing politics, and you had to respect Elizabeth Hasselbeck because she was being 3-1, and she would hold her own and try to support something. So you were like, all right, you can't.
I don't agree with her, but she's doing it.
But
Like-
she's doing it. She's holding her own, yeah.
What was the straw that broke the camel's back on that one between because it was her and Hasselbeck, wasn't it?
We've had that conversation before. It's
remind
the
our
interesting
viewers.
right no
and also us.
no
Thank you. That was really the thing. I don't remember.
No, I just wanted to say, like, it's a conversation that we've had on this show as well, not just them, but if you're in a country, who are the terrorists?
Yeah, totally.
So,
totally.
like, let's say you're Afghani.
I think we were talking about this like last week or the week prior.
Like, it's the question of, it's all a question of perspective. Who are the terrorists and who are the terrorized? And she had said, Rosie O'Donnell had raised that point, and Elizabeth was doing, I think she was doing a gluten-free cookbook thing, but she went on
sounds
some.
lovely.
Yeah, she is how. The
Everything
only reason you know
is-
about gluten free is because
It's
Elizabeth
because of
Hasselbeck.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Because she came out
Absolutely.
with what's the disease? Celiac
Celiac.
disease.
Celiac.
And she did the whole thing because everyone thought she was a bitch because she wouldn't eat food, and they're
Yeah.
like,
I remember
she
that.
can't eat any of the foods.
And then everybody came on and cooked, and they would make it.
Oh my God.
And then
You
they were
guys,
like,
I feel like
because
I'm
they-
learning
gluten-free.
so much right now.
and it's because of Elizabeth Hasselbeck, and she just said like I can't eat that. So then people would be like, well, we have to offer a gluten free thing, or this woman has to sit here with people calling her names because
she's not eating.
she's allergic to everything you're cooking. And she has the true allergy. She doesn't have the convenient allergy. She has the real allergy.
Yep.
She has the disease.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was just interesting. And then it came up. So she was on TV shows, and people were like, well, Rosie O'Donnell is saying that the American soldiers are terrorists. And she was like, I can't comment on that. And so Rosie was all offended. Like, why couldn't you say, I support our troops? I'm just saying, look at it from the other point of view of, like, if you live in a country that we're sending not drones now, but now it's drone attacks. If you're having drone strikes on a country, who are the terrorists in
Right.
your world?
Right.
And it was just a thing of them going back and forth. And Elizabeth was saying, you have to defend your own words. Like, you said it, you have to defend it. I can't speak for you. Like, I can't defend you. And Rosie was saying, you're supposedly my friend. You should be able to say, Rosie supports
Here's
the
what-
troops.
yeah.
Yeah. She's just raising an interesting question while supporting the troops. So but it turned into like a huge heated debate.
I do remember the. I
And
remember
then
her
they
dramatic
did
exit.
like the split screen,
split screen
and that
and-
became like a really big deal for the show. Yeah,
So it was really good. So that was a lot longer, and we go off topic so quickly on
do,
the
just
Tony
like The
Awards.
View.
But
we
exactly.
do.
But the Tony Awards, lots of fun, and it really is. If you've never watched the Tony Awards, I feel sorry for you, but you really have to, because it's the most entertaining award show
I was going to ask
of
you:
this
is
season.
Neil Patrick Harris?
He's in the audience. He won't be hosting
He won't
because
be,
okay.
because he's a nominee, and
Yep.
he's doing 8 shows a week.
As Hedwig.
Wow,
Yeah, 8 shows a week with no understudy.
wow,
So he has Sunday night off.
yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That's
Do
you
so
know who
many
is?
shows.
Hugh Jackman is back.
Oh,
and Hugh
good.
Jackman stepped
I like
in for his
him.
fun, and he's been delightful.
Yeah.
And like I
Yeah.
said, it's been the 3 of them all for the last 10 years. They were only on Bravo. A network had stopped carrying the Tony Awards until Rosie came in, and then Hugh Jackman, and then it progressed.
Sure.
I happened to catch Neil Patrick Harris on the daytime drinking show called Kathy Lee and Hoda.
Yes.
And which I
God, I love
I
them.
do enjoy them.
I think we got to raise
I
a
love-
glass
I
to
love
them.
them, really.
If we could figure out how to get
Cheers.
on network and we could all figure out how to stop swearing, we could probably make a go of that. Anyway.
No,
We
if they
drink
could figure
enough.
out how to get on our network and start swearing,
Yeah.
you know they
Oh,
want to.
can you? Maybe we could write a letter to Hoda. And I just want Hoda to show up. I don't give a shit about Kathy Lee.
Oh my God, Kathy Lee's so
love
great.
Hoda.
Yeah.
I love them too.
And I'm gonna go on record now. I know
Kathy Lee makes me laugh.
I know
but-
Kathy Lee from back in the '80s, back when it was
We
it was on WPIX,
Right.
and they weren't nationally
They were
syndicated.
just a local morning
They were
show.
a local morning show out of New York, and she hadn't found the whole Jesus. She'd found probably parts of him and maybe a robe. And I can't pick on her too much because she was one of Donna Summer's closest friends. They were
that's true.
extremely
Really?
close. Yes, they were the closest of friends. So I always knew that there had to be something nice going on in that crazy lady.
Absolutely.
But she was so sarcastic and so funny. And then they went national.
still is.
She still
and
has
she
a lot of
became a
sarcasm.
trophy wife and all that stuff. Like everything kind of changed with marrying.
Frank Gifford.
Frank Gifford.
But I think that's the hard part because when her
She was just
because-
Kathy Lee. When
Right,
it was
no,
a New
no.
York show,
Yeah.
she wasn't married to him yet.
but when she was on even with Regis, she's funny.
Yeah.
She's a
Like
very
take the Jesus stuff
But she
out,
still
whatever,
and she
but-
still is funny.
She still
but I
is.
think the one to drink
but
with
her
is
kid-
Hoda.
Oh, I
and
agree.
you may remember her.
But
How
her
old are you? Do you
kid-
remember her as the Name That Tune lady?
Yes, she used to
Oh, yeah,
sing.
yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
What?
There was a game show
Kathy
called
Lee.
Name That Tune that
Alert!
I could.
Age difference.
I could
Kerfuffle.
win every fucking week. I
It's
can name that tune
kerfuffle.
in 3 notes. So they would play like,
Dun dun dun.
yeah, and you'd be like, and because popular music was so popular then, and it wasn't so like people would get it, but Kathy Lee would sing the 3 notes of a song.
she was the
and
singer?
Kathy Lee
I
was
gotta
the
Google.
singer girl from Name That Tune.
Cracking
But-
me up.
with her kid.
So
I think
I
it
mean,
was
I've
And I
always
think
liked
she
her.
had
and
shorter
I-
Dorothy
it was
Hamill
a-
hair
yeah,
back
And then when
she
I
then.
found out she was a
did.
sarcastic alcoholic,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're my role model.
But the problem is, it was her kids.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, Cody.
Do you remember
Cody.
God, but
Take
she
your
just
earphones off.
needed-
Have you met anyone who wasn't annoying about their
No,
kids?
no. That was too much.
She is. And now she still talks about Cody and her daughter. She was trying to marry her daughter off. This is strange for my Neil
Cody's
Patrick
hot.
Harris thing, though. I haven't really looked at it. I have to look him up. What I was trying to get to was the Neil Patrick Harris point was he was on and they were talking about the show, and somebody asked something about how he gets or how he does this number. And he went through the entire. He's wearing every bit of clothing.
And then he just
undresses. You probably had mentioned that, and I'd forgotten. But it's like
no, I had to find out too.
The entire thing dressed in 7 layers.
Okay.
And then he just progressively gets less and less.
Do you think he'll be performing?
Oh yeah, that's why it's the most entertaining show on TV.
Cool.
Every musical, and last year they did the thing that even the non-nominated musicals got to perform. If you opened this year at any capacity. That's what they did last year. Every musical, because the plays don't. They used to do scenes from the plays, and they just don't play well. It doesn't. It doesn't work out of context. Okay. And they stopped doing that, and then they went to like reviving old shows or having people come out or doing something funny. But what they did last year was any show that opened, regardless if you were nominated or not, you got because it sells tickets.
Sure,
it's your chance. They're a niche audience. You don't get a lot of people traveling there.
Right.
And let's say all of a sudden you're like, I don't really want to go see Kinky Boots. I don't want to see a drag queen save the world. I've seen that movie 18 times.
It's called Priscilla.
I want to see something different. Right. You've seen it called 18 different things. Maybe I want to see something different. So you see a non-nominated musical.
Hey, I remember hearing about this or seeing that piece.
Well, I saw If Then. It wasn't nominated for Best Musical, but look how good. And Idina Menzel's in it. Like, I'll go see that. So
I love her so much.
Very exciting. Okay, now for movies. First out, it's only out in one theater. It's playing at the Shea. It's at Shea. Harkins is doing it, but it's on video on demand. Buddy's going to kill me. This is Buddy's recommendation, and all the fanboys in the are recommending this movie.
Oh, fanboy. I need to talk about that.
It's called Cold in July. And fanboy's not a real thing. It's just what you call the people on the IMDb website.
I found out it is, and I will tell you about that in a moment.
Oh, good. I hope it's porn. So Cold in July is a movie. Michael C. Hall, Don Johnson, cast of thousands. Great movie. About it's in the style of the Charles Bronson movies Death Wish, but not Death Wish, not that violent.
Okay.
Like a man defends his family from a home intruder, and then the home intruder's family comes after his family, and it turns into a kerfuffle.
And we appreciate
because the wine's
the
getting better.
kerfuffle.
So, anyways,
I knew it was going to get better.
Cold in July is the name of the movie. Find it. It's if you can't find it in the theater, it is on video on demand. And I can't imagine your life is so sad that you don't have access to some form of video on demand. I can't even imagine. Because you're listening to us on the internet, so you have access to video on demand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
You found us. We are not on a TV station. Fault in Our Stars opens. Sad movie. It is your alternate.
But I want to go see it.
It's your
Aaron just
alternate
got the
programming
book.
to everything blowing
Yeah.
up. The book is wonderful.
Okay, you did read
wonderful
it?
book. I read the
Okay.
book last summer.
Oh, a friend of mine just started, and she said, just read the first chapter. This will be done like by tomorrow.
We went
afternoon.
to Changing Hands.
Nice.
Right over here.
excited.
Oh, I can't wait to go
Haven't
there.
been
Oh my God! Had a glass of wine, walked around.
My
can't
first
handle
day, they
done.
built a Changing Hands bookstore, which I will support, and everybody around here. I don't care what you do. You'll go with your orange juice at Changing Hands. If you have a glass of orange juice today, you're going to go get it at Changing Hands.
Well, I
We're
have it
keeping
in
that
my
place
fridge.
open. I don't care. Then you go buy another one over at Changing Hands. We are keeping this place open.
Oh, I don't. And they need more parking apparently because so many people are excited about it.
Well, that across the street is that ride share. You can just park there because it's not
the thing.
full.
Yeah.
Oh, also, side note, great for listeners, especially in Egypt. But the hotel, the
Sahara
hotel
502.
next door
Oh, the
is
502.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but they're supposedly it's been bought
they're
and they're
redoing the whole
redoing
thing,
it, and
yes.
it's supposed to be like a Valley Ho, Clarendon
Yeah. Oh,
destination.
Yeah,
set-
boutique
Gay,
hotel.
gay
Yes,
catering.
like-
yes.
So
Yeah.
the next time Harrison comes to visit, hopefully the 502 will be ready.
I
We will
am
be,
excited.
and I heard the pool is what they focused on.
And
They should. It's a big pool.
the owners of my friend's cousins own Beckett's Table and now the Southern Rail. We were all at a
The one
2-year-old's
that's,
in
Right
that
here. Changing
restaurant.
Hands,
We were all in a birthday party, and so I was talking to her about it, and she said they also have purchased 2 other properties near that. So I think it's on the other side of 3rd.
So they're going to do their own version of the Postino
Yeah.
Federal
Yeah.
Pizza
Yeah.
Joyride.
yes, like
But-
so where that old Enterprise was.
No, that's where the 3-story apartment complex is
Oh,
being
so-
built. That's
okay.
going from
Right.
3rd to the Beads building. This is entertaining radio for everybody else. But no, right across
When
the
you come
street
in
was where
from
the
the
There's
apartment.
a- so there
We'll be
are
here waiting
2
for you.
adjacent properties, she said, that they purchased, and I don't know.
And why not be?
I made the
because you know that if
assumption,
you're
Clayton.
if you're buying an apartment, if you're renting an apartment downtown,
Yeah.
you're probably urban thinking. You're
Right.
going to go out to dinner a couple times. Why not have a convenient choice across the street?
Right.
That's
Right.
just good community
Oh, it
planning.
totally is. But there's so I hear what you're saying. So that's
So
where
that's
you're
where
talking.
that's
Okay.
going in.
So that it
On the
I
other
don't-
side is where that little shopping, whatever that little office complex thing
Okay,
is.
so maybe
And
it's
they-
properties over there.
Could be.
But they've purchased those too. And
Okay.
She
So
didn't
Later,
say
when
what
I
they
say
were
I
doing
talked too
with
long,
them,
it
but
was you too.
yeah, sorry, I know.
No, I'm just saying because I
Anyway,
feel like I cut into your
I
time
am
last week. But
so
No,
excited
We're going to go to her time when we cross over into the next hour.
about all of that.
I am too because it's our neighborhood.
This
it's
is
coming
this
up.
is so our
Harrison, I'm
neighborhood.
gonna counteract the bad news about her birthday with the good news about New Year's Day opening up because I'm screwing over my sister a little bit, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna make things happen. All right, so Fault in Our Stars, and now if you're wondering
They
about
said there'd be no math.
Carry the one.
6
Yeah.
months away from New Year's.
yeah, so The Fault in Our Stars, beautiful book,
Yeah.
but it comes from one of my favorite Shakespeare, and I'm a big I won't even say it because it just sounds pretentious, so we'll just stop there. But one of my favorite quotes
Kerfuffle.
from anything ever of a kerfuffle is the reason that I found the book. I didn't know it was about. I never heard of it, but I love that quote of "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings." And I love that. Like, don't blame the fates. Don't like curse. Oh my God! If only it's you.
You fucked up.
You are the if
Right.
only. If only.
You're the
Accountable.
kerfuffle.
That's right.
yeah. So
You be the accountable kerfuffle.
yeah, whatever time you have, whatever. Oh my God, I just quoted Pippin. I'm gonna kill myself. if
I would never have known that, but I appreciate the fact that he's
If
like,
you
I'm
would have
done.
just glazed right over that, we would have never, ever known.
But that is the point to that song. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. Do something about it today. Like, stop bitching about it. Do something about it. Make the most of what you have. And I'm quoting Pippin again. Jesus Christ.
God.
But anyway, so it turns out the guy that wrote Pippin
Closet
also
Pippin.
liked Julius Caesar, and he knew The Fault, Dear Brutus, is not in our stars. But I love that. I that was my favorite thing about that book is you just have to keep going back to the title, The Fault in Our Stars. Like,
So
it's a
the-
beautiful story. It's a little bit of a tearjerker,
So,
but
but
it's
the trailer
super
reminds
satty
me
pants.
of a different movie, and just the trailer.
yeah, okay.
And it's not a movie that I've necessarily seen all of. Mandy Moore is sick.
Oh,
Oh yeah, pick any dying person's movie.
Okay,
this is
no,
just
but
a
I mean,
little
this
bit
one
less,
looks almost just like it. Like
This one's a little
can't
bit
remember
less
that.
manipulative. It's not so much about.
it's getting
like where they get married.
stupid good reviews.
They,
Yes.
they get married at the end.
I know.
like-
I haven't seen the whole
Okay.
thing either.
I don't know.
But this isn't that kind of. At least the book was not that manipulative. It was
Okay.
about. We're just a few people that know what time we have left, so let's act on this time. Whereas everyone else is being like, "Nyah, nyah, 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 nyah." And so that's the thing is the fault is in their thing. The fault is in our stars. Like we know our
what's
destiny
written.
already. It's already written. So let's do the most of what we have. The fault went back to our stars. It's just it's a beautiful.
Yeah.
It
Looks really
the
good.
book is very good, and you cry a little bit, but really you just come away with
feeling good.
a very good feeling about like making the most of your relationships.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
Good. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty amazing.
Do we have any more coming back, Al? Or
yeah, a
is
little
that-
bit, just a couple more things,
little more,
and,
and
we're gonna lead right into Katie with
and
it.
I
'cause
and I feel that we need to update.
I'm about to kerfuffle my way up her anal leakage.
Just based on what happened this week, I think we need to revisit our Death Watch and just make sure that we're
Oh, yeah,
updated.
that's too.
I've
Yeah.
got a huge thing about
I
it.
told them there was a death in our family.
I knew that, but I want to make sure we touch on that. It's the show. We're coming up on hour 3. By the way, the time slot has changed. If we go over at 10 o'clock, the audio stream does not cut off anymore. I fixed that too. So many things coming up with Katie and sports and other stuff, and we're going to talk more and drink and have another kerfuffle. Stay with
You
us.
get once after the third.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Good evening once again. It is 9 o'clock in Phoenix, Arizona. It is the beginning of hour 3 on this, our 3-hour journey into the unknown. Every Tuesday night, we do it from 7 to 10, otherwise known as a morning drive in Egypt, 6 to 9 for those of you listening
That's
in
the
Egypt.
name of our show.
What? Morning
A
drive?
morning drive to Egypt.
Morning drive.
No, a morning drive to Cairo.
Could be.
right.
If you didn't hear us earlier, we'd like to give a shout out to our new friend. I believe it's pronounced Ayman Solomon in Egypt, who found us on the interwebs and listens to us in the morning as he
maybe
drives
look
to
that
work.
up.
Yeah, and please
pronunciation.
write another email and tell us how to pronounce your name correctly.
Yes.
What is the spelling?
It's Ayman, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on the standby. Well, here, I'll just hand you the fucking email.
It's amazing how other people can read the same piece of paper.
We
can't read it.
We are in the middle of Al Perkins and what he's alleging is his entertainment section.
Allegedly.
So once again, Studio C, it's Katie, Marty, Al, and Clayton. We're here for another hour or so. Stick with us. Our drinking word, by the way, is kerfuffle. So if you know anything about drinking and words, kerfuffle is what we're drinking too.
And I think we should fit more. It's a great word.
And you're
It is.
and you've polished off that bottle of wine now.
No, I had to refrigerate.
I was told last week we did not say oofda enough.
I don't
What's
remember.
Oh yeah.
Last week.
I couldn't
we
even
did not say
remember
oofda enough.
the word after a while.
Ayman.
Ayman.
Pronunciation is on the E. Ayman.
Okay. Well, there you go. Katie's
Well,
our.
That's what the internet says.
And if that's a lie, please let us know.
But
Ayman.
please share with more people
Yeah.
in Egypt. Like,
Yes, let us
Oh,
know. And if you're just joining us for the first time, by all means, join us in the chat room. Email us. Let us know you're out there. We do. I personally get all the emails, and I would love to give you a shout out. Let everybody know where you are.
may I ask a question?
Yes.
May I just?
Oh my God.
But
I meant
may
you.
I just? Oh, we got to make that a drinking word again. But I have a question.
Yes.
Now when you show my picture, does it still have my email
Hair?
address underneath?
No.
Actually, all of ours, and I will actually. Well, let's go through it right now, and I will show you how this all works.
Well, I'll spell it out.
Oh.
Well, more importantly, because if he's listening on his drive to work, he's not watching.
no, I agree, but he can look at us later and
But
see
it's
us.
MISSEYAL@AOL.com.
Right.
MISSEYAL@AOL.com. Send
So,
me any
for example,
like,
Marnie
movie
Ryers
thoughts.
comes up, and hers is there.
But if Facebook's not available
Right.
where you are, like email me
There's
personally
Katie.
questions, thoughts.
Right, there's
Missy
yours.
L.
Perkins.
Okay.
There's that, and then let me
you.
scroll down, and we go. Of course, mine is there, which that's easy because it's just me.
That's fun.
And then we have finally we'll do Al's right here, and his is boom,
Missy Al.
Missy Al at facebook.com.
you don't want the
so
cat
easy
with
to
that.
find all of us, and then I'm so happy we have this shot back. I love that shot, our
me
overhead
too.
shot of the studio.
What,
I
is
just
it
love
this
that.
camera
I do
right
too.
here?
It's that camera that
Oh,
gives
yeah.
us that
But like
look.
for Tyler, you're not on Facebook. If you're still
Right.
listening, please
then-
email me with movie suggestions because King of
that's all right.
Summer, I saw the preview for that again.
Yay.
And last year's summer, his summer recommendation was Kings of Summer.
And you
I've
loved
watched,
it.
I've watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
And it is truly becoming one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the Stand By Me of this
Oh, I
this
love
decade.
that. Okay.
It is just a charmer of a story. So I feel I have a gift coming.
May I just?
You may
Round you
interrupt.
may.
You were,
The floor is
you were-
yours.
Well, thanks.
Good.
You were talking about documentaries a little bit ago and whatnot, and because I started charging Di more money,
I got HBO like I
I
recommended.
have HBO. First of all, seriously, that fucking Veep kills me.
It's ridiculous.
But I mean,
I know.
it's stupidly funny.
It's so good.
And even though we weren't even, that's not my point. I just have to say
May I
that.
just ask
Please.
what did you have to shell out to get this little extra bonus of love? Just
Nothing really.
like what? $12 a month?
No,
What is
I
it?
honestly don't know.
Oh,
I didn't even pay attention.
Okay. Well, I
You
just-
don't,
had it.
You don't ask
only-
what HBO costs.
No,
you
and
just pay
Clayton,
it.
I'm being honest with you. Only because they said, well, you have a free blah blah blah. Good night, Laura, honey.
Good night.
Hi, Laura.
You have a free 3 months,
Okay.
and then I got into Veep,
oh,
and
so now you
I
give a
was
shit.
like, I don't fucking care because
Between that
I
and Bill
need.
Maher, how are you
I've
ever
got
gonna
to
go
tell
away?
you though, yeah, and we have Bill Maher on there. Not a fan of the movies that they have on there. Not a
They come and
fan.
go.
I mean, I can't, but the documentaries,
Oh,
I'm
HBO
loving.
documentary.
I'm loving.
And the series, just the series. I only really watch the series, but it's worth it.
Like I'm not going to get into Game of Thrones. Like this is not going to be my
Oh,
thing.
yeah, me neither.
But that, when you talk
But
about
she talked
like,
about. She already
things-
said Veep and Real Time with Bill Maher. Those are series.
Oh,
but HBO
love
there's a couple other
documentaries.
series. Yeah.
HBO documentary.
Silicon Valley.
and I wanted
Vice.
to get into that.
Vice is on
Vice
HBO.
is so shh. I love it.
I was like, okay.
I seriously, whenever I get a little tingle in my belly and my vulvus vaginitis. Whenever I hear,
Vulvovaginal.
and I don't even
it's
think
like Go-Go Gadget.
Yes.
Vulvovaginal.
I have to tell you, I don't even think they still do the white noise.
Yeah.
And then
Are you
put the
talking
HBO emblem.
Oh, they do, I think.
Oh, do they?
They do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm
Because
like, yeah.
in my mind, they do it for every show I watch. Like in my mind, it comes on every time. The
It does.
80s.
I have a couple of things. Number
Okay.
one,
Please do.
the documentaries are seriously just killing me though, and I'm loving them.
Oh,
Gonna get this.
oh. Wow.
Takes me back to a day.
Oh, good going.
When
Oh, you
when
know what?
Margie
Keep-
sucked a
keep-
lot of
keep
beer out of
going.
a bottle. You know, I just want to taste a Corona. Every once in a while, I
Or
just want
a
to be
pony
reminded.
keg in a bathtub.
You suck the foam, I'll drink the beer. That's a country song.
I like it.
You're still getting foamy. Keep
so-
going. Keep going.
Yep.
This is where
good stuff.
Al's gonna have a Corona here in a
All
minute.
right.
Coronas are good.
There are two things that one I have not seen yet, but I'm intrigued to know if you have, and the other I just watched last night and wanted to watch it again. It was about Ann Richards. Did you see that one? Oh my God! Do you know who I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah, big hair,
Former
Texas,
governor
former
of
governor of
Texas.
Texas.
She's such a character.
And there was
Oh my God.
there was a
I think that'd be
recent
fun.
play about her that
Yes, there was.
I can't think of her name, the
Me
actress
neither.
that did it, but she did a phenomenal
Holland Taylor.
job. Holland Taylor.
Oh
did
my
a
God.
fantastic
I don't know
job.
her name, but I know Holland Taylor's name.
Fuck,
Drop
how
of
you
my
do
hat.
that?
That
Savant.
it's Margie.
Yeah.
Maggie,
My-
Margie.
I know, right? Whatever. I thought that was something. That was such a fantastic, really well done,
And a great lady.
amazing.
She did the
I didn't realize how amazing, and I thought she had been elected twice.
No, George
But
Bush.
she was not. Bush came in. I thought he came in after.
Karl
but
Rove's first act of terrorism.
That's what made me think of you. Exactly. Like all of a sudden, here's this young Karl Rove, and they
spreading lies
Yeah,
and
man.
fear and just
that she was a lesbian.
changed the political landscape of Texas forever.
Karl Rove
I-
is so horrible.
He is evil.
As I was sitting there, I'm like, that she's a lesbian? That's what he first promoted about
Not
her.
that being a lesbian is bad. We don't want to say that.
Well, I don't
No, it
like
was
him.
in Texas in
But in
1996
Texas,
or 98.
shit.
no,
Yeah,
no, I
there it
understand.
94, 96.
94.
early.
Yeah.
horrible man. But you know her daughter, Cecil Richards. I think I've said this
Wonderful.
before. Yeah,
Planned
is the
Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood executive director.
Well, and that's
And-
that was the other piece that made me even more so think of Al, because here Ann Richards was, well, I don't know what I'm going to do after. I don't have a house. I don't have a car. I don't have this. But I'm going to go and campaign for anyone who is pro-choice.
Yeah.
That it's about the
is
woman's right to
so
choose.
amazing.
And then I will.
What is
and
this
they showed
called?
her. It's called Ann Richards.
It's called Android. It's on HBO. It's a documentary.
Yeah.
It's one of their more popular ones because it
Amazing.
was beautifully
Yeah,
done.
I think you'd love it, Katie. They showed her on Bill
All
Maher.
about Anne.
All about Ann.
All about
All
Ann.
about Ann.
And they
There's
showed
this
her
thing about
on Bill
Ann.
Maher, and it
trying to
was
think of the whole thing
fucking
about Ann.
hysterical. When somebody else tried to pipe up that was anti-choice, as I like to call it.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's
That
called.
is the
And-
correct
and
verbiage.
she just went off. Like, was just like, sit down. I have something to say to you. And just went off on her. And this chick just kind of went back into her chair.
Oh,
like,
and if there was a God in heaven, it would be Christine O'Donnell.
no, it was
it's
not.
not, I
No,
know.
but that would have been perfect. But it was really just so well done. And I didn't realize. I remember her talking at Dukakis's convention, at the 88 National Convention. I remember that and thinking, who is that Spitfire?
Yeah, rising. She was a rising star until Karl Rove got her, and he damaged the brand. But she did the
Yeah.
Fascinating Lives series, or Fascinating Women, Fascinating Lives, and it was all women. It was married. The year that one of the years I had tickets for 2 years. It was Mary Tyler Moore. It was Ann Richards. It was oh Jesus, Playboy, the one that did the Playboy Bunny for the Day, Women's Lib, like the
Gloria Steinem.
Gloria
Gloria
Steinem.
Steinem.
She's so wonderful.
It was all women, and I was serious. It was
And
the only
gorgeous.
man there listening to these women speak,
Yeah.
and they were. And I saw it was 8 women over the course of 2 years, but Ann Richards was the most entertaining by far.
I love that on this
Spirited,
thing.
the southern accent we love. She did it. She did it all like she was gonna make you something with a stick of butter, and it's called Gorilla Bread because I use real butter. I mean, it was all like homey, good-natured,
No.
but fuck with me and I
Yeah.
will kill you.
I'm gonna
I'm
rip
gonna
your
sound
fucking
friendly
throat out.
and I've got white hair that's up in some kind of
beautiful.
a beehive.
Yep.
But you fuck with me, there's gonna be a dead body right there,
Yeah.
and its name's gonna be you.
That's
if she
what
was-
Bill Clinton said, sitting at a table with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams and Ann Richards, and she was the funny one.
Oh yeah, she
And
was.
he said, "How does that feel?" to Billy Crystal and Robin Williams.
You do, and she was a charmer. So like,
Fantastic. Anyway,
now we're 11 minutes into like
Sorry,
nothing.
the only well, I apologize.
No.
not nothing. Fascinating thing.
I'm reading the synopsis
The
of the
only
film. I
other
can't wait to watch it.
one that I wondered
Because
if you
part
had
of your
watched.
gift to me is just that HBO is the greatest thing that ever happened to you.
The other one
that.
is about moms. Did you watch that? It's the Mothers Club, the Dead Mothers Club or something, and it's
Meow
Rosie
Prospect.
O'Donnell and Molly Shannon,
I have not seen
and
that.
it just started last week.
Oh, people with mothers who have
mothers
died.
who have passed away, etc., whatever, and it looks like I have it DVR'd, and I'm excited to sit down and watch that.
Oh,
But
I need me some appointment television.
I'm saying
The Dead Mothers
But
Club.
The Dead Mothers Club, yeah, that's what I thought it was. I just didn't know if you had watched that yet because it really looks good.
And the only place I will not fast forward through a commercial is HBO because I want to know everything they have planned for me for the rest of my life.
I remember when I moved.
What else you got coming at me?
I remember
HBO?
when I moved to Arizona, somebody who was still notable and around was Rose Moffat
Yeah.
here. And only because of the hair similarity
very
between
similar.
Ann Richards and her, I remember
that.
being like, wait a minute, wait, two different people? Two
Yeah.
different people? And I don't even
That's
remember politically, I don't remember if they are polar opposites or I don't even
honestly
remember.
don't know.
I don't
I
remember.
think Rose was a
I think a Democrat.
Yeah, Rose is a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, she is.
And
She's
still
come into
around?
the Democratic Party. Yep, still alive.
Still alive.
I've met her and had my photo with her,
Oh, have
and
you
she's
really?
still rocking the beehive.
And
she
Becca Winninger was another one that is
yeah.
with
Okay.
Rose Moffat.
when Terry Gatto was running for governor, she randomly, I met her out somewhere and she called me. I gave her my card or whatever. And she called me the next day and she goes, I'm going to come in and record a robocall. Well, robocalls are like a part of the coordinated campaign plan. Like it's expensive. It costs money. You have to send them out. You have to produce them and the whole thing. And she just calls me and she goes, I'm coming in. I'm coming in on Thursday. Here's what I'm going to have a script. And I'll see you then. Click. And I was just like, and I went to our campaign office and I'm like, so Rose Moffat's going to do a robocall.
Yeah, so we got to get
Like
all
I
of
am
the
like not,
companies.
gonna say
the
no.
person to,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like not my jurisdiction.
Sure.
We'll just record
At
it,
all.
even if we don't use it, we're
This
going to
is
record
not
it.
my journey, but
Yeah.
I'm here
And
for
literally,
you, Rose
and
Moffat.
our campaign manager
That's
was
awesome.
like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. And she
with
came
that.
in. She showed up. We never talked to her again. She showed up on the day she said she was going to be there when she was going to be there. And she came in and she's like, what do I need to do? And I don't know. You're kind of running the show.
Yeah, you made your own
Right,
appointment.
right,
you
right.
tell us.
And so anyway,
I love that.
she did the call and she's like, all right, well, I'll look forward to hearing it on my phone. See
On,
ya. Like recorded and left. And she was.
Did she just walk in on her own, or did she have like an entourage?
No, she came by herself.
Really?
There was
Just showed up.
There was a woman.
She's a pistol.
her
There's a woman
caregiver.
who's like a
Yeah.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
caretaker,
like a driver, probably.
helps
Or
her.
a
okay.
caregiver,
All
sure.
right.
And she is kind of also like a gatekeeper. She's kind of a bee, right? You have to
Yeah.
like get through this woman, but really Rose is lovely. And my dad was just
So
so
I've heard.
thrilled when he came to a Terry Goddard event that Rose was at, and she's just really lovely, and she'll talk to anyone. And
Smart.
No, that's
she's
cute.
just
And,
so lovely.
June 10th, she'll be, if I'm doing math correctly, which is a problem usually, 92, I believe.
Yeah,
June 10th,
she's
1922,
old
she
pants,
was born.
but she still has her shit together.
Oh, so her birthday's coming up.
Yeah, she'll be
Again,
92.
June 10th.
June. Oh.
Just for the listeners. I just want to help them out.
Katie, you ready to do sports? And stuff? 'Cause,
sorry. That's it. That's done.
oh,
done.
wait.
I'm sorry.
When are we doing Death Watch?
No, we're going to get there right now.
Oh, okay, well then let's go.
Death Watch!
Sorry, Al.
No. We did, just a couple things. Ann B. Davis.
And
I'm not listening. Is the theme over?
No.
Can I talk?
I'm playing it under you.
Ann B. Davis, poor thing. Turns out she
Delicate
was
flower.
still alive a couple days ago. Now she's
Not now.
not.
She's not. She's assumed room
Who
temperature.
knew? Who knew?
But America's favorite, why does this woman have a maid?
No.
Like, you have
but you know what
nothing to do.
But what I had forgotten about that story was that the way the storyline was, she pre-existed with the Brady and the boys.
Yeah,
with the boys.
And with the
Before-
boys, when his
Oh, yeah,
wife
with-
died,
Oh, and you know
I
what?
didn't realize
And
that.
you know what pissed me off? Yes, it's just they do. I think there's if not a flashback episode.
They may have
Something,
one. I don't know.
They explain how they
How
came
they got
Tiger,
together.
something about Tiger.
Yeah, something about that doesn't go with the song. But I was so
Here's a
mad
story.
that one of the IMDb articles that it linked me to said that they were both the products of that it was a mixed family from two parents from the products of divorce. I'm like, okay, they
No.
weren't that
No.
progressive.
Yeah.
No, it was death.
They were both widows or widowers.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And they had both spouses had died, and I'm like, do it if you're gonna write an article
Yeah,
in a
make it
magazine.
right.
You need to do 5 seconds of research. It's in the opening episode.
Right.
22 minutes out of your fucking life. There was less commercials then. 24
Yeah.
minutes out of your fucking life. It's in the dialogue that both their parents. I was so annoyed.
And
that
where
no
was
one-
this?
It was one of the links when you go on IMDb and it says her
Oh.
death. It listed the articles and it listed like why the Brady Bunch was important. The Brady Bunch is important is because it's the first time that a husband and wife ever slept in the same bed together.
Is that
It took
right?
till 1969 before a husband and wife to be in the same bed.
Because it was before
were in
that,
twin beds.
Like I
twin
Love
beds
Lucy.
with
What?
Every TV
Cleavers?
show,
Right.
every TV show that they ever showed
Yeah.
a couple.
Dick
Most of
Van
the time
Dyke.
they would
They
never,
would not go
They
there.
just would not show.
You were
how
never
they
in
slept.
bed.
But if
They'd
they
walk
did show
out
a
of the
bedroom,
bathroom, or
like
they'd
Ricky
walk
and
out-
Lucy often showed their bedroom. They were in twin beds.
What was it?
That's not like a
she
nor-
was
was that
pregnant?
was that how
That was
people
a thing?
slept then?
Oh,
or
actually, the rule used to be very beginning of broadcast was not only separate beds,
separate rooms?
but also always had to have one foot on the floor.
That's
Yeah.
movies. That's movies.
Oh, I thought that was TV.
No, that's movies for non-married people. If you didn't establish they were married, 1 foot always. That's in Sunset Boulevard.
What
foot.
would have happened in Thelma and Louise?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, it's called the Hays Code. But anyways,
Before we had electricity, Katie. Sorry about that.
By the way,
no,
and by the way, it's
okay.
not Haze. It's Helen Hayes.
But I was just like, of all the things
H-A-Y-S.
that the Brady
So
Bunch
weird.
like championed, they were still widowers. They were not products of divorce.
Right.
But they made
Right.
it something because if you remember from Brady Bunch movie 2, Brady Bunch movie was very fucking funny.
Yeah, it was real
Brady Bunch
funny.
movie 2. He's not dead. He comes back. It turns out he was just missing, and the husband comes back.
Okay.
And I'm like, even if you can't go back, you don't have 24 minutes to
Yeah.
spend, at least have seen the 2 Brady Bunch movies when they bring someone back from the dead.
Right, like before you write a Brady Bunch
I
article.
cannot explain to people how pissed off I get when you can't get stupid. Me, who got 4 facts last week. 4 facts wrong last week. But I'm going to pick on somebody else. So Envy Davis dead. So sad, 88 years old, and she won 2 Emmys.
Yeah.
She's
Yes,
a 2-time
and
Emmy
not
Award
for,
winner.
of course,
for
Brady
some
Bunch.
show I'd never even heard of.
Oh, the Bob
No.
Cummings show?
and never
When
never
she
heard of
is
that.
looking so young and
Never heard
great,
of the
I saw
actor
the
that played
photos.
Bob
Never heard of
Cummings.
that.
Bob Cummings is from my hometown of Joplin, Missouri, actually. So he was a big star, and I knew of him from that. And my
He's a big star. If I haven't heard of you,
Wait,
you're not
one
a
of my
big star.
grandfathers from the day. One of my grandfathers knew of him. But yeah, she played Schultze on that series.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny that she'd won an Emmy before she even got to. Was it
2 Emmys.
Was it 2 before Brady Bunch or
Yeah.
1 before and 1
No, 2
on?
before.
Both from that
Both
show.
from that show. Okay, got it.
Craziness.
Yeah.
So she's
There,
dead.
there was a one that God as my witness, strike me dead. Look at who I had. This was last week's. That's why I wrote on this side.
Okay.
Look at what the bottom says.
I can't really.
Do you have it?
Memorial Day event next.
Look at what it says before that. I misspelled it, but look at what it says.
Angelon canceled.
Nope. Angelou canceled. Maya Angelou canceled a Memorial Day event. I put Death Den Angelou. That was last week before she was dead.
Wow. Because you saw that she canceled the event and thought she's going to
And
die.
I'm like, there's no way. She canceled an event. Her doctor said no. I wrote down.
Gotcha.
Angelou,
Oh, you should have put it on
come
the
on.
list.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem that really came up.
You don't talk enough?
No. Erin looks at me and
Needs to
she
be a
says,
weekly segment.
She says, like with the whole Dr. Angelou thing, she died. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I didn't put her on the goddamn death den. And I'm going on and on. She's staring at me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And
That's
I'm like,
the reaction we're looking for.
I'm like,
I didn't have
listen.
money on that horse.
I'm like, listen.
We need to bring this back. It has to be a weekly segment in case it needs to be updated. Is that what you're saying?
I'm
Yeah.
just,
we have
I'm
to.
just
Because we
saying.
only
Just
do it
saying.
when it's right, when it's that.
But I had that.
We only
And
do
then-
it post-mortem.
Well,
we
I
need to do
just-
it.
I
we need to
just
do it,
have
like,
to comment.
before people are dying.
I didn't know how old Maya Angelou was,
Mm-hmm.
and I really have
I
to
don't,
say,
I don't remember how old was she?
dying makes me
88?
Google you.
88.
I knew more about
80.
her posthumously than I did posthumously.
I didn't
Really?
I didn't realize the acting stuff she'd
I don't know
done.
if that's right,
I didn't
but I
realize
like
the
it.
movies she was in. I didn't realize any of that stuff.
That she wrote plays, like she was a Tony
all
Award
that.
winner and a Grammy Award
So
winner.
many things.
Very strange.
One of the and
Oh yeah, the Grammy was a surprise.
I don't know if anybody saw it. I did, like everybody else does. I reposted the fact that she'd passed away on Facebook. And a friend of mine, Steve Malone, who used to live in Studio City, lived around the corner from Ambi Davis and her lover in Studio City.
Wait, say what?
Now, was she lesbian?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That was the thing, because she always played lesbian.
Was it the way she hiked up her apron?
Stop.
That
I know.
was the
Ambi
giveaway?
Da-
No,
Ambi
I
Da-
had no idea.
According to, and I'm not speaking out of turn, according
No,
to
that makes
verification
sense to
from a
me.
friend of mine who said that he lived around the corner from her and saw her all the time with her partner in Studio
Well,
City.
they said that it was a dear friend.
Of course it was.
Yeah,
Of course
so who
it
knows?
was.
All right, so we'll just
Erin's a dear friend.
We're just going to finish up
Isn't
entertainment.
she?
Katie, I tried to not go into your time, but
Oh,
I
it's
failed.
okay.
We can now go till 10:30
my
if we
fault.
need to, so we're fine.
Okay, so first off, Veep, and I don't know what you're doing that you're not. Oh, no. Back up. I got two
We
things.
didn't really do
Orange is the
Death.
New Black debuts on Friday.
Oh.
I probably should save that to last segue into you. But Orange is the New
yes.
Black this Friday, this Friday, this Friday,
I
this
am
Friday.
excited about
Orange
it.
is the New Black.
We're getting it on Friday and watching it on Friday.
We are. And like
No,
I said,
I'm-
my schedule's so fucked up that the one day this week that I'm off and keeping off, guess what day? Friday! Yeah.
Wait, and
love
is
it.
that on HBO?
No,
No,
Netflix.
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix.
So you
duh.
can watch, and you know what they
Netflix
do?
original.
They release all 13
I
episodes,
know.
so we can all come in here sleep deprived on Tuesday and talk
And
about
have
how
watched
we
the
watched
whole thing.
every episode.
Kelly and I probably. Well, no, this weekend's busy, but soon.
Laverne Cox was on the cover of Time
Yeah.
magazine, making her the first transsexual ever on the cover of Time magazine.
Beautiful, too.
And I want to say, I was convinced I was going to remember the name of that paper, and I didn't.
Wow, what the hell was that?
I'm so mad because I'm like, you don't have to write that down. You remember the name of the
Maybe
paper.
you should go back to the South and you'll find your paper. Or whatever it
I
is.
thought there is no way
You're
I'm
going to
going
find your
I'm gonna
meaning
forget the
on
name of
that
that
internet
paper.
highway.
You know what?
bet.
I don't think we've had kerfuffle in 22 minutes.
I have been the governor of Alaska
Well,
for
this is a
2 months. I thought
kerfuffle.
there's no way I'm going to forget the name of the newspaper I
let's
read.
bring that up in a minute. Let's talk about
I don't know if
that.
that's true. That I did not get a chance to Google that all the way because she said
I
a lot.
saw
of,
something about her, but
I
didn't.
think that her talking about Ben Franklin is like 6 years old. If it's
But
a minute.
still,
Oh, no,
the fact that
it is.
But still, that she called him a president.
Trust me.
Oh, I
I'm with
found-
you
yeah.
100%.
What's her face? This is
Bachman.
Michelle Bachman.
Yeah. No,
So-
but I'm with you. But it was a little while back because it was
All right.
like, come on. Yeah. She's
I
she's
think,
a fucking
I think that's an
nutball.
old quote. So,
But
anyways,
it's so easy to bring up 'cause
Laverne
she
Cox
could
makes
say
it to
it.
the cover of Time magazine, and the Chicago Sun-Times had an editorial saying that she is not a woman and you should not be celebrating her as a woman on the cover of Time magazine. The Chicago Sun-Times had to like retract and like the Chicago Sun-Times does not endorse or like repeat anything that this dumb ass said. Like, we are so
Wait,
sorry,
who said it?
publicists. The Chicago Sun-Times, which is where I think we get Roger Ebert from.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
they had done an op-ed piece saying, don't celebrate Laverne Cox on the cover of Time magazine. It's not really a woman. And then they're like, okay, there's an issue of gender identification. There's all these like psychological issues at stake. This is a woman identifying. We're the Chicago Sun-Times. We do not want to be West Virginia. Right. It's pretty much what the what the retraction said. Like, oh my
So
God,
who was
please don't
who
start
was
the backlash against
columnist?
us.
Who was the editor? I
Oh,
did
he's
the op-ed.
he's a complete ass.
And
I
why
will
would
get
they
you his
even
name
let
in a minute.
him?
Because
write
he's
for
kind of
them?
like Michael Medved that writes for USA Today. Like, they have to have both sides. Like, every
Fair and balanced. Ask
responsible-
Fox.
Not fair and
Hi, meow
balanced.
cow.
That's not fair because fair and balanced is not Fox. They
No,
have-
I know that. I'm making a
No.
pun.
But no,
Oh,
and we'll go back
God.
to HBO. John
Yeah.
Oliver decided
Yeah.
to finally do. You can't have one person on this side talking about climate change and one person on this side
Yes.
doing anti-climate change and pretend it's a one-to-one argument when the scientific analysis is 97-3, and those 3 people were paid by big oil. So what he did was he did his version of a fair and balanced argument about climate change, and he had 3 people argue the oil company's view, and then he had 97 people on the set talking all at the same time, and he literally brought out 97 people to talk about
I love
climate
that.
change. He's like, this is what fair and balanced would look like. This is the 97-3 argument. This is what 97-3 looks like. So it was very strange. So, conservative columnist Kevin D. Williamson, who's not to be confused with the Kevin Williamson who writes the beautiful, funny, he's gay and he writes the Scream movies.
Or Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
I'm Sophia the wife.
But even Kevin D. Williamson said that it failed to take into account some key facts about the medical condition of gender dysphoria. But it was just so funny that here we have, and like, why can't I just don't understand why you just can't say Laverne Cox,
Person.
this person who's in a great show, playing a great character,
That's right.
like living her truth. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like, she's playing someone suffering through this thing in prison, being denied her drugs to keep her a healthy version of this person.
Sure.
It's such a beautiful performance. She's got the cover of Time, because Orange is the New Black a year ago was all we were talking about.
Yeah,
and
huge.
people are counting down the days till Friday. It's a topical story. Why do you have to write it? Like, what makes you have to?
Because you're
throw
just hateful.
hate
Yeah,
into
it's
the world.
hateful.
And it really did disappoint me. It disappointed me in like every different level that someone as a human's reaction to her on Time magazine is saying that's not a woman.
Well, I'm actually
That is a human being who's out, who's not, I want to say out, but is just proud of it. She's living her own truth, and she's doing it. They don't have salt, so it takes you a couple bites to get used to it.
All right.
We will go back to
You'll come
lightly
around.
salted the next time I'm at the store. Trust me. But I just
you leave these here,
I
those will be
can't
gone by
wrap my
Tuesday.
mind about this. And if you've seen Orange is the New Black, it's a beautiful performance. Like,
Yeah, it really.
and
is.
it's very genuine
in a
and
sea
really.
of, in a literally a sea of great performances. Hers is
Amazing.
even more stand
Yeah.
outish than the rest. Like, I was so disappointed.
I'm surprised that you were like maybe surprised by it, because of course when I saw her on the cover, that's the first thing I was thinking is
Yeah.
like, if people are going to just be.
Sometimes
No,
I
right.
live in my own little happy
Bashing.
world where, like,
Well, we hope. I mean, I think that there's a matter of hoping
and
that
a
sooner
big
or later
chunk of
nobody's going to
denial that
fucking
I'm
talk about
clearly
it.
chewing on. I was so heartbroken. Like,
Yeah.
like the tranny thing. I don't agree with that. Like, tranny's just a word. Like, it's like retard. I'm sorry, it's a real word. Tranny's not a real word, but it could be. You know what I mean? Like,
Totes.
it's just a word. I don't mean. I'm not.
I mean, it's a real word. Totes. Tote is totally. Totes.
But no
tranny.
one means any No one's meaning
tranny.
any disrespect to. Calling Sarah Palin a retard is a disrespect to Sarah Palin because I have no respect for her. That's fair.
No, actually,
No,
calling
actually-
Sarah Palin is disrespect to anybody who is mentally challenged.
Yeah, that's
But I would
exactly
never
right.
call them that same word, so I don't like. You know what I mean? I mean slow. It's a real word. Like, you retard growth. In medicine, you retard growth. It's a word. It means you slow growth. It also has an evil connotation, which I'm like
Right.
hinting at a little bit. But
No,
anyways,
I'm
I'm
with
not
you.
going to defend that word.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But to see her on the cover and not say, "Good for you."
But you know what? Little by little
Yeah.
by little by little, because
Yeah,
getting
and
her
we're
on
winning-
the cover.
we're
Well, the
winning this
fact that
battle.
she's even on the cover.
Yeah,
So
getting
what-
her on the cover is huge.
Honest to
You
God,
know.
so bitching about winning the battle, it kind of makes me just as small as Sarah Palin. So I really should stop. So we'll go on to HBO. So we'll just finish out the entertainment segment. Veep, 3 spit takes in the first 5 minutes, was a new record for any TV show in history. That was the funniest
I haven't
opening.
watched this one yet.
Fucking funny.
Don't drink
Yeah.
or
Don't.
eat or have no
funny.
control of your bowels, because at one point I
Don't
spit
take
out
that
my drink
medication.
and farted. I was not ready.
No, Ali. A lie?
Don't do it. A lie.
A lie.
Don't do it. I was not. I cannot ever prepare myself for how funny that show is. Every week I tell you to watch Veep because it's the funniest show on TV.
And every week it's
week
funnier.
they get funnier, and I'm
funnier.
like, I had to put the drink out of arm's reach because I'm like, nope, that's 2 spit takes, and I thought I was safe, and my TV is now wearing a glass of water. Season
funny.
finale next week. They do 2 episodes back to back. I'm not sure I'm ready for a full hour of Veep. I don't think psychologically, mentally, bowelly.
What kills me about this is it's a half-hour show, right?
And
It's a half hour, and
it
you
takes
get
45 minutes to watch it.
and you get that much out of a half hour.
Oh, it's
It is
funny.
really,
No, I've never
really
seen it.
fun.
Oh, and I can't recommend something.
Christopher
I cannot
Maloney-
believe you did not like ask me for my HBO Go account to
Well,
watch
then
the show.
can you
But
write that
Christopher
down?
Maloney is, I love
And I love him from SVU.
Well, yeah, but he's
But now
But
you
he's
gotta
totally
it's
different,
a whole
I hear.
different.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you see him in a whole different light, and
and
it
again,
just makes
Kevin
sense.
Dunn, I know his name this week. Kevin
Yeah.
Dunn has no purpose on that show. I still don't know why he's
Yeah.
on that show, except for to get off.
Wait,
a
who's
spit
Kevin
take.
Dunn?
He's the guy from Samantha who. He's the heavyset guy that has something to do with the president that's just wandering around the show, spouting off the best one-liners in
Yeah,
TV
and just, like,
history.
dry.
He's the one last week that said, "Yeah, if
That
he
had
could
to
walk without looking
leave.
at his feet, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of
Right,
floaters."
right.
Yep, yep.
Well, and
Unbelievable. I don't. Oh, am I bleeding? No, it's raspberries. Raspberries.
Oh my
Or
god!
you're on that medication.
Oh, you're right.
right?
I have
That
the
would
anal
be
leakage.
vulvovaginitis.
So
You might
then
have it.
My very, very, very last thing, and I swear to God on this one, is
Sure.
Nurse Jackie. If you're not watching it
So
on
good.
Showtime, rent the videos. Don't get Showtime. It's not worth it.
No.
But
That's the only show. really
Nurse
not
Jackie, it keeps you guessing every week. I thought I had it.
Can you get that on Netflix as well, or no?
No, I think
Maybe
you have to rent.
maybe Amazon.
Maybe
Okay.
Amazon, but you have to rent the DVDs, and they're at season 7. They've been renewed for one more. I thought I got this figured out. Here's how this season's gonna go. She's gonna get the boyfriend hooked on drugs. They're gonna become junkies together. Oh no. They went the other way. Oh no, they went around the corner, down the block, 3 turns.
Well, the daughter, the whole thing.
Oh,
it's like
so good.
It's good. It's
I hate it when
heartbreaking.
that stuff
It's-
happens to the daughter.
But it's not about a nurse. It's about an addict. It
Yeah.
really is. It's a show that's light comedy about a true addict.
And I was so mad when they made her an addict again, and Kelly's like, "But that's the show."
That's
I
the
was like
show.
genuinely angry.
and they
that was
constantly
happening.
she is a manipulative bitch
so the
addict.
nurse, help me with her name. In real
Edie
life.
Falco.
Edie Falco. Thank you. So she had breast cancer in real life.
I think so.
Yes. Did she have it on the show as well?
No, she's just an addict.
Okay,
And
I didn't know if it was both,
They
and that's
do
how it
not
got to
pretty up
addict.
addiction. They don't make it sound like there's a happy ending. They don't wrap it in a neat bow. They
She
just
went
say,
through her entire breast cancer thing during
Sopranos,
didn't she?
Oh, okay, I think so because it was during a TV show. That's why I didn't know if it was
But
during.
But
Nurse
they've
Jackie.
been renewed for 1 or 2 more seasons because
But you're
Showtime
right,
has
I
said
think.
that
Maybe
we've canceled everything else that the guy before us did. You know, they had to say goodbye to Dexter, and they're still sad about that because it was their highest rated show in history.
Why did they have to say goodbye?
Because everybody was done. Everybody had said goodbye. But trust me, Showtime would be running that show
Night
into
and
the
day.
ground,
till
right?
the into the ground. So I'm done, and I'm sorry that took so long, but you all
That was
interrupted
my
me.
fault. The end.
It's Katie.
Yeah.
You ready?
I am.
Here we go.
This week in sports and other stuff. We've got the NBA Finals, the Triple Crown. It's been a while. Dan Marino says not so fast. We have today in sports news history a really great story I'm surprised no one else brought up about a San Diego trans child.
Oh yeah.
Casey Kasem's wife and daughter, the beef gets real, and a failed GOP candidate in Arizona.
In sports.
And other stuff.
Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
And I actually
Keep your
was like
beef
a
on the
good
ground?
Huh?
Did you say keep your beef on
Yeah,
the ground?
feet. I said
Keep your
feet.
beef on the ground.
My bad.
So I actually had a lot of things going this week. That was actually a really good sports week. But some interesting stuff. But I had other stuff. So I cut some of those. Anyway, they might maybe they'll
want to talk about
resurface
the WNBA.
again. They might resurface. Oh my
Because
God! Welcome
Marty's
to last
never
week.
By the
wrong.
way,
Ever.
I went last night. Did they play?
No.
Okay, then I did not.
They
go
did
last
not, but
night.
they are
It
playing
may have been.
tonight.
They are. I
They
know
are
that.
playing
Against
tonight.
The people.
She
Yep,
would have
they
gone
are.
tonight, but occupied.
I would. Okay, so the San Antonio Spurs rematch with the Miami Heat.
And I feel like this is like their 3rd straight years of the same 2 teams.
I think
hate the
it's the
Spurs.
second. I think
Okay.
it's only the second. But for the first time, because it's the first time since 1998, it's good. The NBA Finals is a rematch. Spurs earned their spot beating Oklahoma City and Miami, NBA's 2-time defending champion. So the Miami Heat has been in the last couple of years,
Right,
but
and
not
it's their chance to
San
three-peat.
Antonio. Right.
And I love the word three-peat.
It is.
I want to three-peat at anything.
Because didn't the Bulls three-peat?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
where it
At
comes from.
least
I think that's where the
once,
term
yeah.
comes from.
Totes Pete.
I feel like the
Totes Trey Pete.
Totes Trey Peated. Oh my God, I want us Trey Pete things.
I want to
Hashtag
toast
I
Totes Trey
literally
Pete.
used again this week in normal conversation totes poots, and I just think
Careful.
it's just something that
Totes Poots.
Do not have a Totes Boots kerfuffle, because then, oh my God.
It might be discharged.
It may or may not have an
smell.
odor.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we got one. We almost.
Yeah.
I almost spit. I almost spit.
Awesome.
I didn't expect him to
No.
chime in on that one.
So game one of this year's finals is Thursday in San Antonio, and they said it's unbelievable to regain focus after this devastating loss we had last year, but we're back. We're excited about it. We've got 4 more to win. We'll do it this time. So go San Antonio. I mean,
And now does Ava Longoria's husband still play for them?
Tony Parker. They're not married anymore.
I know.
Yep.
Oh, I meant ex-husband.
Ex-husband, but I don't know.
I honestly was just going to look it up because when they played the Suns, like we're talking years ago. Oh, I hated them. Dravagic or Dragovic
I
or
think.
something. I wanted to punch him in the throat. Then I learned he's and not that this all of a sudden I don't like him as a player at all, but he apparently became or is a very gay accepting and a big
He's
advocate.
kind of hot. I mean, he's kind of a hot guy.
I mean, he's also just kind of an ass. And
Hot guy, part asshole. I'm in.
no, I know you're good with it.
and gay accepting. So
but I
hey.
think
Is
it
that-
was-
wait,
I
wait,
think
Is he
it was-
sucking his dick?
Is
Who's
that
gonna
why
go
we?
wrong?
Is that why we get along? I'm not sure.
Till the last part. Till your timing was off.
I
Yeah.
That's
tried to interject.
a
but
goddamn
Yeah.
kerfuffle.
Yeah, that turned into a
you,
kerfuffle.
you
and-
said something about
We
smart
don't want
ass.
to know. We don't want to
Yeah.
know.
Smart
No,
ass
no.
asshole.
Awkward.
So anyway, yes, Tony Parker still does play for the Spurs, and he's ready. He's coming off of
Okay.
an ankle injury, apparently. So we'll wish him the best of luck. And I kind of got to just root for the Spurs. I'm not watching the finals, but it's that they're the underdog. So
I do. They'll be on at work. The
Yeah.
whole,
They're the
whole
underdog?
weekend. They'll be on at work, and I
Well,
watch.
yeah, because Miami has won the last 2 NBA finals, and they beat them last year. So I think,
Right.
and they both have obviously they both have great records this year because they're
Tim
both,
Duncan is still playing. That's the other one I was looking for.
And I know something's a big
Ginobili.
deal.
Ginobili is actually who I was talking about.
Oh yeah,
That was the person who Manu Ginobili.
Ginobili.
I always
Yep.
know something's a big deal when all 8 families are watching it, and then it's on in the waiting. When I go out to the waiting room to get a family,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then you're like, oh, pay attention.
They
Right.
manage to figure out how to work the TV in the waiting room and
Yeah,
change that.
that's a big
If
deal.
If you work that magic, you
You
gotta be
care,
interested.
right? Something's big.
You care.
So
I love
You
that.
care.
Not about your family member,
It's a
but
big
about
deal.
what's on TV.
They might die, but we got this.
We got this.
okay, so the Triple Crown is the
He
Kentucky
supports-
Derby.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Manu Ginobili is the one who supports gay marriage, so it's not the.
Not Tony Parker.
Yeah, no.
So we still think he's a douchebag.
We might.
Yeah.
No, not Tony.
No,
the guy you
the-
mentioned in between. Tony
Yeah.
Parker's not a douchebag. He just divorced Eva Longoria,
Right,
which is
kind of
a
hot.
big
So
Kentucky Derby, Belmont
Kentucky Derby
Stakes,
and Preakness is
Are you
the
ready? I knew my Triple
That was
Crown.
nice, by the way. That was good.
I don't know.
I know,
The
but
Triple
I don't
Crown.
want to hear
I
another.
give
You don't know
all
about sports
kinds of-
comment.
So you know the horse that's running currently in
California
Chrome.
Yep.
California Chrome will attempt to win the Triple Crown on June 7th with the win at the Belmont Stakes. So California Chrome has already won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. And here's what just really caught my...
Isn't the Preakness last?
Nope, the Belmont Stakes is last.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Belmont Stakes.
That's where I fell off the horse.
You leave my Preakness out of this.
You never were meant to be a jockey.
That's where the kerfuffle with the horse started.
So this it made me laugh so much. It said the last time there was a Triple Crown winner, here's what was happening. Like, it's just been so long. It says no one under the age of 36 has ever seen a horse win the Triple Crown.
Oh,
And
so
here,
it's Secretariat. Is it Secretariat?
Is it a jackal?
actually
Is it a
know.
jackal?
One
Is it a jackal?
after
Is it a
that.
jackal? Is it a jackal? That's what you sound like when you say that. Is it secretariat? Is
How
it
about you?
secretariat?
How about you? And you? What do you think? What do you think? Better or worse? Better or worse? Better or worse?
Is it a jackal?
I was not
To the left,
actually,
to the right,
by the
to the
way, Al T. Perkins. It was 1978. The horse's name was Affirmed.
Oh, yes.
Sealed
okay.
the last Triple Crown at
I'm not even
Belmont.
going to fake that one. I have no idea.
So it says, warning, this may make you feel really old. So these are the things that were happening the last time the Triple Crown was won. Grease arrived in theaters
Wow.
for the first time. It was the word. The Washington Bullets won the NBA Finals. That means nothing to me. Sony, I just thought this one was pretty wild. Sony introduced the Walkman.
Yeah.
The Walkman, like
Yeah.
for the very first time. Now here we have these like mini computers, and
Yeah.
this is what's happening. The Garfield comic strip was published for the very first
I
time.
loved Garfield.
Garfield is 1978? I
makes
thought
sense.
Garfield was older.
Nope,
that makes sense.
1978.
That makes sense.
Oh, there have been 2 since Secretariat. Seattle
Hungry,
Slew and Affirmed.
oh yeah, Hungry Hippos was the newest game craze.
I remember that game.
So that Laverne and Shirley was the most popular show,
For good reason.
The most popular.
and toga parties were all the rage. It was in Animal
Animal
House.
House.
Animal
Yep.
House, of course
Yeah.
it was.
So anyway, just thought that was kind of funny. I'm looking at these things. This was obviously no one under the age of 36. Well, that's clearly me. So I don't remember any of these things.
Honestly, I mean, the last time that I was 6, and I remember Secretariat being like they
Giving
used
out
to
your
I've seen
real
the
age.
movie, but I
Giving out your age
so
again.
much.
Look
But
at you.
I have to say that I remember Seattle Slew. I don't remember Affirmed. But we used to bet on that, like the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Neighborhood, because I grew up in one of those neighborhoods that sounds like we lived in brownstones, but it wasn't.
Right.
We would get the pool around, and of course, guess who Ruthie made go around and collect the money?
You.
Yeah.
But you went around and you bought
I
your.
just feel like I can hear Ruthie going, Alfred,
Yeah.
Al.
Alfie.
Alfie. Back in
Go collect
1978, it was
this.
definitely Alfie because we'd not had to get rid of the Alfie name and change it to Al speech yet.
So funny.
But
Oh, I'd like to hear that story.
Yeah.
that was
someday.
me and Tim sitting in with headphones listening to Ricky Lee Jones, and Tim's like, we're going to junior high. You should probably not go by Alfie anymore.
Even though Dionne Warwick had a wonderful song about it.
But that was, again, 15
What's
years
it all
prior, because I
about?
wasn't alive for that song. Maybe I might have been alive for that song. But we really did have Tim and I had a conversation with headphones listening to Ricky Lee Jones about
is so
changing
funny.
from Alfie to Al.
It's
but,
time.
But we went around, and I think it was Seattle Slew.
This is off topic. Well, it's not off topic. I have a question in regards to this. If anybody knows, and you might because you're in the restaurant profession, they're permitting California Chrome to wear a nasal strip for
Snoring.
No, for the race. But there was another horse that previously wasn't permitted to. Now, what I want to know is, what is the issue? Does anybody know what is the issue with this nasal strip, and why does the horse need to wear it?
I'm Googling it right now.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I got a notification on my phone, and this was a few weeks back, that they had cleared California Chrome to wear the nasal strip for the run, and I was like, first of all, I didn't even know horses could wear them. I didn't know what the issue was.
Nope.
But I wonder if you.
It says nasal strip ruling good for California Chrome and apparently NBC. Let's see.
I just don't know.
Belmont. It's full of puns. They can now breathe easy.
Of course.
Yeah.
The Triple Crown contender. It's great for horse racing. It's an okay.
How about I read? You go on to the next story. Because you have some fun stuff.
I do.
Continue on. Forget what I said there.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know. Okay.
Research it for next week.
And if you get a chance, go
Yeah.
watch horse racing. I'm sure there's someone that's against it, but it's so much fun, and it lasts like a minute and 30 seconds.
It's fun. Yeah,
it
it's
really
really
is.
You can
fun.
wear
Horse racing
fabulous
is fun.
hats.
I actually
sure
used to
PETA
go.
will kill me, but I don't like
I
PETA,
used
so
to
I
go
don't
to the
care.
mini ponies, which was the Greyhound
I think
races,
Lady
which
Weir
is
loves
The
it.
mini
really. We
ponies?
called it mini ponies, and I used to go watch the dogs race, and it's very bad and sad and horrible for the dogs, but it's fun.
Oh, the dog racing track here in Arizona.
That's where I used to go.
fantastic.
Yeah, we used to go there.
Great restaurant. And somebody's against it, I'm sure, and I'm sure I'm offending
yes.
somebody, but I love it.
You are. So Dan Marino, right? We heard about this, that there's been a big lawsuit against the NFL. And there have been a number, I think we might have talked about it. There have been a number of, and I don't know, 14 players to sue the NFL
yes, yep.
about concussion. So this is way after the fact. They're all retired. And they're
And we
all
usually talk about the San Diego guy, but Dan Marino's a new addition.
Yep, they're all jumping in. So Dan Marino, of course, played for
Dolphins?
the
Dolphin, yeah.
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Well played.
He's a Hall of
You're
Fame
welcome.
quarterback, and he's now withdrawing from the lawsuit.
He's withdrawing from the
Because
law?
somebody
He
pulled him
said-
aside and said, "Shut the fuck up."
Well, here's
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
He says, within the last year, I authorized a claim to be filed on my behalf just in case I needed future medical coverage to protect me and my family in the event that I later suffered from the side effects of head trauma. But in doing so, I didn't realize I would automatically be listed as a plaintiff in the lawsuit against the NFL. I've made the decision that it is not necessary for me to be a part of the claims or the lawsuit, and therefore I'm withdrawing as a plaintiff effective immediately. I'm sympathetic to the players who have suffered head injuries. I also disclaim any references, blah, 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 blah. So,
Because he's a part owner of the Dolphins now, so he has to,
Oh,
right?
that's right.
Is it a
I
conflict
think
of
you're
interest?
right. Yeah.
Because he is now one of the
Thank
part
you.
owners
Yeah.
of the Dolphins, so
think
he
you're right.
can't be suing him. He'd be suing himself.
right,
Am I
which
right?
conflict of interest. So he has to drop one,
Yeah,
right?
he's got to, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously he's dropping that. So he's 52. He's had 2 reported head concussions during his 17-year career. And you have to imagine it was more than, certainly far more than 2 reported, because there was the guy, Perry. No, who's the guy that played on the Bay Shuffling Crew? The
Refrigerator
1989s.
Perry?
It wasn't
Refrigerator
William
Refrigerator Perry. I'm
Refrigerator?
wrong. It was the blonde guy with the buzz
McMahon?
cut, McMahon.
Yeah.
Who
Jim
said,
McMahon.
I think he was the one that was saying, and it might have been the San Diego guy you were talking about, I'm not sure, who said that he was.
The San Diego guy is Stan Humphries. I always
That's
forget.
right,
I
Stan
forget her name.
Humphries.
Stan
It
Humphries
was
is one that
one of the two. For some reason, I feel like it was Jim McMahon. I could be wrong, but
I
that
agree with you
was
that it's Jim McMahon.
he was pulled out of a game for like a serious injury. He broke his neck. They shot him or something like really serious neck. Maybe you're giving me a face
I
that
don't-
maybe
that doesn't
feels
seem right.
like
Jim McMahon
that's a
broke
little
his
too
neck?
much. Maybe it was like, but it was like there was somebody who broke
There
like
was
a
somebody.
really.
Are you talking recently, or it was a long
No,
time
this
ago?
is a long
McMahon
time
would
ago.
have been
This
a
is
long
part
time
of the
ago.
lawsuit. It's part of the lawsuit.
There was an ankle injury.
They broke a couple
Could've
of
been
bones,
his
but one of them
neck,
was
I
really,
can't-
really serious. Maybe breaking your neck. That does sound a little
Yeah,
extreme.
I think you
God,
could
I
walk.
just tried to look
But
that
it
up.
was something very, very serious, and they shot him full of cortisone. He was never told that he broke these bones.
Go out and play.
Yeah, like he was never told. He was just told like, you're gonna be fine. They shot him full of cortisone, shot him full of steroids, shot him full of all these other things, and then sent him back out on the field.
It may be true
to play.
I'm looking at it right
Yeah,
now.
so check that out. I can't. God, who was it? It was some very, very, very serious injury.
But what they had to do is they had to stop having the doctors, the players' doctors being hired by the team.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to come out on the field. So they kept saying no. There's no. They were also writing literature that everyone was following about concussions. So you had the people that were. It was like the oil company talking about climate change. You had the people that were in charge of getting the people back on the field to play, saying no, concussions aren't serious.
Right.
We need him to play. He's a star quarterback. We don't care that Stan Humphries doesn't know his way home.
Right.
And can't
We'll
spell
get him
his own
home. Don't
name.
worry about it.
We need him to play this game because that's muscle memory.
Right.
We need him to do muscle memory.
Bruised ribs and a lacerated kidney on the play, but limped to the huddle breathlessly and called the next play. So apparently that was what
and that's-
happened, but they
those
didn't.
are-
But there's more
very
because there
serious
are
injuries.
there's one that was like a couple of broken bones
Yeah.
that someone sustained
But
and didn't realize that their bone is broken.
But if you read
They
Stan
jacked
Humphries'
him
stories,
so-
I don't know if he ever wrote a book or if he can read a book, but if you get the story of Stan
You might not be
so
able
sad.
to focus on it.
who
That's
was
very sad.
I want to. It was sometime during the X-Files because I just remember that when the San Diego Chargers were in the Super Bowl, half the people from the Super Bowl, the X-Files credits were all about the Super Bowl. That's how I remember it. But Stan Humphries was the famous one that said he needed directions to get home from the stadium.
Oh,
because
right.
he could no
That's right.
longer.
I remember that.
He no longer knew where he lived or who he was.
Oh my god, that's so awful.
Yeah, his story, and if he hasn't read a book because he can't write a book, it's terrible. But it's not. I gotta stop using the word funny. But it was one of those things where Stan Humphries brought it to light, and then and Steve Young from the San Francisco 49ers. There were players that followed suit and said, "I also don't know where I live." Like on that topic, I love that we're all googling a
No,
sports
I know.
right now. So for that, you're all like, I'm
It actually
talking 'cause you're all
is.
involved in
No,
it.
'cause
it
it's
is
bugging me that
really-
I
He
don't
was with
know.
he was with the Vikes in '93.
Oh yeah.
Who's that?
McMahon.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he played for a long time.
He played for damn near everybody, and we almost
And he
got
would be
this
an
Marino
analyst, but he
character,
doesn't know
too.
what the hell he's talking about now
Oh,
because he's
he
been
does
injured so many
not.
times.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think my mom can't stand him because he's a jerk. He was always kind of a prick when
He's
he
a
was
total douche nozzle.
Okay, well then we're
and
on
now
board
he
for
doesn't
that.
know where north is.
Or
so.
a nozzle. There's
Yeah.
that.
So
Anyway, interesting.
but I like it with Corona.
And really, just very,
And
really
if
sad
listeners
because
have
it's
children,
these guys'
you're thinking about
lives.
adopting children. Think about the sports you're putting your kids into and the dangers of concussions because we've been lied to for so many years.
Yeah.
While the lies about vaccines are all bullshit.
Egypt is listening.
Hi,
I love it.
Tell us how to pronounce your name correctly.
Ayman.
Yeah, we hope so.
Right?
Yep, I think
hope
so.
I'm
I'm
saying
going
that
on record as saying it
And
right.
if you can
But
get to the
By
chat
the way,
room.
I'm just repeating what I heard on Google.
But if you're listening and
God bless Google.
Think
That's right.
about concussions with your children in the sports they
Yeah.
play.
Palmer's gonna
Wow,
play.
how did this turn into a gay show?
I know.
How drunk am I?
Palmer's gonna play theater. Anyway,
But you can get hurt in anything.
You go down on
Yeah.
somebody
You
and you
know,
accidentally hit their
you
head on
have
the
no-
hard
or if
arm
their
of the
leg
couch.
kind of snaps up.
That is true.
Ow. You know,
Could be
that's a
scary.
lot. You could lose an eye.
so
a
I've got
kerfuffle.
a just
I
I
learned
thought
character development and how to give head in theater. Kids.
Oh,
I have a hello. Today in sports history, before we move on to some other stuff, Tuesday, June 3rd in sports history, in 1851, the New York
year
Knickerbockers
the Knickerbockers.
became
Oh,
the
God.
first baseball team to ever wear uniforms. They wore straw hats, white shirts, and blue trousers.
So it was gay pride?
Yeah.
I got the sport right.
Look, I found a ball.
In 1932, Lou Gehrig became the first American League player to hit 4 home runs in one game.
I love it.
Yeah, so a couple of little pieces of sports
I love that.
history. today, Tuesday, June 3rd.
I love that.
So I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm kind of surprised that no one brought it up. I definitely thought that I didn't even have it pulled up because I thought certainly I wouldn't be the first one.
I did see it,
I
but
saw it, yeah.
I did not even. I haven't even read it.
It's really fantastic. So it's a little boy who was born a little girl, and there is this video that his parents put together, and it's been circulating around the internet. It's very well done. There's no words, it's pictures of him, pictures of her as a little girl, pictures of the family, pictures of him with, of course it's good music in the background that makes you cry, and
because
words
he is
and
now
the whole thing.
4, 5, 6.
Six.
How old?
Six.
Yep. Okay. So young.
So his name is Ryland Whittington.
And what are we identifying as?
He's
a he.
He's a boy.
He's a boy.
He was born as a little girl, Ryland Whittington. So his name has not changed. He was born as a little girl, and this family, and it's just so interesting to see. And this might make me just sound really foolish and silly, but it was really interesting to me. A lot, you think about about LGBT pride and this thing, and you think about pride festivals and letting your freak flag fly, like they were talking about at Big
Down in
Gals,
Texas.
the Big Gals, right? And you kind of
Big gals.
get this
Big girls
opportunity to be big girls. This be really crazy and whatever else. So to see this family, blonde hair, blue eyes, very not that LGBT is not all American, but I'm just saying,
right.
That's not what you initially think of.
The family that's easy to hide something.
Very easy.
Yeah.
So
I know what you're saying.
Blonde hair, blue eyed, very all American. They have this video. If you have not watched it yet, is really worth watching.
It really is.
And they have this little girl, and from a very young age, she is referring to herself as a boy.
As he?
She's saying, "I'm a boy." She's doesn't want to play with any girl toys, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's healthy, actually, to expose your young children of whatever gender to all toys.
I never wanted to play with the girls' toys either.
I didn't
Me
either,
either.
as a matter of fact. Yeah. But
Until
so
I found
anyway,
out that boys might be considered girls' toys, and then it changed everything.
Yeah.
and then you were
That's
in.
a different session.
Tonka made a whole different series.
So anyway, they said it was really interesting. They thought it was a phase. They talked to their pediatrician, and she's just going through a phase, whatever else. Until she said they had a little girl, and there was a video of them in the bathtub. And one of the only times you hear her speaking on the video is the two little kids, and it's Ryland as a little girl holding her little sister, saying, "This is the baby girl of the family, and I'm the boy of the family. I'm her big brother." And the parents are watching all this happening, and again, they're told it's just a phase, and then it says on this video, until it wasn't just a phase, until this was clearly not a phase.
Multi-years is not a phase.
And Rylan, as a little girl, said, when you says to his mom, I can't imagine, when you're all dead, I'll finally be able to cut my hair and be a boy. Says this as a 4-year-old child. And when you hear a 4-year-old saying, when my family's all dead, that will be great because then I can be a boy.
Be who I am.
How...
So that's when you make it. That's when you get your two roads. That's when you get, we can be in denial, or wait till this turns into a dangerously unbalanced adult and kills us to cut their hair, or we can listen. The Maya Angelou. The first time someone tells you what they are,
listen.
You listen.
Believe them.
You believe
Right.
I just got
The first
chills.
time someone tells you what they
who
are,
they really are, believe them.
you believe them.
Exactly.
And you believe them, and you say, "Is cutting your hair what helps you feel like you?"
Right.
And you know that every stage, we met my friend who has a transgendered child. We walked with her in the AIDS walk a couple years ago.
Don't remember.
Say again?
Remember we
Oh,
walked?
yeah. I know who you're talking
and
about.
she has a
Mhm.
transgendered
Yeah.
child, and we walked with her. We did the walk. We walked right by her house, and identifies as a boy, very, very strict. And the other sibling has a problem with trying to defend choices and bathrooms and camps and how to go to summer camp when you're identifying with the wrong sex.
Sure.
But now that everyone has just relaxed and said, "Okay, you're a boy," let the hair grow, because boys have long hair too, and is now in this androgynous phase of doesn't look like Rachel Maddow,
Right.
but and I don't mean that in a bad way, but is not trying to like is just expressing every beautiful side of this little kid is coming out because everyone has just said
Okay.
whatever
What
needs
it'll
to
be will be.
happen. And what you end up with was a kind of like Annie Lennox looking very beautiful. It's a very beautiful child, and it doesn't matter what it like. You don't care anymore, and you're left with the
You're
same
a good
ambiguities.
it's a good person.
You were left with the ambiguities that you were before, when fighting so hard to be a boy. But now that everyone's just accepted, you're a boy. Do whatever you want to. Now he wants to be a boy with long hair.
Right.
And he wants to like wear skater clothes and do this thing, and it's not so much about like I have to cling to
Yes.
this identity and I have to look like
Short
this.
hair, wearing blue. Here's a baseball bat.
Right. Now
Here's a
it's
truck.
Now it's turned into and a very natural, very easy going. And now when you if you meet the child, you're like, it does like it
Doesn't
really
matter.
doesn't.
You would never know.
It doesn't matter. Like you would just think. And unfortunately, didn't have the good sense, like not the good sense, but the premonition. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the cognizance in advance to give them a vague name.
Right,
Ryland.
Ryland. Right,
Yeah.
totally works.
Where this girl, this boy, I can't even remember. It's so many different genders, but has a name that's clearly a girl. So
Right.
it has to at some point
Adapt.
masculinize
Right.
the name. Has
Well-
to chaz it up.
And then
Has to kerfuffle the name.
Has to chaz it up. If I could turn back time.
If I could jazz it up.
oh my God, that was really good, Marnie. That was really good.
Wow.
So,
So
I mean, it's
anyway,
just let
if you
them be,
Well, you know, but there's one, and what I've been looking up is with Shiloh, Brad and Angelina's daughter, who is very, very, very male identified.
and the slightly
Oh, I didn't
less,
realize this.
the slightly less, the lower profile, but like the same thing is Warren Beatty and
Annette Bening.
Annette Benning's
Okay.
child. I think it's Catherine.
Okay.
And again, you didn't pick the right name for
Right.
somebody who's gonna like.
That is their daughter.
That's their daughter.
Oh, that's actually an old picture. As she's
No, I
gotten
know, but-
older,
But
yeah,
this
she's
is basically
very,
what she just wore to that Maleficent.
Oh yeah,
Melissa.
and she has
Yeah.
shorter hair now, dresses in all boys' clothes, and
Yeah.
I've
But
read
once the
about
vest and
that.
the-
Angelina says she idolizes her older brothers, and so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who cares?
And now, but
Yeah.
but
And if she wants to be
Yeah.
identify as a boy, and that's who she feels like she is. And I just want to go back to this really quickly because one of the interesting things that this family said is that they really were working with child psychologists and child gender identity specialists, and they were told because they struggled. I can't imagine you struggle, and
yeah.
they were told your best course of action is to let your identify with your child where they identify. Like that gender identity is something that children develop between the ages of 3 and 5.
Right.
And if your 3, 4, and 5-year-old is telling you, I am a boy, then he's a boy.
If they're a ninja turtle, they're a ninja turtle.
That's
Right.
Let him go.
And they changed all of his pronouns to
cold
he and
never bothered
him.
me anyway.
They let him cut his hair, and he's living completely as a boy on his own terms as a 6-year-old. And they said he's happier than he's ever been.
Right.
He's expressing himself better. He's just thriving. And that you know what's really interesting is I've watched documentaries on transgender children, and the kids that are able to whose families are accepting and they transition as a child, they grow up just assimilating better and you know just like being happier and healthier
and then
and more
don't
fulfilled.
beat yourself up because Cher got it wrong.
Right.
Cher had a problem with it. So if Cher has a problem
Right.
with it, you can give yourself a little time.
Yeah.
That's what I
Absolutely.
think.
You can't turn back time, but you can give yourself a little more time.
Chaz it up. You got time
Chaz
to
it
chaz it
up.
up.
It's a crossover in hour 4. We have
Shut
about
up, don't say that.
30 minutes to go. We're going to wrap it
my
up. Katie's
No, we're going to wrap it up fast.
Katie's
yeah,
got some
fast.
stuff to wrap up, and then we're going to do thoughtful vulgarity, then we'll be out of here.
Because if
It
you're on a
is-
train ride that lasts 3 hours plus.
Hey, we give and we give, and we get back from all of our listeners. We'll be back in just mere seconds right here on the show on Q Talk America. Stay with us.
You've been listening to the show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Here we
not
are.
talking to those kids.
We've wrapped up hour 3. We're into hour 4. It's The Show. It's Q Talk America. Katie, Marnie, Al, me. I'm Clayton. Welcome back. Katie's in the middle of her sports and other stuff. And if you're still awake, we'd like to thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
As we are here every Tuesday night, 7 to 10.
I like how we thought about it. Was it Tuesday? When did we get here?
And who knows? Anyway, back to Katie.
I'll address really quickly. Marnie
it's
was
a
asking about drugs. Like, what do you do as far as giving these children drugs?
Testosterone,
and again,
or
I've
estrogen,
watched.
that happens.
So I've watched a couple of documentaries about it, and what I've seen is that with the families that are embracing their child's, identifying as the different gender than they were born. Everything's fine, of course, until they hit puberty. And
Right.
as long as the parents are on board and they're working with a therapist, then children as young as going through puberty can start to take, as long as everybody involved is on board, can start to take, for example, this little boy can start to take testosterone because he, of course, will have none. And in an effort to prevent boobs growing and all of the things that come along.
And then your
menstruation. But what they don't do is estrogen blockers, because once you start doing blockers of your estrogen or testosterone, then you start making permanent.
Okay.
Then that's when
what
you
I'm
start
looking
making
for.
permanent changes.
Yeah.
So they're saying that
Okay.
because what might happen during the course of puberty is something could change. And you who have identified as a boy, as a child, you go through puberty and your
Everything
chemical
changes.
makeup changes, and you might change and say, oh my God, I feel now that I am a female, or that I don't want a penis or whatever.
recognize,
Like I think something's different.
Right.
And you can stop the testosterone or the estrogen.
And it doesn't have any
and you'll go
long-term effects?
No long-term. I
according
mean,
to
not
them?
any like major long-term
Yeah,
effects.
Right.
But my
It's the
thought is,
blockers.
so what?
Yeah,
now
okay.
this comes back to every healthcare issue. What do you do if you don't have the money for these drug therapies?
Then
do you
you're
do you just strap
it's
down your
horrible.
boobs? Yeah. Then you just go through a horrible road. It's very sad, and there's some really.
Again, Shiloh, bottom left.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, more
Right.
always
Way
identifying,
Superboy.
and I love that it's just not brought up.
right.
No, it's not.
Occasionally,
It's not.
but-
And my friend, and I'm so sorry because she listens occasionally. I don't mean to tell your story out of turn, but her children are gorgeous. They're gorgeous, and as her one child makes their way through
And
life,
he's identifying as a boy currently.
but it's fluctuating as puberty hits, and like all of a sudden didn't change boy to girl, just changed to
What do they
type
say?
of boy.
And they call it like
Sure.
but they call it
like stepped being like the
a Z,
archetype.
a Z. Like I've heard this in 1 in 10, and they, with a couple of transgender youth that I've worked with, it's like they identify not as a him or a her, but as a Z. They use Z as a pronoun.
Yeah.
Some
Because
youth,
they're not-
I have not heard that.
some people, some youth, some
But it's
transgender
a weird
kind
thing
of
of like they went
androgynous
from an
youth.
archetype of like what a man has to look like to Brad
This is what I
Pitt
look like, yeah.
in what's
Which
the movie
was
where his
really fabulous.
What's the beautiful movie
Oh,
where
yes.
his hair matches the waving wheat? Legends of the
The
Fall.
Fall, which he's
you know what I mean?
just super
Like all of a
doable.
sudden,
He is
there was
dewy doable.
but I have to, and again I have to, and although I'm
Yeah.
always on Team Jennifer, I have to give credit to Angelina and Brad for raising their children, and showing the pictures out of themselves, not so much their children, because it was the picture of Brad Pitt and different things that made this child switch gender identifying to like the Rachel Maddow butch. I have to look like this to like long flowing hair on a man is acceptable and. If you're me, if you can pull off long hair, I think the hair is beautiful. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful
it's great.
thing.
Right. So anyway, it's a very interesting story, and if you see it floating around on Facebook, I can post it on our page. It's a really, really lovely video.
it really is.
Of course, they've gotten the family's
and I
gotten
think we
some.
can also, may I just?
Yeah.
I just want to interrupt and say, like, even though I don't think this is something that any of the four of us, like, I post pictures of me in girls' clothes all the time because I think that dressing up for fun.
You're just Nelly, though.
is
That's
just
different.
fun.
That's true.
Right. And I just
But
dress in boys' clothes.
I like the penis, and I'm a boy. Like, I don't identify.
Right.
Like, I use female pronouns for fun, but
Right.
I identify solely as a man. Like,
Right.
there is no other. I don't have an identity.
And that's clear. Right.
Right. Like, I don't identify as anything else. So this is not something I'm comfortable with or I understand. Like, I'm just
No, it's not.
It's
But it-
an empathy
but, like,
thing. But I
but-
think that's very important to say because I think when they lump those initials together, like, I struggle with. You can't come to me with your child's identity crisis because my crisis is sometimes it's just funny if you fit in women's clothing and dress like Mrs. Roper. But it doesn't mean that I want to like not be a boy or enjoy my penis. Like,
Right.
like
One-
I am a man, like
One
a
of
boy,
the
man, whatever.
things-
And it feels odd at 47 to say boy, so it's kind of
One of the two like
Old
quick little
woman.
points that I'm sure we could just keep going on and on. A friend of mine works
But we
in
should,
the
'cause we
psychology
we
department.
tried to say we're a gay show.
In
Alleged, in Egypt, we are.
Allegedly.
like a psychology department at ASU or something, and they were doing a survey, which I need to post on my Facebook. She asked for help, and they were talking about sexual identity, and they are doing a survey of LGB people. And I thought at first, I'm like, oh, that's a little bit fucked up. But then I realized it's not, because they're talking about sexuality, and transgender people identify as L, G, or B, or straight, or straight, like a straight ally. So transgender is a gender identity piece.
Yeah,
It's
and
not a sexual identity.
That's what I always say about lumping the things together.
Yeah,
Like,
so
my
I wanted to-
issue
right.
is just same sex.
Yep.
Like, I want to have sex with a man, and
Right.
I want it legitimized, and I want it to be accepted
Right.
as the same relationship. I don't have an issue with my gender at all.
Right. So
Like-
it's a whole different.
Like, I never want to be the woman in the relationship
Right.
because I'm going to be a total, that's misogynistic, so we're going to back off from that too.
Don't say a word about the WNBA. whatever
Passive
you do.
aggressive is what I thought he was
Marty,
going for.
Don't go there.
Right. But I'm just going to say, like, my issue is not about gender identification.
Right.
Like, I'm a man who likes other men. There is no gender issues.
Right.
Like, I don't want to,
And it is.
I'm not saying that I couldn't fall in love with someone who started off, who was born biologically a woman and
Right.
turned into a man. I'm not saying that that's not possible.
Sure.
It has not presented itself, but it's not what I'm.
But it's a different, and I get why
It's
it
not
all
part of the journey that I think I'm on.
It all falls into the category of like other than heterosexual, right?
which is that
why
comedian
it
that I
gets
love that
kind of
says,
put together.
You
like,
think you're other, but you're not.
right?
Right.
It's all LGBT, and I get why it all goes together. But it is just a different. But it's interesting because a transgender person, like for the purposes of this survey, would identify as either LGBT or S. Straight, right? So
Right.
they, it's just kind of interesting. And the other thing about this one particular video is one of the other reasons I just think it's so great is it simplifies it all. It's like, look, this is what our child likes, and so we're going with it.
And we're
I
gonna
love
start
that
the
they
story
said-
at 4.
Right, and I love that they wrote on there, we signed up as parents with no strings attached.
I love it.
Like, we're parents, and that's
it's a beautiful website, and that's exactly it. And we're just going to take what comes. We're going to try to deal with it, and we'll involve in professionals.
Yeah.
We'll involve people that know what they're doing.
This is like a
and
big thing, but it's also not the biggest thing. Okay, so
We can discuss this
I
more
know.
later, but we're tight on time, and you've
Yes,
got
we
another
are.
story
Okay.
I want you to get to before Thoughtful Vulgarity. Go.
So we've talked about our
That's
number
a genius
one.
story. Maybe next week that becomes the
It's so
headline
good.
news
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think it's an interesting story, and I'm going to ignore your yellow light, but I think it's an
Turning
interesting
red. Fuck you.
Fuck you. I think that it's an interesting story from everyone's perspective because they lump us together as a group. Sure.
Yeah.
That if you're like let's say you're Richard, who recently came out and he's trying to chaz it up. I'm just saying that because Richard wrote chaz it up.
He enjoyed that.
Kerfuffling.
But
God, that's funny.
if you're Richard and you're recently coming out and you're dealing with your own identity as a gay man, and all of a sudden you're like, should I be worried about transgender? Like, should I be? No,
Right,
you
right.
should not. Somebody has put these initials together, but the world is going to evolve to the point where our issues as gay men and women are going to be different than the transgendered community because they are. That's a different issue.
Different than the straight community, different than
We can help each other out. We can join each other in initials.
Sure.
But really, it's two different arguments.
You bet.
And we have to evolve to the point where we say, we'll fight with you, of course,
Right.
as we will with anyone who's identified as other. And I'll quote that comedian and make fun of myself. But don't you think that's important that we say, eventually these have to be separated? Because who knows when Ryland, is that her name?
Ryland.
When Ryland grows up as a boy, she may want to marry a woman. Does that make her a lesbian? No.
No. No, it makes her
right, and that's the.
It makes her a straight
right. And
man.
then we're swimming down a stream where we can all help each other, but we're not the same. We're not the exact same community, and I just want that to make clear. Like sometimes it's fun to wear some women's clothes, but it doesn't make me want to be a woman or like have gender
dysphoria.
No, yeah. So I just think we need to. So
Did you say dysphoria?
Yeah.
Dysphoria. It is dysphoria.
Is it dysphoria?
It is
Gender
dysphoria.
dysphoria.
But
I thought it was
I really want to
dysmorphia.
make that clear that they're two different arguments. So if you're coming out of the closet, come out of the closet. And I'm sorry.
It is indeed.
Get on to the other one. Casey Kasem.
Sorry.
Casey Kasem.
My apologies.
Sure.
Wife and daughter.
meddling.
Where's the beef?
Literally.
So the wife, I don't know. Did you guys see this story?
Yeah.
Of course, it stood out to me because Casey Kasem is
He's
number
he's
one.
number one on
He's
our
tops
countdown.
on the Death Den. The family has been back in.
He is dead already.
Casey Kasem's wife chucked a piece of raw meat at his daughter on Sunday, all because Carrie Kasem attempted to take the radio legend to a hospital. The back and forth drama between Jean Kasem, which is the wife.
But isn't it a court-ordered doctor visit?
That's
It
right.
is a court ordered. It was the
She's
kid.
nuts.
The fight has been bitter, but Carrie was finally allowed to see her dad. And if you remember, we talked a couple weeks ago. Jean Kasem took Casey away and was hiding him.
In
In
Washington
Washington.
State.
Yep.
Right.
And so per a judge's order, the children, Carrie is the lead plaintiff, have been they've been court ordered that they're allowed to now have medical care over their father. And I would have to imagine that part of it is because Jean is doing things like hiding him in the house, not taking him to the hospital,
Not
and
giving him
also
attention.
kidnapping him.
Right, right.
Yeah. So the best part about this, and the best part is that like TMZ and other places like that all got fights. This fight outside of the house on camera.
On camera.
It's all on film. And Jean Kasem looks like a fucking whack job.
Well, she's
clearly
a whack
she's
job.
I haven't
nuts.
seen her in years.
But
Have
the
you
best
seen-
part is that this is on TMZ.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Oh,
actually
yeah.
is a picture
The
that says
meat.
the
The
meat.
meat.
That's where the meat piece is that she
There's
threw.
the meat.
Well,
Like,
after the
so
judge
funny.
gave the daughter the right to be
Visitation and all that.
but to take him to the hospital
Right.
and whatever, medical power of attorney kind of thing.
Yeah.
She held her phone up for the reporters to hear Casey Kasem moaning.
Moaning. So, yeah, I heard about
And that was him saying, I'm against this.
Oh.
According to her, that was him moaning to the judge.
Sadly, Casey doesn't know where he is.
No, and I don't think
Oh,
Jean
and
does
Maybe Jean
either.
does either,
And
right?
again, his disease,
all.
the disease that he suffers from is.
Is it,
Like-
I've heard it's worse than Alzheimer's.
It is. It's
what does he have?
I
And
can't
I
think
thought
of
it
the
was
name.
Parkinson's.
No, it's not.
No, it's
but
like
it's
two
not.
steps
above
above.
park, and
yeah.
it just takes
That's not-
cruelty to
I
a
gotta look
new
at
level
it. Are you
of
looking?
like. And I have to say this, like, there's a point where
Find
you
out what drugs he's on. I'm going to find the side effects.
But he's got a lot of anal leakage. But there's a point where your body should just die, and
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds horrible, but trust me, death is okay because we all get there eventually. And if you can get there in the fastest amount of time with the least amount of like
Pain.
horrors,
I would hope that I
and
could have assisted
this
suicide at
disease
that
he
point.
has,
Like
because I
before.
googled it a couple days ago, is horrible in the most horrible sense. It's just it's
But
a terrible.
little known
Parkinson's,
dementia.
MS.
It's worse. It's like it's a step above Alzheimer's. It's like
Lou Gehrig's kind of.
no,
No, there's a
no.
different name.
Oh,
No,
it's
Lou
different.
Gehrig.
Oh,
Lou Gehrig's
okay.
has nothing to do with Lou Gehrig's is
Muscle.
terrorizing, right? Because your brain's still alive.
That's right.
But your body,
Your
failed.
body will not work. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewy body dementia.
So, okay,
Yeah.
that's where I was thinking.
Oh,
Lou
Lou
Gehrig's.
Gehrig,
yeah.
right.
LBD. Lewy body dementia. So anyway,
I've
there's
just
one
never
other
heard
quick
that.
thing that I just want to bring up. Again, this is a little bit more. I mean, this is just a fucking bullshit story, and it's a little bit more for
How do you
folks
really
in
feel
Arizona.
about
So a failed GOP candidate. His name is Scott Fissler. Don't forget it. He's been running forever as a Republican for a number of things. He has never won anything, and so he said, "You know what? Fuck
Probably
it."
a blessing.
He legally changed his name to
Oh,
Cesar Chavez.
yeah,
Oh, I did hear about this
He
guy.
changed his party affiliation to Democrat, and he filed to run for Congress, United States Congress, in a heavily Hispanic district. The fact that this fucking dickhead has the audacity, and it just speaks to what he thinks of the people in this district.
Right.
He thinks that everybody
If
in
he
this
wins,
district
he speaks to it.
Okay. So
Because then you didn't do your research and you voted
You
for
just
someone
voted
named Cesar Chavez.
Chavez.
right. And so
He proves if he wins, he proves his own point. If he loses, he's an asshole.
and I hope to God that he loses.
loses.
I think he's an asshole
and
either way.
He
No,
is
he is
an
an
asshole.
asshole. The asshole part's not in question.
No, but I agree with what you're
But-
saying. If
you're
people
just saying the way I'm
blindly,
saying it,
if
right.
they just blindly follow a name and don't know, he's got to be
But
descendant
I have-
of.
I think I've said this on this show. When I vote Democratic, and then if anything else, I vote for a woman, and I vote for the most minority sounding name. Like I always that is my tier
Well, he's
of
running
voting.
against.
So if you said Cesar Chavez.
He's running in
The
District
family
7.
that I grew up with name is not I grew up with, but the family that I
the
identify
Chavez
with is
family.
Chavez family.
Right.
I would vote for a Chavez because I'd be like, well, Chavez.
Well, a lot of the people
So I would be the
though, in this
uninformed voter in
district,
that one.
fortunately, he's running against Mary Rose Wilcox, who's very, very, very well known, and Ruben Gallego, who I happen to be supportive of.
Got his
in the
flyer
district,
yesterday.
As
who's
cute as
also
all
very-
his supporters are, stop ringing my doorbell.
Yeah,
Oh,
stop
yeah.
ringing.
We need to put a
Even
sign
though if that guy said he wanted to come in and fuck, I would have said yes. I'll be tired for work tonight.
Yeah, but stop it.
But he kept talking, and I brought him the flyer he left the day before.
Oh.
And I showed it to him. I'm like, unless you're coming in here for me to suck your dick,
So this is your district.
you got to go.
Yeah, this is your district
You
that
gots to
this
go.
guy is running in. Anyway,
his
it's
supporters
just,
are hot.
his
Moved to his
website,
district.
he has people cheering for, he's literally, this guy's fucking website has signs of people cheering for Chavez.
But it's the old
they're-
photos. Aren't they the old photos of?
Oh, from Venezuela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Hugo Chavez. Like, it's just silly.
Or better yet, from Cesar Chavez, who
Here.
is actually
Well, who was
From
actually,
here.
right, the
who
farm
started
worker.
the farm worker that
farm
started the whole
aide,
protest
yeah.
against grapes.
Right.
Anyway, it's really, really, really bad. He clearly thinks that everyone in the district is fucking idiots.
Is a low
and
low
efficacy.
No, what's it called?
Like a low efficacy
low
voter is a
information
low
voter.
informed. Yeah, low
Information. That's the
informed.
word. Low information voter. That's what they call it. That's people that listen to the word Benghazi and go vote Republican.
That's
They're called
true.
low
but
information
low
voters.
efficacy. Maybe that's low. They don't get out to vote.
No, they sit on the news
Where are
every
the
day.
high efficacy?
No, not efficacy. They don't use a word that fancy.
No,
they
I'm
call
just
it
saying.
low
But that's what that is.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, right, but they call it low information voter. People who like see a headline on the news.
Yes, you're
and
right.
then they
Benghazi.
go vote.
Why you hate her?
So,
yeah.
oh my God, I gotta go vote.
And we'll talk more about Benghazi next week on the show.
So anyway, that's
Now, thoughtful vulgarity, where we, in the studio, try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel and have them try to answer it while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when an important question comes up 90 minutes after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? You're fucked up. What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? You've been warned. Good luck.
Before we go to this, Katie, let's finish
Hey,
up.
everybody, that
That's
was
it. Sports
And other
stuff. There we
And
go.
I always appreciate the other stuff.
yeah.
we had a lot of it in that one.
I did. I had even more. I had a lot of other stuff.
There we go.
All right, now
All right.
I have to say before we go into the next disclaimer or whatever legal thing we have to do, the book of questions, and everyone is obliged to go to the new Changing Hands and support them. The book of questions. Harrison turned me onto this probably 25 years ago, 20 years ago.
I remember
Well,
it.
that's the one that you were talking about.
It's been about.
I love it.
It's been about 20 years, 25 years of questions, and it really is. And we've argued, fought, cried, lied, everything you can over about this book because it really brings out your biases, whether you know you have them or not.
Right.
There's a question in here about something that kills all of Peru or saves your best friend, and I always kill Peru. And I remember at one point, and I don't know if she's changed her answer, but I remember in like 1992, Harrison was like, "You killed all of Peru," and I'm like, "I don't know Peru." So yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
But I saved my best friend, so we're good. Everything's fine in the world. But it's a very interesting thing. So thoughtful vulgarity. Are you playing the discllmer? Did you play
Already
it?
play.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't have that. I don't have these
forgot
on.
you wouldn't have those on. Yeah, no, we're
All right.
already into it.
Well, Missy L has a lot of things to say tonight because that's new.
Yeah.
I thought Marnie talked too much, according to Missy.
No.
Oh, that's what you said.
Maybe that for 11 minutes. So now
Make it a
I'm
solid
having a
4-hour
dilemma.
show now.
I'm having a personal dilemma. So
Oh.
we're gonna
Let's
interview
work
the
through it.
panel, and
Okay.
I think it's only Richard, Meow, Cal, and Harrison listening in the chat room.
Okay.
I am at odds is the best word I can think of with a friend over something that I know in the grand poobah scheme of things and the home that you should not be upset with someone with. And I know that I cannot bring that to them because the minute I bring that to them, I am the asshole. The minute I say I'm upset about this.
Because it's trivial? In actuality, it's trivial? Is that what you're saying?
In actuality, it doesn't matter. But I'm also... My feelings were hurt because I felt I was traded like cattle for their personal needs.
Oh,
But
wow.
but I have to say that someone made a choice in there. And here's how I'm gonna present this. Okay, we're gonna go with time. I will present this as 3 problems happened in one day. The first problem was the only one that could have been avoided, and the person chose to say, I'm against this, not for anything real. It wasn't like, okay, Michael Vick runs this company, we have to move away. Problem number 2 was something that was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But if we had addressed problem number 1, problem number 2 wouldn't have been a problem. And problem number 3 was like, oh, that fucks everybody over. But now the person that caused problem number 1 is the martyr in this story because of problem number 3.
Martyrs irritate me.
Doesn't that? And they wouldn't have been,
you
and
lost
they
me
could
on martyr.
have rode the martyr card home on problem number 3, but they caused problem number 1. They were an issue in problem number 2, and problem number 3 was
Harrison.
all about them. And if they
I'm
had
sitting here
just
trying to figure out which friend it is.
By the way,
That's the
I
worst
believe
part.
that I
But
know
don't.
exactly who it is, but
don't because you don't.
no. I'm not saying it out loud. I'm just saying the idea of being a martyr and like having to go stop.
But problem number 1, if they had addressed problem number 1, problem number 3, they could have played the martyr card till the end of time. So what I'm saying is when a friend, someone that you
Care about love.
whatever level you have with this friendship, presents you with the problem like, if I'm a bitch now, how long do I have to carry this card? And you know you can't do it later because you're just going to be the petty person. So how do you address when someone you truly love just is a pain in the fucking ass? And and like starts a problem that, this is going to snowball 14 times by the course of the end of today. How do you address it? How do you address a friend in that way and say, oh, this is going to get ugly. Molly, you in trouble, girl.
You in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl. Still my favorite thing ever on the show.
I am going to say, because you typically come this way, I honestly don't know how to answer that. I'm not good with confrontation.
I'm not either. I need help. So
I mean, my deal is that as the outsider, I can tell you, and I said it a couple of times just now, that stop with that martyr victim shit and stop, whatever. But if you're saying, if your question is, how do you address it? So it doesn't keep going, if I'm understanding.
Yeah, how do you address problem number 1 so that the good thing is if you're the friend in this story, problem number 3, you could have rode that cross to Jerusalem.
Sure.
You could have been the hero of this story instead of the asshole if you had just fixed problem number 1.
I just need more context. And I'm not needing you to like spell it out and give us, but it's hard for me to...
Let's just say that problem number 1 is a slightly moral dilemma that you decide, you do what the Michael Vick route of like, oh, this is dogs fighting.
Right.
And it wasn't. It was the equivalent of like, this is like paper versus, not even paper. This is recyclable bag over recyclable container.
Right.
Like you made a choice early on just to make a smug, it was a smug point.
Right.
That I drive a hybrid.
Yeah.
I turn my air conditioning up. You know what I mean? Like
and you're just saying like
conservatively.
when to tell your friend quit, stop it.
Right. So how do you tell somebody wrong argument?
Right.
Like this is not the argument, because at problem number 3, they could have driven this, like seriously, they could have rode this thing to the grave. But
I don't think I've ever been in a situation like that. And maybe I'm wrong,
but pick a different situation where like someone made a minor tactical error that cost you for the rest.
I'm thinking about a family member who and we all just
and just think of something where like two things happened.
I ignore it and then I shit talk about it behind the back.
Okay, so are you...
I'm just saying that choice number 1 was something that they made. Like, let's just say they decided, I'm going to try heroin today because it's fun.
Okay.
And the rest of the day, you're just going to pay the consequence for my heroin. And at the end of the day, they found out heroin was bad. and they could have written, if they had just not taken heroin,
They could have said heroin is bad.
Right.
But they just, so how do you tell a friend, like, if you just would have avoided step number 1, I could ride your.
Well, then what's wrong with that? I mean, just say, look.
I'm with you, yeah.
Do you go back and point out
I've been your
mistake
friend
number
and
1?
we've been through a lot. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
saying
you don't do that in 10 years. You do
No,
it now.
you do not. Say, look,
Yeah.
last week, you and I were XYZ, and you made a bad decision, and I'm going to tell you right now that I am pissed off about it because it offended me and it affected blah, 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 blah. Sure. No, I think you just call them out. And then you probably have, I'm going to guess, and I don't know who this is, but I'm going to guess you probably had other issues with this person where you've got backup. And by the way, you tend to make these stupid decisions a lot. So if we're going to continue to hang out.
That's very spot on.
If we're going to continue to hang out and you're going to be an influence in my life, you either have to not make these stupid decisions or you can just hang out without me.
And quite frankly, just to change it a little bit, you could take out the stupid because it's their
irrational.
decision.
You
No,
use
I mean just decision. It's their decision.
You're making these decisions.
You're making these decisions
that affect
now,
other
by the
people.
way, that affect other people.
Right. And
I can sit over here and think, well, that was stupid.
Now,
Let me,
Yeah. Okay, so I do have to point out that there's an A, B, and C, but point D, if at the end of the adventure of this horrible day, if they had said, wow, that was a fucked up day because of point, like, I recognize that
fucked this up.
point
Right,
A
right.
really
But they're still
screwed up this
they're still
game.
writing it like they're the no. I agree. If
They didn't see A and B as they didn't see the problems in A and B.
Because they're selfish.
But C was definitely where
Bingo.
they're okay. All right.
It's selfish.
Bingo.
You need to pay more attention to be
So
more
do you
curious.
agree with me that if D had happened and they had said,
Sorry about it.
wow,
Right. My bad.
that all started
Take
from A.
accountability.
I
It's all
did the wrong
about, I mean, because
No, I agree.
I can tell you,
But
100%.
So how do you address, like, with a friend who you know that what your issue is petty, your issue is in the grand scope.
Can you say that? Like, look, I feel like this may be petty, but
it's a big deal to me.
Here's the scoop.
But
like, I think
it ruined something for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Because
Is that fair?
takes-
Yes.
totally.
Oh, you would all say that?
I
Yes.
would. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If I were going to say something,
Listeners in the chat room, I want to hear from you too.
Well, you better hurry.
like if I
Because
could
now Harrison, I don't know, I maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I was the one that killed off all of Peru in my 20s, and she was.
I
all
thought that was very
offended.
funny. It was a village owl.
Yes, a village, but I killed off all of Peru.
Yeah.
you were ready.
I love
So,
it.
but I just want to say, so I guess honesty.
I think you just be very honest and gentle. You don't have to go in and go like, listen to what you fucked up.
Because
but
do you
can
want this
just
person to stay and keep doing these kind of
Oh,
things?
of course. Like, and this is
No,
a
no, no. I
No,
don't
no,
mean
no.
stay, but keep doing
And
these
keep
kind.
doing this.
Oh, right.
They need to learn. Wait a minute.
Oh, that's
That
very
way
deep.
we
We need to go an
you're
hour
saying,
5.
No, but that way you're saying, listen, here are the boundaries. I love you. You're my friend.
But here's something that
But I can't go past this
I don't
place.
want to do this anymore.
And
Okay, that's fair.
yeah.
It's not fun for me.
Again, yeah, and I think I think you just have to be honest but gentle and
only as gentle as you need to be, because if
Right.
you're dealing with
But
somebody that you
genuine
need
as
I don't
to
think
be
I have a
like-
gentle cycle. I don't think
Well,
I have
no,
a
but
hand
that's a
wash
kind
cycle.
of
You
my
have a fine washable cycle.
But you don't have to go to
Delicate
like
A rinse only.
It's just a matter of this. This is
But it
important to
struck me as like how I have to keep a distance because everything in this situation is going to turn into a fight because I'm so offended by.
No, then that's it. If you're offended,
But if they bring-
that's
yeah.
where you stand,
And if they
regardless
bring
of
that-
friendship
Okay.
or not.
If
You've
they
got
bring that much chaos into your life,
because
then
do you want to
are they
continue
worth
on
it?
for the rest of your life being offended and upset? And
Yeah.
it's clearly
By a
it's clearly a
friend?
burr under your saddle because
Yeah, oh, no, yeah,
and
it
that's
is. It is.
why would you tolerate? You don't, but you don't tolerate that anyway from anybody.
Yeah.
So why would you think this is different?
Okay, that's good. Another
then,
thoughtful.
By the way,
And I will say
that
now that
is
I'm
a
sorry for whatever I
kerfuffle.
did.
I didn't mean to fuck it up.
as soon as the radio turns off, he'll say, Clayton, we need to talk.
Right.
And Katie and I will stay and monitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening. We've enjoyed it. It's Katie, Marnie, and Al. I'm Clayton McKee. It's Q Talk America. We're here every Tuesday. Join us again next Tuesday because we'll be here. And we will leave you with a parting thought that's endearing to all. We will see you next Tuesday.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America.